Everyone's dead sure I just unlocked some godly legendary hidden class. But once that majestic dust cloud starts to clear, the examiner's smile completely freezes. The screen flashes blood red with my class Necromancer, and my rating? Pure F-tier trash. But get this. The epic god-tier weapon that dropped into my hands, glowing with blinding light. Yeah, it is just a super rusted dirt shovel. The entire square goes dead silent, just for a second. Then, absolute chaos as everyone bursts out laughing. People are literally rolling on the floor. Some are clutching their stomachs, while others point straight at my face, crying from laughing. Desperate to save any shred of my dignity, I grit my teeth and swing my shovel, casting my first ever summon skill. Clack, clack. A bony skeleton crawls out of the dirt wielding a rusty knife. Honestly, it is just hilarious. Before it can even strike a cool pose, the examiner walks over, taps it gently, and the thing wobbles before instantly shattering into dust, not even leaving a single piece behind. The crowd goes absolutely wild with the roasting, basically marking me down as the absolute biggest joke of the century. But hey, let them laugh. You and I both know they are about to regret every single chuckle. A cold robotic voice suddenly rings inside my head. Ding, ruined skeletal remains detected, activating the infinite evolution system. Over at the Qingyang No. 1 High School in Qingyang City of the Wuxia Empire, a massive beam of light suddenly tears through the clouds, signaling a real wild show is about to start. The crowd below goes completely nuts over this awakening spectacle, instantly hyping up the person at the center. Yep, it is our academy's absolute star genius, Xu Xiaoqing. And right in the middle of all this blinding light is a super cold girl standing incredibly proud and tall. Everyone starts guessing. Wild theories everywhere. Are we looking at a high-level class? But someone quickly shuts that down, saying no way, with a holy light this insane, it is bound to be way more overpowered than that. Up on the stage, the principal is grinning, ear to ear. This girl is definitely making him look good. After watching over 100 useless kids fail, his luck is finally turning around big time. Suddenly, someone screams to look as the light starts condensing into a weapon. Out of the glowing's magic circle, an incredibly gorgeous, stylish holy sword slowly begins to take shape. A slender hand reaches out, gripping the hilt, while white feathers gently float down all around her. But then, a massive figure descends, leaving everyone utterly speechless. It is an actual angel, and it is holding that giant sword. One guy clutches his head, sweating bullets in pure disbelief. No way, that is literally a legendary max-tier holy attribute class. The principal stands tall, proudly reading the system alert. Xu Xiaoqing has awakened the epic tier 6-winged angel class, complete with her bound weapon, the Sword of Holy Light. Watching this high school girl stand beneath a radiant 6-winged angel is seriously blinding. Her crazy fanboys are already screaming their lungs out, calling her totally overpowered and incredibly legendary. She is our ultimate school goddess, long live the queen. Meanwhile, in another corner, our male lead and his crew are watching the whole thing with a total villain smirk. One of his buddies chimes in, another epic class. Damn, that girl is actually pretty legit. Let me catch you up real quick. 300 years ago, these weird spatial rifts started tearing open all over the planet. And that is when the real nightmare started, with those portals linking our world to dangerous unknown zones called dungeons. Absolutely terrifying monsters came pouring out like crazy, completely wrecking human civilization and leaving the whole world in ruins. But that disaster is also when humans unlocked the crazy power to awaken their own combat classes. By clearing out these dungeons, people could level up and upgrade their skills. And finally, humanity had a real solid fighting chance against those ugly giant monsters. Just like that, an era of epic battles with giant swords, massive hammers, and wild magic started. Classes are ranked across 5 different tiers, from totally trash to super overpowered, low, mid, and high. Then you have rare and epic tiers. But rumor says there are secret hidden classes out there way beyond even epic. Back to our quiet main character, Wei Xiao. He is thinking about how he got isekai'd into this game-like planet. He worked his butt off, topping every single exam, all to prepare himself for this exact awakening day. Up on stage, the principal happily walks over to congratulate Xu Xiaoqing for becoming their very first epic tier class in the city this year. The girl just closes her eyes proudly, saying she will definitely keep working hard to stay on top. She slowly walks down the stage, strutting right past our male lead with a super smug, arrogant vibe. Giving Wei Xiao a highly provocative look, she basically tells him, "You always kept me down, but now I will show you who the real genius is." Right on cue, the crowd starts hyping her up, loudly. They cheer that Xu Xiaoqing is going to absolutely crush Wei Xiao. Right then, the principal calls the next student up to the stage. Next up is Wei Xiao. The crowd starts whispering like crazy since the school's top student is finally stepping up. But some haters are already scoffing. Please, acing the written test doesn't mean you'll awaken a top-tier class. He's never beating our goddess Xu Xiaoqing. The principal watches him walk up, secretly hoping for a miracle. This kid Wei Xiao is a total prodigy. If he awakens an epic class too, our academy is going straight to the top. No hesitation here. Wei Xiao confidently steps onto the blazing magic circle, reaches his hand out like a total boss, and commands it to begin. Wei Xiao clenches his fists and roars with pure hype, awaken. Instantly, a blinding pillar of golden light shoots straight into the heavens, looking just as legendary as the girl from earlier. A massive magic vortex swirls in the sky, making the crowd hold their breath as they wait for an absolute masterpiece to drop. But wait, look at this sudden plot twist. The sky suddenly turns pitch black, making people panic. What is going on here? Why did it get so dark out of nowhere? Others are literally shaking. The angel summoned earlier was super warm and cozy. So why is it suddenly freezing cold right now? In the middle of the chaos, someone screams at everyone to look up. The view up there is pure nightmare fuel, sending everyone into a total panic. What on earth is that creepy thing? It is terrifying. Look at all those skeletons and skulls. The principal wipes cold sweat from his forehead, muttering in absolute terror. Oh my god, I have never seen such a creepy awakening phenomenon in my life. What is this kid Wei Xiao even doing? Even our proud goddess Xu Xiaoqing is starting to break out in a cold sweat. She thinks to herself, sure, those are just illusions, but where is this bone-chilling cold energy coming from? While everyone else is literally losing their minds, our main character just looks up at the sky, eyes closed, enjoying the moment. Yes, this is the exact feeling. He spreads his arms wide like he is welcoming the ultimate truth, shouting out the ultimate gacha player slogan. Come on, baby, give me that 5-star pull. Wei Xiao thrusts his hand into the crackling purple lightning, totally hyped up to pull out his ultimate overpowered signature weapon. Suddenly, an absolute blinding flash of light erupts, completely ripping through the dark sky. And right out of that legendary glowing light, a plain black shovel quietly drops down. Holding the shovel, our guy looks completely clueless and lost, muttering in pure disappointment, wait, what on earth is this? The principal grabs the results sheet and reads it out, totally dumbfounded. Well, Wei Xiao has awakened the hidden class, Necromancer, with a shovel as his signature weapon. The system screen pops up to confirm this harsh reality. Wei Xiao, hidden class awakened. Necromancer. Signature weapon, shovel of the deceased. Suddenly, the entire schoolyard falls into a dead, awkward silence. I am literally cringing for him right now. But a second later, the crowd just explodes into hysterical laughter. All that hype for absolutely nothing. His legendary weapon is literally a sandbox shovel. How is this trash supposed to be a hidden class? Some guy pulls out his phone to mock him, saying he has to post this online. The top student is using a preschooler toy. Goddess Xu Xiaoqing crosses her arms, smirking proudly. Looks like I am still the top dog in the end. Wei Xiao scratches his head, holding his shovel with a confused frown. Did the system make some kind of mistake here? All that massive hype only to get this garbage. I am not buying this. He commands his status screen to open, showing his stats, Wei Xiao Necromancer, level 0.00%, Strength 11, Agility 12, and Constitution 13, Spirit 30, Soul Weapon Shovel of the Deceased, and his skill is Summon Skeleton Mage, which calls up one skeleton. It is rank 0, scaling with the summoner, and costs 0.1 spirit. Suddenly, his eyes light up at a glowing text. Triple S tier talent, Eternal Soul. Oh, now everything makes complete sense. His talent description reads, Triple S tier talent, Eternal Soul offers infinite stackable summon effects. He can repeatedly learn the exact same skill to boost his summon count. He grins, rubbing his chin. Other summoners can only keep one active beast at a time. But as a broken hidden class, I do not have that restriction at all. I can literally build an entire undead army myself. So this is where the cheat code lies. He glances down at the shovel, smiling with secrets. If that is true, then this little toy must be pretty crazy too. Sure enough, the system displays a quick summary. Iron Shovel, burying enemies grants bonus rewards. The system detail screen specifies. Iron Shovel, sealed state, level 1, rank 0, giving +1 strength, +1 agility, +1 constitution, and +1 spirit. Digging a grave to bury your enemies gives bonus drops. Our guy throws the shovel over his shoulder, grinning at this glorious logic. Slaying monsters gets you experience, and burying them brings extra loot. Awesome. Talk about doubling down on a single kill. Seeing him stand there frozen, the principal urges him on. Wei Xiao, do not just stand there, show us what your skill can actually do. That crazy sky phenomenon earlier must mean it is insane. No waiting around, Wei Xiao strikes a cool pose, unleashing his spell. Necromancy Summon. A dark purple magic circle suddenly erupts on the ground, crackling with wild sparks of black lightning. But out climbs this skinny skeleton that looks like it would shatter if you breathed on it. Seeing this top student summon a total weakling, the principal is completely speechless. He gasps. A skeleton mage, is not that literally the lowest tier trash mob in existence? Confused, the principal pokes the skull and mutters under his breath. This does not make any sense at all. He obviously got a hidden class, so why is he so weak? Is there something special about this bony guy? But before he can even study it, that tiny touch shatters the skeleton into a pile of dusty bones on the floor. The crowd goes wild laughing at him. Everyone is wiping tears and mocking him. Wow, so trash, it literally turned to dust from a gentle poke. Facing all the hate, Wei Xiao does not even flinch, just letting out a smug smirk. Seeing this, the principal tries to comfort his star student. Sure, a basic skeleton mage is pretty weak, but before the man can even finish his sentence, our boy snaps his fingers like a total boss. Instantly, dozens of dark purple magic portals explode across the ground, and a massive horde of skeletons begins clawing their way out of the void. The principal is left absolutely stunned, staring with his jaw on the floor, and honestly, I would too. Wei Xiao just walks out carrying a shovel, wearing a massive grin. With a massive, terrifying army of the dead towering behind him, our main character spreads his arms and asks a very simple question. How exactly do you plan to deal with this? The absolute sea of bones radiating pure killer intent is enough to give anyone goosebumps. Noble Wei. The students are losing their minds. How are there so many? Some point shaking fingers, asking if Wei Xiao did all this. Even the Ice Queen Xu Xiaoqing is sweating as she analyzes the situation. Sure, they are weak alone, but a massive army is unstoppable. Necromancy is all about swapping individual quality for sheer, overwhelming quantity. The principal strokes his chin, grinning from ear to ear. This has got to be the unique talent effect of your hidden class. He nods in approval. Even if your starter gear is a bit weird, your future is looking insanely bright. Then he waves his hand. All right, go ahead and dismiss them. We need to keep this awakening ceremony moving. Wei Xiao nods politely and says yes. As his bony boys dissolve into glowing purple mist, he thinks to himself, did they really think I could only summon basic skeletons? I saw absolutely everything back during my awakening. A massive skeletal dragon flashes through his mind, leaving him feeling completely satisfied. The vision literally showed a legendary dragon skeleton, and soon it will be mine. After that epic reveal, the rest of the day goes smoothly. An hour later, the skies clear up. The principal stands on the stage, waving his arms to announce that today's ceremony has officially wrapped. He congratulates everyone on their successful class changes before dropping some highly practical, real-world advice on them. At 9 a.m. tomorrow, you are heading to the beginner dungeon to level up. Anyone who gets top marks will grab some massive scholarships and secure sweet bonus points for the upcoming college entrance exams, so do not be late. Wei Xiao just stands there with his hands in his pockets. Free levels and bonus points, we absolutely love to see it. As the students pack up to head home, some flashy blonde dude struts over to Xu Xiaoqing and tries to shoot his shot. Hey Xu Xiaoqing, I just unlocked the Advanced Gale Swordsman class. We should totally team up for tomorrow's dungeon run. The Ice Queen immediately slaps his hand away without even looking. Not interested, now get out of my way. Instead, she walks straight toward our main character and calls out, Hey, Wei Xiao, wait up. He turns around, raising an eyebrow. What do you want? The goddess points her sword right at his face, throwing down a challenge. We did not settle things today, so let us compete in the dungeon tomorrow. He just shrugs. Our boy throws his shovel over his shoulder, fine by me. But honestly, you still will not be able to touch me. Annoyed, her face scrunches up as she snaps, you are full of trash. Seeing his crush get insulted, the blonde guy jumps in, waving a giant sword to look tough. Hey punk, how dare you talk to Xu Xiaoqing like that? Pointing the blade right at Wei Xiao's face, he threatens, should I break your legs right now? So you cannot even enter the dungeon tomorrow? But our calm hero just lifts his shovel, ready to throw some hands. Seeing this, Xu Xiaoqing snaps at him, Qian Zihao. I do not need you fighting my battles. I will beat him fair and square tomorrow. Qian Zihao reluctantly sheathes his sword, but he cannot leave without spitting some absolute salt. Fine, I will let you slide today for Xu Xiaoqing's sake, but tomorrow you better pray we do not cross paths. Before leaving, he drops one last goofy keyboard warrior threat. Otherwise, get ready to spend a whole month recovering in a hospital bed. Wei Xiao just keeps his cool, confident smile. Sure, I will be waiting. The next day arrives with bright sunlight washing over a massive armored military complex. Out on the training ground plaza, the newly awakened students have gathered in a massive buzzing crowd. All the other students are buzzing with hype, whispering, and looking around, since it's their very first trial run. Word on the street is this zone has 3 separate dungeons, as one nervous kid tries to analyze the map. Totally, but we are stuck in the trash-tier barren plains, his buddy sighs, wondering when they will ever be strong enough to unlock the high-level stuff. Meanwhile, Wei Xiao struts into the arena like a boss, leaving the gorgeous school idol Xu Xiaoqing staring in disbelief behind him. Xu Xiaoqing turns back and casually asks if he is going solo or squad. He says he is going solo, so she smirks and says she will do the same, just so he cannot accuse her of getting carried. Cutting off their little bantering session, the principal grabs a megaphone from the high stage and calls out to all the students. His rules are pretty simple. This dungeon trial lasts exactly 8 hours and hitting level 3 means you pass, while the top scorer gets 5 bonus points. Hearing about those extra points, the crowd gets super hyped, as the principal explains the details on a giant system screen floating right in the air. On top of leveling up, slaying an elite monster bags you 5 extra points. Leaders give you 10 and a boss is worth 20, with no level cap. Alright, let the trial officially begin. But then, boom, Elite 5, Leader 10, Boss 20. Just like that, this massive blue portal rips open right before our eyes. To the barren plains we go. A bunch of eager kids scream and sprint into the portal, trying to steal the first spawns and shouting to wait up. Unlike those headless chickens, Wei Xiao just strolls in like he is visiting a park, shaking his head at how try-hard they are. He stretches at the portal and says he probably needs to put in a little effort. Walking through the portal, his boots instantly touch down on the lush green grass of a completely brand new world. Looking around the massive plain, Wei Xiao rubs his chin and guesses everyone got randomly teleported to totally different starting areas. Mid-thought, he suddenly spins around in a split second, sensing danger nearby. What was that noise? A chubby little head pops out from the grass, and he sighs in relief, thinking this level 1 prairie gopher actually looks kind of cute. The screen labels it a prairie gopher, but before he can even finish complimenting the creature, it bears 2 giant fangs and lets out a deafening screech. This ear-splitting noise forces Wei Xiao to cover his ears. He grimaces, asking what this thing's problem is, but in a flash, the fat rodent launches itself at him like a heat-seeking missile. Stunned, Wei Xiao swears at how fast it is as the furry beast slams right into his face, making him stumble back with a groan. The aggressive gopher does not hesitate, biting down hard on his collar with a totally feral, rabid look. His eyes widen in absolute shock at the insane speed and sheer boldness of this random low-level trash mob. Furious, Wei Xiao grabs the fat rodent by the neck and growls through grit teeth. He yells to let go, yeeting the creature away while cursing it for pulling a cheap sneak attack. Before it even hits the dirt, our boy executes a clean roundhouse kick, warning it to take a taste of his boot. The poor gopher gets sent flying across the grass, landing flat on its back with all 4 paws in the air as Wei Xiao fixes his collar, still looking incredibly ticked off. If his reflexes were not so sharp, that little monster would have taken a chunk out of him, so he smirks and snaps his fingers. Time to pay up. His eyes glow with a dark purple light as he cold-bloodedly calls out his command. Summon undead. A dark, sinister skeleton draped in a black cloak slowly steps out from the glowing magic circle. Not just one, but dozens of undead soldiers rise from the void, completely surrounding the terrified fat rodent cowering on the ground. A hooded skeleton mage holds a blazing fireball in its bony hand, glaring down ruthlessly at the tiny, helpless prey. The system screen pops up, displaying the skeleton mage's totally overpowered stats. It is a rank 0, level 1 summon with 5 strength, 5 agility, 10 spirit, the fireball spell, and a final utterly hopeless notification showing for the targeted monster. Total count, 20. Wei Xiao smirks and points forward, asking if it is ready to get absolutely wrecked as fireball after fireball ignites. The blazing attacks rain down on the terrified gopher, causing its jaw to drop right before a massive blinding explosion swallows it whole. Our unfortunate creature is instantly roasted to a crisp and blown away, its tiny soul bidding farewell as it floats out of its body. The victory screen immediately flashes in front of him. It congratulates him on defeating the rank 0 level 1 prairie gopher and awards 10 experience points, but he just frowns at the measly reward. At this rate, hitting level 3 is going to take forever with such trash experience, but a confident smirk quickly returns to his face. Good thing he has his undead army, telling his boys to go to work. He waves his hand, barking out a loud order. Free combat mode active, clear out every single monster in this zone for me. Cut to a much more peaceful scene where hot tea flows slowly into a cup. Inside the lounge, a teacher sneers with a smug question. Hey Wang Wei, for this dungeon trial, do you honestly think you can beat our second academy? Wang Wei takes a sip of his tea, answering pretty calmly, that is obvious. The white-haired guy strokes his beard and smirks. Pretty confident, are we? But our school literally produced an epic tier class user this year, you know? Another teacher sitting nearby chimes in to ruin the vibe. Old Meng, you seriously still do not know? Wang Wei actually got an epic tier too, plus a secret hidden class. Hearing this, Old Meng gets so shocked, he literally spits his tea right out. Coughing wildly, he stares in utter disbelief. No way, is this a joke or what? Wang Wei just grins like a boss. Of course it is real. I am totally looking forward to the kids taking down a few more elite monsters here. Now look at this chaos. Back to the brutal dungeon. Wild firestorms explode everywhere, trapping those panicked moles. Do not let a single one escape. The undead go all out under their master's command. Blow them to pieces over on that side too. Skeletal mages spam firestorms, leaving the fat monsters screaming in terror as they desperately run for their lives in total chaos. Totally opposite to the fiery war zone, Wei Xiao is chilling with his hands behind his head, sunbathing on the grass. He laughs out loud. Man, fighting like this is absolute heaven. Heavy experience points keep stacking up and raining down on his head without him breaking a single sweat. Closing his eyes, he enjoys this ultimate laziness, realizing he does not even lift a finger to level up. Is this the insane perk of a hidden class? Enough slacking off. He sits up and summons his black shovel, knowing he cannot just lay around forever without testing what this iron shovel can actually do. He shoulders his shovel. Walking right over to the mole's charred corpse, Wei Xiao mutters to himself, "Let us bury it first to see what kind of crazy thing happens." So our main character starts digging away like a hard-working farmer. He hums a silly song, dig a hole, throw dirt, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He packs the fat corpse neatly and lets it rest peacefully under the cool soil. Burial done, he wipes away the sweat dripping down his face after doing all that tiring manual labor. Standing with hands on his hips, he looks at his work, hyped to see what extra rewards he gets. Instantly, 3 glowing items float up right out of the grave alongside a clear system notification. "Congratulations! You received a coarse bracelet, cheap cemetery incense, and a bottle of bone oil." The details pop up one by one. First up is the level 1 coarse bracelet, giving +1 strength, +1 agility, +1 constitution, and +1 spirit. Next is the cemetery incense. Burning this cheap stuff constantly generates a small trickle of experience points. And lastly, we have bone oil. Rubbing this bone oil onto your body slightly boosts all your stat attributes. Wei Xiao looks at his freshly dug loot, totally speechless. Seriously, what kind of creepy underworld items are these? Even the names sound completely sketchy. But his curiosity gets the best of him, so he clicks his tongue and lights up the incense. Whatever, let us just test it out first. Immediately, +2 experience points keep popping up all around our main character like rain, with a notice saying you gain 2 experience points. A brilliant golden level-up light wraps his entire body, making our boy shout out in absolute joy. Oh, the system panel flashes. "Congratulations, you leveled up to level 2. Wei Xiao smiles smugly. Gaining experience points is almost too easy. His eyes shift to that dark brown clay jar, feeling pretty curious about it. Alright, let us try this next. He pours a thick dark purple liquid directly onto his palm. The system immediately notifies applied bone oil, gaining a solid stat boost, including +1 strength and +1 agility, +1 constitution, +1 spirit. Feeling this massive power surging through him, our boy is totally ecstatic, begging for even more raw power. Without hesitation, Wei Xiao slathers that super smelly oil all over his body, triggering a crazy storm of red notifications stacking his stats continuously. Wait, check this out. Suddenly, a massive status window pops up, leaving him completely jaw-dropped. Whoa, staring at these insane stats, the young man strokes his chin. Even though this buff only lasts 10 minutes, these stats are pretty overpowered. The system screen clearly displays the name Wei Xiao, Class Undead Summoner Level 2, Next Level Progress 95%, Strength 30, Agility 33, Constitution 37, Spirit 337, Talent Skill Eternal Life, SSS-Rank, Summon Skeletal Mage, Clearing Duty Complete. Our main character shoulders his black shovel again, walking ahead with high spirits. Time to dig more and keep burying. Before taking a few steps, a bunch of red alerts start flashing rapidly. Warning, your active undead mages decreased by 1. Wei Xiao gasps and spins around, sweating buckets as he looks at a massive explosion in the distance. What is going on? Through the thick dust, a giant wild boar is furiously smashing his skeletons into the air. The system screen lays out the party crasher stats pretty clearly. It's a level 3 elite one-horned wild boar packing a nasty savage charge skill. He squints, sizing up the absolute unit of a beast blocking his path. Level 3 elite, so that's why my skeleton mages got wrecked. The wild boar lets out a massive roar, flexing its overwhelming power. It charges up its energy and sprints straight at him, using Savage Charge to tear up the ground. Sensing the danger, our guy immediately turns tail and runs like crazy. Not good, he's spotted! Wei Xiao books it at top speed, screaming his head off in panic. "Don't you dare come any closer," he yells, but the aggressive beast stays hot on his heels. Realizing he can't run forever, our guy slides to a halt and turns to fight. He thrusts his hands forward, out. "Block this!" Boom, a massive purple magic barrier instantly rises up to block the incoming attack. But that boar's strength is just ridiculous. It easily smashes right through the wall and obliterates his skeleton backup. Wei Xiao collapses to the ground, panting hard as he wipes away sweat. Talk about close. Good thing I had a huge skeleton army, because one direct hit would have absolutely wrecked me. Learning his lesson, he jumps right back up and casts his undead summoning magic again. Changing his strategy, our guy starts analyzing the situation with full confidence. Sure, this one-horned wild boar hits like a truck, but it can't turn fast. All I have to do is surround it. Trapped on all sides by this skeletal army, the angry beast just growls in total frustration. Look at that smirk. Finding its weak spot, our hero knows it can only charge in one direction. A barrage of fireballs rains down from his skeleton mages, triggering a massive, earth-shaking explosion. The cocky elite beast is swallowed by the sea of fire, and a brilliant golden light wraps around Wei Xiao once again. The system happily chimes in, congratulating him on defeating the boar, leveling up to 3, and getting +5 to all stats. Along with the experience points, a glowing item drops. He just scored the Wild Boar Leather Armor. Item details, Level 3 Elite Wild Boar Leather Armor, Rank 0, +15 Strength, +18 Constitution, crafted from the boar's tough hide. Our main character is grinning ear to ear, a gear drop. Let's go! He slips the shiny gold armor on and immediately feels his strength and constitution shoot way up. Seriously, this upgrade hits different. With the big beast down, Wei Xiao excitedly calls out his favorite tool for the job, his trusty iron shovel. Our boy gets right to work grave digging beside the massive carcass. Can't let a premium corpse like this go to waste. Let's bury it and see what loot we get. Hard work definitely pays off as two blinding golden lights shoot out from the boar's grave, promising a massive jackpot. Staring at the drops, Wei Xiao starts complaining immediately. Even basic mole monsters drop 3 loot balls, but this elite boar is being totally stingy. Suddenly, 2 magic books materialize from the glow. Our hero's eyes widen as he mutters, "Wait, is this what I think it is?" The system flashes, confirming he just scored some G-rank skill books. Ghostfire to burn enemies, plus a wild boar skeleton summon that costs 2 mana per call. Wei Xiao instantly flips his attitude, doing a total 90-degree turn with a greedy grin. "My bad, big boss, I totally misspoke earlier," he says. "You aren't stingy at all." Clutching the 2 precious books, our guy starts doing the math. Summoning a skeleton boar only costs 2 mana, so with my current stats, I can easily call out a whole dozen. Wasting no time, our hero learns them both on the spot. The books dissolve into a purple light, flowing right into him. The system notifies him that both new skills are officially learned. Eager to test his new gear, Wei Xiao slams his hand down. A magic circle flashes as he yells, "Summon, skeleton boar!" Out of the dark vortex, a skeletal wild boar rises with a savage roar, dripping with pure bloodlust. The summon stat screen shows it's a level 3, rank 0 elite, still rocking that same crazy savage charge skill to ram down enemies just like the original. He nods in pure satisfaction. Not bad at all, because with this beast on my side, my leveling speed is going to skyrocket. Right as he's daydreaming, a massive wave of fiery sword energy suddenly tears across the sky nearby, scorching the surrounding forest. Things are getting wild as our guy peers over with total caution. That sword energy is insane. Who's causing a scene over there? Panning over, a blonde dude named Qian Zihao is pointing his greatsword at 2 terrified students next to a massive turtle carcass. "Scram if you know what's good." One of the guys snaps back in absolute rage, yelling out, "Qian Zihao, don't push your luck." The buzzcut student grits his teeth in frustration, arguing that they clearly found this elite monster first, so why does he get to just steal it? That rich brat smirks like a total thug, looking down on them, like, based on what? "Oh right, because I'm way stronger than you losers." Behind a tree, Wei Xiao smiles. Turns out it's that pay-to-win trash Qian Zihao flexing his expensive premium gear. To think Henry could actually pull off a powerful move like that. Without wasting breath, the blonde brat swings his sword down with a blinding roar. "Out of my way!" The massive sword wave sweeps through, blasting 2 poor students right off their feet and onto the dirt. However, right after that, a surprise blast out of nowhere hits the elite turtle right on its shell, flipping the giant beast on its back as it squeals in shock. Qian Zihao channels his energy, shouting with pure killing intent, trying to run. "Take my green snake sword wave." But wait, look what pops out of the bushes. 2 creepy skeleton mages wearing dark hoods rise up to ruin his day. These undead summons have 0 chill, chucking fireballs to steal the final blow on the giant turtle right from under his nose. Talk about a clean hijack. Our pay-to-win boy is completely brain-lagged. Like, what just happened? And right through the thick smoke, Wei Xiao casually strolls out with a smug face. The system screen pops up, announcing he killed the elite stone turtle. Boom! Level 6 unlocked, +5 to all stats. Too easy. Seeing his bitter enemy steal his food right out of his mouth, that rich kid gets veins popping on his forehead, screaming, "Wei Xiao, you dare steal my mob." But our boy just scratches his head, playing dumb to trigger him. "It was totally an accident, bro. My summons just did their own thing. I had nothing to do with it." Qian Zihao loses his mind, charging forward with a flaming sword. "Bullshit, you absolutely did that on purpose." "Perfect. Today I'm settling all old and new scores with you at once." A massive, blinding sword wave tears through the ground straight at our boy as he screams out, "Take this!" Facing this absolutely deadly attack, our main character doesn't even flinch. He confidently raises one hand wrapped in glowing purple magic. "I'll block it." Wei Xiao doesn't hesitate, immediately summoning a defensive wall of skeleton mages to back him up with high energy. A whole barrage of aggressive fireballs flies forward, crashing head-on into that enemy's massive sword wave. His premium pay-to-win power is actually no joke. Our boy frowns, taking a step back as he sees the sword wave slice right through his flames, sweat dripping down his forehead. He sighs in relief. "Close one. Good thing my summon slowed down that sword wave, or I'd be sliced in half." Meanwhile, the 2 student spectators are sweating bullets, analyzing the fight. "Those skeleton mages are way too squishy," one of them says. Wei Xiao just pissed off Qian Zihao. He's in deep trouble now. But our boy is not about to sit back and get bullied. Boiling with killing intent, he warns, "Qian Zihao, you threw the first punch, so don't blame me." With a swift wave of his hand, glowing magic circles instantly summon a whole horde of aggressive skeleton boars. Wei Xiao loudly shouts, "Get him!" The bone boars immediately obey, activating their wild charge skill and rushing forward like crazy. The rich brat confidently swings his greatsword, shouting arrogantly, "You absolute idiot! No matter how many bones you summon, they are all just complete trash." His golden sword slams right into the lead boar's horn, creating a massive shower of sparks. But before he can even celebrate, Qianzihao's jaws drop in absolute shock. How is this even possible? The bone boar doesn't have a single scratch. Instead, it opens its giant mouth, roaring right in his face like it wants to eat him alive. This brutal charge launches the blonde brat high into the air, making him scream miserably. Every bit of dignity this rich pay-to-win kid had just completely evaporates as he face plants onto the dirt. Those bone boars aren't done yet, trampling the grass as they charge right back at him. Facing the stampede, the rich boy covers his face and starts crying like a baby. "No, please stop." Sadly for him, a bony hoof stomps directly onto his pretty face, leaving him screaming in absolute agony. And just like that, our show-off is knocked out cold, with a hilarious hoof print stamped right in the middle of his face. The two student spectators cover their faces in absolute terror. "So terrifying." The other guy stammers, "What kind of crazy summon is that?" Having cleared the trash, Wei Xiao casually strolls over to make a request. "Can you guys help carry Qianzihao out of this dungeon? If he actually dies here, it'll just bring a ton of trouble down on us." Grateful to be alive, the two boys nod like crazy, saying sure thing. Our boy smiles back, giving them a quick thanks. So they drag the completely wrecked rich brat away from the battlefield, leaving our main character alone to flash his signature mischievous smile. "Heh, now that everyone's gone, I can safely deal with this giant corpse in peace." He rubs his hands together, walking toward the massive turtle shell with glowing eyes. Something this huge has got to drop some legendary loot, right? But right as he's about to start, a giant blob of green slime suddenly drops from the sky, making him look up in total confusion. Startled, Wei Xiao instinctively leaps backward, dodging the slime while shouting out in absolute panic. "What the hell is this?" A massive green jelly monster looms with sharp yellow eyes, and that flashing red warning means things are about to get wild. He can only gasp at this level 5 splitting slime, which turns out to be a total boss-level monster. Wei Xiao tenses up instantly, cold sweat dripping down his cheek, because he did not expect to run into this literal nightmare. Without warning, the massive boss spits out a stream of toxic green bubbles, triggering a system alert for its acid bubble skill. Sensing the danger, he rapidly channels purple defensive magic, his brows furrowed as he warns himself that it is corrosive. Staring down the boss's toxic barf, Wei Xiao quickly hurls a blazing burst of purple magic to block it, screaming for his ghost fire. The nasty green sludge splatters onto the grass, immediately melting the ground and sending up creepy plumes of acid smoke. Our main guy gulps, staring down at the charred black craters melting right by his feet while sweating buckets. "If that nasty sludge hits me, I'm literally turning into a skeleton." But before he can even breathe, the fat slime rears back again. It launches a massive wave of toxic green bubbles straight into the sky. No way is he standing there like a sitting duck. Wei Xiao instantly summons a horde of skeleton mages, ordering his undead boys to attack. His obedient undead crew immediately raises their hands, charging up and unleashing a volley of blazing fireballs to counter the threat. Endless fireballs collide with the toxic bubbles, creating a massive, explosive light show that completely blankets the entire sky. They block most of it, but one stray drop of acid slips through the defense and lands right on a skeleton mage's head. Instantly, the acid starts eating a hole right through its skull. Seeing his fragile army getting trashed, Wei Xiao scowls in frustration. This is bad, he tenses up, noticing their defense is just too weak. Pivoting his battle strategy immediately, he summons his skeleton wild boars to charge in. Knowing these tough beasts are his only real option now, the slime boss's eyes widen in absolute shock as a ferocious army of skeletal boars charges straight at it with deadly intent. Instantly, the boars slam violently right into the jelly monster, and the sheer impact launches the heavy beast flying into the air. Seeing the perfect setup, our main guy pumps his fist and cheers in absolute excitement. It worked. But that joy quickly evaporates when the slime lands without a single scratch, its gelatinous veins bulging with pure rage. The giant blob suddenly explodes with dark energy, its entire body cracking open as it prepares to pull a dirty trick. The system screen flashes red with alerts for split and acid bubble skills. Look at this absolute mess. The massive boss just split into dozens of tiny, annoying clones bouncing around. Watching the slimy army swarm below from his cliffside view, he strokes his chin like a total genius. Just like the textbooks warned, these things split under heavy fire. Wei Xiao smirks with that familiar, wicked grin, completely oozing high and mighty arrogance. "Sure, that cloning garbage might work on normal players, but you had the bad luck of running into me." Spreading his arms as a brilliant purple aura erupts, he summons his own massive undead army to test their puny numbers. "This is my absolute specialty." Not backing down, the mini slimes puff up their cheeks and unleash a massive storm of acid bubbles that covers the sky. Acting like a true general commanding his troops, Wei Xiao barks out orders for his skeleton boars to tank the front line. The resilient skeleton boars step forward as a solid meat shield. They take the full force of the acid rain, shielding their master perfectly while he smugly prepares his next tactical command. He barks orders for his backline skeleton mages to unleash hell, sending dozens of roaring fireballs flying from all directions to completely trap the helpless slimes in an inferno. A massive explosion rocks the entire area. Wild flames completely vaporize the entire slime army into a glowing pile of wet sludge, while a brilliant gold light of victory wraps around our leveling hero. Congratulations on defeating the level 5 boss. Your level is now 7. All attributes are boosted by 5. As the smoke clears, his eyes light up at the mountain of sweet loot dropped on the grass. He smiles at the sheer amount of gear, comforting his empty wallet that even though they are low level, selling this junk will make decent cash. It is an absolute goldmine of swords, daggers, and glowing rings. Honestly, you cannot make this up. Our guy pulls a massive yellow sack straight out of thin air, ready to steal every piece of loot on the ground. Grinning like a bargain hunter at a massive clearance sale, he gets to work. He frantically scoops every single piece of loot into his sack, muttering that he is definitely not holding back. Just as he grabs the last piece, a bright warp light surrounds Wei Xiao, and the system coldly announces that the trial time has ended. He freezes, looking totally robbed as he wonders how the hell things ended this quickly. Since you cannot argue with the system, he just throws the massive sack over his shoulder and floats away into the teleportation light. The scene shifts back to the chaotic school square, where students are gossiping as they warp back. Back already? Damn, those 8 hours flew by way too fast. Standing inside the magic circle, Wei Xiao looks like a straight-up smuggler clutching his sack of loot, muttering, "Seriously, back already? I wasn't even done playing yet." All around him, kids are loud, bragging about their runs. One guy sighs with pure relief, saying his squad barely survived a pack of prairie wolves, and if they hadn't teleported out, they'd be straight up dead. No mercy. The girl next to him smirks, patting his shoulder. "You guys are such noobs," she says. "I literally saw Shu Xiaoqing solo an entire pack of level 5 wolves by herself. It was honestly so epic." Overhearing the crazy flex of that genius girl, Wei Xiao glances over and secretly admits that soloing a whole wolf pack is wild. That elixir angel class of hers is seriously overpowered. Lost in thought, suddenly a big chubby guy waddles up and calls out to him. "My brother? There you are. I was looking literally everywhere for you." The system panel displays the name Zhang Dahai, Wei Xiao's best bud. As Wei Xiao turns and asks, "What's up, Zhang Dahai?" The chubby guy just smirks with a mysterious grin, asking him, "Guess what level I am now?" Seeing his buddy's hyped face, Wei Xiao guesses level 5. Hearing that, Zhang Dahai breaks a sweat, scratches his belly, and quickly corrects him. "Bro, you think way too highly of me. If I actually hit level 5, the principal would probably build a monument in my honor." So smug. Zhang Dahai proudly flexes his bicep, his face pointing at the sky. "I'm officially level 4 now. Pretty sick, right?" Wei Xiao flashes his bro a big thumbs up of approval. "Not bad. That's definitely a guaranteed bonus score for the national exam," making the chubby guy's ego inflate even more. "Don't be jealous, bro. From now on, your big bro is carrying you." Just then, cold. A sharp voice suddenly cuts through, calling out Wei Xiao's name specifically. Wei Xiao. Seeing the school beauty walking over, Zhang Dahai slaps his chest, bravely stepping up to play hero. "Yo, the school beauty is back to cause trouble for you. But don't worry, your big boy is going to handle her." Denied. Before he can even show off his main character energy, the gorgeous girl's slender hand gently drops onto the fat guy's shoulder. Out of the way. She shoves him aside. The fat guy stammers and gets launched like a straight-up bowling ball. Faceplant. All of his cool attitude instantly hits the ground with a painful groan. Ugh. Seeing his best bud get bullied, Wei Xiao instantly draws his trusty battle shovel, raising his killer aura to warn her. "Hey, mess with my bro and you'll regret it. Don't think I'll go easy on you just because you're a girl." Looking proud as ever, the school beauty swings her glowing golden sword and snaps back. "Who needs you to go easy? I said I wanted a duel. So make your move." No talking. Our main character instantly flips high up into the air. He slams his shovel down with a loud shout, "Yah!" Both of them quickly back off into defensive stances, creating a tense atmosphere that suffocates the entire schoolyard. Seizing an opening, she instantly unleashes a massive glowing golden wave of sword energy. Check this out. It sweeps across the ground as she sneers, "Too slow." Blocked. Holding his iron shovel, Wei Xiao stands there totally unfazed, even throwing out some casual shade. "Is that all? Honestly, your attack feels kind of weak." Shocked by his insane defense, the school beauty immediately activates her appraisal skill to inspect him. Screaming in total disbelief, "How is a mere summoner tanking a hit that literally had 80% of my full power behind it?" The system panel pops up showing Wei Xiao's details, with his Necromancer class sitting at level 7, causing her to completely freeze in absolute shock before muttering out loud, "Wait, level 7? How in the world is he already at level 7? As Wei Xiao charges forward with his shovel, her mind is still spinning from the massive mental damage. thinking I grinded mobs non-stop and only barely scraped my way to level 6. In the blink of an eye, Wei Xiao's razor-sharp shovel blade swings forward, stopping literally millimeters away from the beautiful girl's elegant and proud neck. Our handsome main character leans in close with a smug smirk, teasing her. "Hey princess, why didn't you even try to dodge that?" Dispersing her sword aura and standing her ground, she huffs back, "Why would I bother running? I already lost to you anyway." Turning on her heel to leave, the school beauty flicks her sleeve and proudly throws down one final high and mighty challenge. "Even if you did hit level 7, don't get too ahead of yourself. We will settle this for real at the national exam." Watching her slim figure walk away, Wei Xiao lets out a heavy, tired sigh and mutters, "These girls might be insanely gorgeous, but why do they have to be so ridiculously obsessed with winning?" Blending into the crowd behind them, a shady-looking stranger with a sharp face quietly observes the scene. Hitting level 7 in just one day in the beginner dungeon, this kid actually has some serious skill. A sinister smirk spreads across his face, revealing a sharp fang as he gloats to himself. "Young Master Qian really picked a highly entertaining target for me." Just then, Zhang Dehai drags himself up, dusting off his clothes and rubbing his sore spots while whining. "Bro, why didn't you tell me your level was that high? I took a massive hit for you for absolutely nothing." Wei Xiao just shrugs, throwing his hands up with a perfectly innocent face. "Since you wanted to show off so badly, why are you blaming me now?" Throwing a huge sack of loot over his shoulder, our main character waves goodbye. He says he has some business to handle and takes off, leaving his best friend laughing behind him. All right then. Striding through the crowded streets until twilight finally falls, Wei Xiao stops right in front of a massive building and mutters that this must be the spot. He looks up at the trading market sign. He calculates that selling off all his gear will bring in some pretty sweet cash, and honestly, who wouldn't want that? Out of nowhere, a creepy dark figure with a nasty grin sneaks right up behind him and whispers, "Want to buy some gear?" That sketchy voice absolutely scares the daylights out of Wei Xiao. Twilight slowly settles over the quiet and empty road as a pretty sleek white luxury car speeds off toward the distant horizon. Inside the high-end vehicle, the wealthy father glances at his daughter and asks her what is wrong. He asks Xu Xiaoqing why she looks so down, while the school beauty rests her chin on her hand, staring out the window with teary eyes, asking if she is totally useless. Watching her in the rearview mirror, her dad smiles with pride and tells her that is impossible. She is literally the most outstanding student in her entire class. But the harsh reality still hurts, making her bite her lip and complain that she still lost to Wei Xiao today. Hearing that annoying name, her dad instantly goes protective papa mode, asking if she wants him to teach the guy a lesson to help her vent. She immediately shakes her head. No way! She wants to use her own raw strength to surpass and beat him, which makes her dad laugh in pure delight. That is my girl, a true daughter of the Tuligia. Suddenly remembering something super important, the school beauty quickly warns him that Wei Xiao actually ended up injuring Qian Zihao inside the dungeon. The Qian family definitely won't let this slide, so she asks her dad to help Wei Xiao out when the time comes. Her dad laughs it off and promises he will, but secretly thinks they are quite a pretty funny pair of rivals. Looks like he will have to send someone to investigate this kid's background. Back on the streets, a shady merchant runs up to pitch Wei Xiao, asking if he wants to buy anything. He claims his prices are totally fair for everyone, but our guy flat out declines, saying he has got a decent amount of gear to sell himself. Smelling a sweet business deal, the merchant eagerly suggests that he sell it right to him to save himself the annoying trouble of walking around. The main character gives him a highly suspicious look, asking if he is trying to rip him off for a quick profit. Stroking his chin with a sneaky grin, the broker swears that is impossible and tells him to just ask around. He boasts that Zhang Tidan always offers the fairest prices in this entire district, but Wei Xiao is not in the mood to argue. Wei Xiao just drops his giant green sack onto the ground and tells him to check how much the pile is worth. The moment he opens it, a blinding golden light shoots out, forcing the merchant to shield his eyes in shock. Holy crap, that is blinding. The guy picks up a glowing sword and inspects it with sheer amazement. He is shocked to find a level 5 slime sword inside while Wei Xiao stands with crossed arms, asking how much he will pay for all 25 pieces. The merchant pretends to think deeply for a minute, before making a seemingly generous offer. "My friend, I won't even nitpick. I'll take this entire lot off your hands right now for 15,000 yuan. The main character immediately flashes 2 fingers, showing a cool, cold face as he bargains for at least 20,000 yuan. Waiting for exactly that, Zhang Tidan instantly shakes his hand to seal the deal. "Wait, what?" Looking straight at us with a hilarious face of instant regret, he practically cries, asking if he just got completely scammed here. Wondering what price he should have actually demanded, while the merchant quickly changes the subject before his prey can back out. He asks if he is a student from the prestigious Qingyang No. 1 high school. Still a bit dazed, Wei Xiao nods and asks what of it, as Zhang Tidan pulls out a small cloth pouch with a highly tempting pitch. Before the big unified exam, he is definitely going to need to run some dungeons. This convenient storage bag has a massive 10 cubic meters of space inside, which he will absolutely need, making our greedy main character rub his chin and curiously ask about the price. Zhang Tidan grins widely. He throws his arm around him like they are best buddies, claiming the market price is at least 50,000 yuan, but he will let him have it for just 30,000 to make a friend. Learning from his painful mistake, Wei Xiao raises a single finger, totally determined to slash the price. He decides to cut it right in half and coldly offers 15,000 yuan. Zhang Tidan immediately whips out his phone, showing a QR code at lightning speed to seal the deal, saying his small business allows absolutely no refunds under any circumstances. Our main character is left completely jaw-dropped and shook. Suddenly, a loud ping rings out from his phone, indicating a successful transaction. The payment app confirms he just received exactly 15,000 yuan, with the screen clearly showing the massive transfer in bold letters. Wei Xiao just stares at the camera with a totally blank, dazed look. He deeply sighs and asks, "Guys, did I seriously just get scammed by this old man again?" The scene shifts to a rundown old neighborhood, where a mysterious white-haired old man is negotiating rent with a pretty young landlady. "Hey girl, I am only staying for 1 month," he says. She just waves her hand with a warm smile. "No worries, just clean her properly when you check out." Grabbing the room key from her hand, the old white-haired man nods his head in agreement. But as soon as she walks away, he scratches his head and sighs in pure exhaustion. Is this kid really just some rookie who recently awakened his class? The guildmaster is totally overreacting to this. He grumbles, making my old bones travel all the way out here to spy. Meanwhile, Wei Xiao is walking past carrying a heavy sack on his shoulders. He passes right by that same gorgeous landlady, and she cannot help but turn around to stare at him with intense curiosity. Aunt Wu, the beautiful landlady, immediately greets him with a massive smile. "Hey Wei, you are finally back." Our boy nervously scratches his head while stealing a quick glance at her killer body, asking what is up. That is when she brings up the crazy rumors. She heard he actually awakened the legendary Necromancer class, and even took first place in today's trial. He humbly nods, but suddenly, the hyped-up landlady aggressively pins him straight against the wall in pure excitement. With things getting incredibly close and spicy, she leans in and whispers mysteriously, "My gift can finally be given." Poor Wei Xiao turns bright red, sweating buckets as he stammers out, "Wait, what gift?" She moves her face extremely close, exhaling a sweet breath right onto him. "Close your eyes," she seductively commands, and he immediately obeys with burning red cheeks. The kid's mind starts going totally wild. Since her husband passed away long ago, could she be feeling incredibly lonely and wants to? But his spicy dream instantly shatters when she pulls back and proudly presents a tiny, ordinary wooden box, yelling "Ta-da!" Blasted back to reality, Wei Xiao blankly stares at the object in absolute confusion. Inside the box is a glowing, creepy purple skeletal finger, and the system prompt immediately pops up to explain exactly what it does. The item is called the Mysterious Bone Finger. Special Effect 1 allows him to upgrade any selected undead summon up to 3 times. Effect 2 temporarily transforms the user into a powerful undead beast. His stats will double, but his experience points will slowly drain over time. Suddenly, Aunt Wu looks extremely sorrowful as she begins to speak. "This belonged to my late husband, who was also a summoner." She sighs, and I strongly suspect his death is connected to this creepy object. She shoves the box directly into his hands. "Accepting it will bring you massive benefits," she urges, but Wei Xiao is sharp enough to read between the lines. "Aunt Wu, are you giving me this because you want me to find out who killed your husband?" Her response is filled with pure vengeance. "Yes," she says, "I hope you can help my husband get his revenge." Wait, if you guys are loving this story, smash that like button. Now our hero rubs his chin, carefully weighing the dangerous trade-off. The power of this relic is absolute madness. Giving it up is not an option. But accepting it means getting dragged into some serious, unknown trouble. His bright green eyes flash with cold, sharp determination as he finally makes his ultimate choice. Gripping the box tightly, the young man clicks his tongue and tells himself, "Whatever, high risk yields high rewards. Besides, Aunt Wu always looks out for me, so helping her is the least I can do." Looking up with a confident grin, he proudly accepts the dangerous quest. "Do not worry, Aunt Wu, I will absolutely give this my all." Overjoyed by his answer, she throws herself into his arms, burying her face into his chest. "You are literally my savior," she cries out, leaving Wei Xiao sweating and awkwardly raising his hands. "Hey, I haven't even succeeded yet." Staring up with a heavily blushing face, the pretty landlady softly whispers her deep gratitude. Agreeing to help is already a huge deal. With the dramatic encounter finished, Wei Xiao politely waves goodbye. "I am heading out first," he says, receiving a cute wave back from the beauty as he walks upstairs. Just as he returns to his small room, a sudden shockwave of magic violently rips through the quiet air. Sitting on his cozy bed, Wei Xiao pulls out his brand new treasure to study it closely. Damn, this skeletal finger is definitely not normal. Curious to see what this baby can do, he grips the bone tight to trigger the glowing purple magic, choosing to test the effects first. Ignoring all risks, our boy lets out a roar and slams the bone straight into his chest. The entire room is instantly swallowed by a massive cloud of dark magic, exploding outward like a magical pressure cooker. As the smoke clears, a totally badass skeleton, dressed in a slick suit, is revealed. Right on cue, that annoying system notification pings for another payment. Undead mode is active, burning 1% of his total experience points every minute. Feeling up his new bony claws, Wei Xiao is hyped about this insane surge of power. It really feels like every single one of his stats just got a major boost. Looking pretty handsome, boys, he says. But wait, his empty eye sockets suddenly glow with a shady light as a wild idea pops into his head. Yeah, a buff. Holding onto some major bro hopes, the skeleton bends right over and pulls open his pants to check the situation inside, whispering with absolute anticipation. Surely that part got a boost too, right? But reality is brutal. Our bony boy weeps shiny crystal tears, looking up to scream his lungs out. Did the upgrade fail? He is so mad his skull might actually crack open. He desperately screams for a refund. Change me back right now. I do not want this garbage power-up anymore. Thankfully, his warm flesh and blood quickly return. Back in his human form, Wei Xiao holds his head, sobbing like a dramatic toddler. Wiping his tears, he stares at his intact hands. He sighs, soothing his fragile little soul. Turns out he can actually control this transformation. Thank goodness, that totally freaked him out. Time to get his cool swagger back. He frowns and scratches his head, crying over his lost points. Just that short flex wasted a ton of experience. This move is strictly for emergencies. While counting pocket change, his sharp ears pick up some noise out in the hallway. He instantly whips his head around, throwing a sharp glare straight at the dorm door. Our main character coldly demands to know who is out there, but only a dead silence answers him from behind the tightly shut wooden door. Seconds later, the doorknob slowly turns. You can clearly feel the tension spike as the door cracks open, revealing the pitch-black hallway. A creepy silver-haired guy with glowing eyes looms, his eerie voice sounding like a ghost call. So you are Wei Xiao. But before he can even finish his cool line, the poor old guy eats a brutal face-shattering punch from our panicked hero. Talk about a warm welcome. Nothing says hospitality like an educated young man decking a random, creepy stranger standing right at his doorstep. Taking that heavy hit, the old guy just rubs his sore cheek and quickly tries to explain himself. My bad, he says before giving our boy a highly suggestive thumbs up. Not bad at all, kid. Your reflexes are pretty sharp. No wonder the young mistress has her eyes locked onto you. Realizing he is acting weird, the mysterious elder waves off. Alright, I just came by to say hello. Heading out now, he says, leaving Wei Xiao standing at the door completely lost with a massive question mark floating over his head. Shutting the door, our main character scratches his head in total confusion. What mistress? What neighbor? This is weird. The next morning, the sky is clear, birds are chirping, and the crisp breeze signals the perfect start to a brand new day. Over at the Academy Central Plaza, a massive crowd of students has already gathered around the giant leaderboard, waiting for the big reveal. Amidst all the excited chatter, one of the girls hype up her friends, pointing out that the trial results are dropping today, making the guy next to her nod along in pure anticipation. I cannot wait to see who took first, she says, walking alongside our main character across campus. Xu Xiaoqing curiously asks Wei Xiao how on earth he managed to level up all the way to level 7, but he just casually shrugs. Nothing special really, he shrugs. Just took down a boss, some elite mobs, and a bunch of small fries. Such a flex makes the campus beauty widen her eyes in complete disbelief, questioning how a boss fight could even be possible for him. You are totally lying, she claims, right before the principal's voice blasts over the speakers, cutting them off. Welcome, students. Today, I am standing right here to officially announce the final rankings from our recent survival trial. Up on the massive screen, our main character's legendary achievements flash brightly with an epic intro. First place goes to Wei Xiao. He successfully hunted down the level 5 split slime boss, along with a level 3 one-horned wild boar elite and that level 4 stone turtle elite, reaching level 7. Staring at her friend's smug, grinning profile picture on the screen, the campus beauty holds her head in shock, muttering that it is actually all true. Instantly, the surrounding crowd starts whispering. No way, Wei Xiao is literally just a weak undead summoner, right? How did he manage to beat both Xu Xiaoqing and Qian Zihao? Another student whispers, spreading the juicy gossip. I heard Qian Zihao got absolutely wrecked and crippled by Wei Xiao inside the dungeon, making the guy next to him nod in agreement. Yeah, that is true. I literally saw them carry his broken body out on a stretcher. The announcer proudly points to the screen, declaring second place goes to Xu Xiaoqing for hunting a level 5 silver backwolf king to reach his level 6, before rattling off the rest. Third and fourth place go to Li Qiang and Qian Zihao, with fifth following behind. Even though she got totally wrecked on points, Xu Xiaoqing whips around and grit her teeth at Wei Xiao. She admits he is pretty strong, but insists their little rivalry is far from over. Facing this angry beauty's sudden declaration of war, Wei Xiao just flashes a smooth smile and tells her he is ready to take her on anytime. The principal's loud voice wraps up the ceremony, reminding everyone they only have 29 days left until the unified exam. He urges all the students to keep grinding hard and bring home some serious glory. Surrounded by jealous and admiring stares from the younger kids, our boy just shrugs and walks off looking totally chill, pacing down the sidewalk. Our boy is already plotting his next big moves since there is less than a single month left. Squeezing every second to level up fast, he decides to hit the dungeon square first. Standing in front of a digital board packed with crazy item buy requests, Wei Xiao clicks his tongue, thinking there are tons of quests, but he is definitely not going back to those boring green plains. His eyes lock onto a super juicy quest, and he claps his hands, deciding to hit up the orc cave instead. Heading to the teleport gate guarded by serious soldiers in green uniforms, he gets ready for a brand new adventure. Our main character stands right in the middle of a glowing green magic circle. He smirks, and honestly, we all know this level of difficulty is just a warm-up for him. The teleport gate blasts a massive beam of light that wraps him up and shoots him straight into the new dungeon. Once the flash fades, he finds himself in a peaceful forest, scratching his head and wondering if this is really the orc cave, since it looks nothing like it. The forest is packed with chill animals like cute pink foxes hanging out, white bunnies eating grass, and monkeys swinging around. Even with this super dreamy vibe, our boy stays sharp and summons his army of skeletal guards. The scenery is pretty nice, but he knows he can never let his guard down. Right above his head in the pitch-black leaves, countless glowing red eyes of hungry wolves are silently lurking, just waiting for the perfect chance to strike. Suddenly, a giant werewolf wrapped in a blood-red aura drops from the sky, trying to rip him to shreds. Shocked by the sharp claws diving at his face, our boy's jaw drops as he yells out, asking if this is another cheap sneak attack. Quickly channeling his energy, Wei Xiao grits his teeth and asks if every single dungeon monster loves playing these cheap, trashy tricks. The wild werewolf lunges in with purple energy flowing from its claws, totally determined to tear him apart. But before it can even touch him, the beast gets blasted backward, face planting straight into the dirt. It leaves a huge crater. As the wolf lies dead, his system pops up to congratulate him on killing a level 1 Jackman for 25 experience points. Seeing this, Wei Xiao strokes his chin like some genius scholar and mumbles to himself. The textbooks say these beasts hunt in packs, so more are definitely close by. And his gut feeling is totally right, because the bushes start shaking. A whole pack of bloodthirsty werewolves creeps out, completely surrounding our boy and his skeleton crew from every direction. Faced with a massive horde, our boy does not even flinch, pointing his finger with a cocky smirk. He knew they were coming. Now check this out. He tells his skeleton mages to blast them to pieces. Tons of blazing fireballs fly straight into the pack, lock onto the wolves, and roast them alive. Explosions blast the pack to ashes, and his screen goes wild with system alerts for killing Tier 0 Level 3 Jackmans, gaining 155 experience. More alerts pop up, giving him another 155 experience points. Once the smoke clears, that proud wolf pack is reduced to charred corpses scattered all over the grass. Slinging his trusty shovel over his shoulder, our boy smiles happily, laughing about how he already has work to do the second he stepped in. Feeling super thrifty, he eagerly starts digging to bury the beasts, muttering that he will give them a pretty decent funeral. 10 minutes later, glowing purple magic sparks suddenly float up into the air from the fresh graves. Chillaxing on the grass while patting his little rat pet, he happily checks out all the sweet loot he just scored. He gets some 5-star grave incense and some epic 8-star mummy oil. Snagging an insight skill book makes him cheer out loud because he definitely did not expect such an awesome drop. Without wasting any time, his eyes light up as he holds the book and learns it right there, letting the magic light melt into his forehead. Wei Xiao grins from ear to ear, happy that he just saved a ton of cash on skill books. Looking at his summoned beast waiting nearby, he strokes his chin and starts planning. Looks like that sweet XP we just farmed is finally enough to evolve our skeleton wild boar. No sooner said than done. Wei Xiao pulls a glowing purple magic bone out of his wooden chest, looks his bony boar dead in the eyes, and shouts, "Time to do this." The second the bone touches, a massive storm of dark magic explodes, completely swallowing the beast. As the smoke clears, out steps this absolute unit of a beast, sporting some insane spiky bone armor on its back. Just like that, the system alerts him that his skeleton wild boar has officially evolved into a high-tier beast general. We are talking level 7 with 580 strength, 496 agility, 530 constitution, and some crazy E-rank savage charge skill to boost its speed. It launches a straight-line attack that cannot be stopped. Watching his roaring beast, Wei Xiao just nods in pure approval. Man, this guy is a cheat. His total stats are nearly 2,000, and his skill jumped from G to E rank. He lovingly pats its giant snout and laughs with a big grin. All right, buddy, from now on, your name is going to be Peppa. Next up, he lights a grave incense stick, soaking in all that sweet passive XP rolling in. Time to use this extra energy boost to upgrade his skeleton mage too. Pointing the magic bone straight at the mage's chest, he commands an evolution. Instantly, black magic goes wild, swirling like a tornado around the lucky guy. Scratch that, he's actually super lucky. The mage emerges wearing this incredibly drip-heavy red royal robe. The system chimes in again. The skeleton mage has officially evolved into a full-on boss. He is now a level 7 boss. We are looking at 235 strength, 220 agility, 230 constitution, and a massive 420 spirit. Plus, he gets an F-rank Great Fireballs spell. Wei Xiao throws an arm around his shoulder like they are best buds. Absolutely epic. Gotta give you a name too. From now on, your name is Yen. Staring at his epic new army, our boy confidently brushes his hair back. Alright, check this out. With his squad fully beefed up, our boy is ready to freefall straight into enemy territory. He yells out with pure excitement, "Let's go find some beastmen and absolutely wreck their entire camp." Down below, a bunch of minotaurs holding massive axes look up in sheer confusion at this random kid falling right on their heads. Before they can even blink, a barrage of blazing fireballs comes screaming down. One dumb beast actually scratches his head like, "What? Huh?" Before he can process a thing, a massive explosion blows him to pieces while the others scream in absolute panic. Standing like an absolute boss with his hands behind his back, Wei Xiao smugly points forward. "Go get them, boys!" The angry beastmen instantly go berserk, their eyes turning blood red as they charge forward, screaming to tear him apart. Facing a whole stampede of angry monsters, Wei Xiao doesn't even flinch. He just laughs like a total maniac. "Come on, let's see what you got!" A massive wall of purple flames erupts, sending those ugly beasts flying into the air as they scream in total despair. 3 hours later, thanks to Peppa's crazy unstoppable rampage, the entire forest is turned into a completely ruined war zone. As he steps right on a dead monster's face, the system screen suddenly pops up with some epic news. Your first-class promotion requirements are met. Breakthrough automatically completed. Instantly, a blinding gold light wraps around Wei Xiao's body as the notification starts spamming his screen. His passive skill, Eternal Immortality, gets a major buff, unlocking a brand new damage transfer effect. Get ready for this cheat code. Any damage he takes now transfers to a random summon, making his eyes light up with pure mischief. Damage transfer? He realizes if he keeps expanding his army, he'll literally be unkillable. Just as the words leave his mouth, his trusty rusty iron shovel also gets an epic upgrade, turning into a custom weapon called Mourner's Mercy. This bad boy can now dig up graves and open coffins, resurrecting any corpse into his own brain-dead loyal servant. The only catch is the target can't be 100 times stronger than him. Gripping the handle, he sweats a bit and laughs. Man, digging up people's ancestors is a bit of a low blow, even for me. But before he can complain, a deadly cold light flashes from the bushes, aiming right at his head. This arrow is flying at absolute warp speed, heading straight for our main character's chest with deadly accuracy. Feeling the crazy bloodlust, he spins around with a shocked gasp. What the? Even with his insane reflexes, the arrow slams right into his chest, blasting him backward as he screams out a curse. Wei Xiao gets completely wiped out, but luckily his cheat skill kicks in. Behind him, a poor skeleton mage suddenly explodes and drops dead. The arrow is still buried deep in his chest on the grass, looking brutal. But then, some weird magic starts happening. That sharp, deadly arrow slowly turns into dust and dissolves. Wei Xiao snaps his eyes open, realizing he is somehow still breathing. He is completely fine. Sweating bullets, he laughs. That hit should have killed me, so the damage really did transfer to my summons. Seeing its master get cheap-shotted like that, our skeleton boar Peppa goes absolutely feral, roaring like a maniac for sweet, sweet revenge. He triggers his crazy charge skill, roaring straight into the thick forest like a runaway tank to flatten whoever shot that arrow. Just as expected, the camper got caught off guard, blasted sky-high to reveal a massive buff minotaur wielding a giant bow. With eyes sharp as daggers, Xiao instantly activated his inspect skill, bringing up all the enemy details right in front of him. Name Eason, a minotaur boss with the subclass Earth Divine Archer. First evolution, level 16, 1370 strength, 1850 agility, 1480 constitution, 1054 spirit. Pretty wild stats that make him rub his chin. Staring at this muscular pale beast, our boy frowns in absolute disbelief. How on earth did a smart minotaur with an actual class build show up here? No time to think, because the moment the archer lands, he fires a deadly follow-up shot. But our boy is totally ready this time. Wei Xiao just glares, casually lifting his hand and blocking the arrow with his shoulder like an absolute boss. Watching the arrow dissolve into light, he throws out a smug smirk. Pretty strong, he taunts, if not for damage transfer, I would have twice already. Hearing this flex, the minotaur takes a cautious step back. Raising his guard, the monster tries to pull off a confident, half-cocked smirk. You're all out of moves, so now it's my turn, our boy declares, leaving the boss completely shook as he gasps out, "What?" He panics, backpedaling and firing wild arrows in a desperate attempt to run away. Riding high on his bone pig Peppa, alongside his massive skeleton mage, Wei Xiao points forward and yells, "You mess with the wrong guy and think you can run?" Terrified, the giant archer bolts straight for the canyon cave entrance, running to save his own life. But he won't let this fat exp escape. Riding his pig, he chases him, shouting to freeze. Staring into the dark, damp cave, Wei Xiao mutters, "Is this a dungeon?" But mid-thought, he suddenly jumps out of his skin. He bolts backward in panic as a massive claw suddenly crashes down from the shadows, making him scream out loud. "Damn, that totally scared me." Catching his breath, he looks down to see piles of human skeletons dressed in tattered clothes, scattered coldly across the floor. Rubbing his chin, he wonders why there are so many human corpses here, when suddenly, a wave of intense killing intent washes over him, giving him goosebumps. Wei Xiao's face drops as he realizes something is terribly wrong, shouting out that it's a trap. Instantly, rocks and debris rain down from the ceiling, completely blocking his only way out. Right then, from the deepest shadows, dozens of glowing red, bloodthirsty eyes snap open, locking onto the trapped prey. Instead of crying like a baby, our boy just calmly claps his hands and laughs. "Not bad," he sneers, even pulling off an ambush. Monsters with actual brains are indeed built different. Behind him, Peppa the Bone Pig growls fiercely, while a squad of flaming skeleton mages lines up. Wei Xiao waves his hand smugly, "But guess what, you guys are definitely not taking me down that easily." Suddenly, a mob of massive minotaurs charge forward with axes raised. Screaming to tear his army apart, they take aim and hurl burning battle axes through the air, targeting his skeleton line. This brutal rain of flying axes crashes down, absolutely smashing his frontline skeleton mages who are acting as shields. Watching his line crumble, our boy stays totally chill and points at the enemy with a smirk. "You guys are bound to run out of axes eventually, but my undead army is literally endless." With that, he orders his magical skeleton squad to charge up their fire spells and blow them to bits. Massive, scorching fireballs light up the dark cave as they rain down, slamming directly into those unlucky minotaurs. Flames engulf the enemy as the system notifications start spamming, warming his. "You defeated a level 9 minotaur, earning 150 XP. You defeated a level 10 minotaur, earning 350 XP. You defeated a level 11 minotaur, earning 450 XP. The massive chunk of experience wraps Wei Xiao in a golden light. Instantly, a sweet system ding rings in his ears. Congrats on reaching level 12. But while he is enjoying the level up, a burning claw stomps down, shaking the entire cavern, stepping right out of the flames. An elite crimson-colored minotaur steps forward, eyes burning with absolute rage as he roars. "Human, you've got some serious nerve," he snarls, trying to intimidate our unbothered main character. Our boy just smirks, thinking that an elite monster means a ton of extra experience points. Driven, completely insane by his cocky attitude, the beast swings his weapon and charges. With one single earth-shattering slam, it easily smashes a skeleton mage into 100 tiny pieces. Shrugging off the tiny fireballs shot by the rest of the squad, the monster goes on a rampage with overwhelming power. Ignoring the weaklings, the elite jumps high into the air, raising a giant battle axe overhead. He aims straight for Wei Xiao's head and screams to die. Standing right under the shadow of death, our boy doesn't even flinch, just smiles coldly. "Perfect timing, pal. I am gonna bury you with my own two hands." The giant axe slams down, triggering a massive blast of dirt and rocks, looking like it just minced its target into ground meat. But when the dust clears, a skinny bony hand smoothly catches that massive blade right in front of its master. Turns out the skeleton mage Xiao Ming popped a defensive skill to shield Wei Xiao, leaving the Minotaur completely stunned and roaring in frustration. Talk about hiding behind a super reliable summon. Our boy peeks out with a friendly grin but absolute killer intent, whispering, "My bad, checkmate." With that, Xiao Ming wastes no time and jams a giant hellfire sphere straight into the monster's face, sending it straight to its ancestors while it screams in total despair. Then the skeleton stomps down hard to force its jaw shut, feeding the beast another fiery blast right down its throat. That brutal fire feed packs a totally devastating punch, blasting the monster's giant body backward. Right after, the compressed fire inside its jaw goes boom, completely swallowing the enemy in a massive blinding sea of wild flames. Just then, the system pops up with a congratulatory notification for defeating the elite Minotaur. Leveling up to 13 has Wei Xiao stroking his chin in pure satisfaction. Man, Xiao Ming is a real savage. Seeing his summon clean up, Wei Xiao flexes his glowing dark magic shovel and proudly declares, "Now it is my turn to show off." Digging super fast, purple magical lights rise from the battlefield and float in the air. The system starts listing a massive pile of sweet loot, grave incense, burial rice, corpse oil, and a berserk battle axe. This makes our boy's eyes light up. So many new drops this time. Holding the resources, he shuts his eyes to taste the sweet smell of wealth, whispering, "Yes, time to make some serious cash." But wait, you know how it is. Good times never last. Two glowing energy arrows blast out of the dark, slamming right where he stands. Turns out the guy camping in the bushes is the Earth Marksman boss. He grins slyly, muttering, "Been waiting for you, buddy." His reflexes are insane. Wei Xiao instantly triggers his dash skill, dodging like the wind and leaving the arrows stuck in the ground behind him. Catching his breath, he glances at the two glowing, weird arrows buried in the dirt and frowns. Seeing his prey escape by a hair, the buffed-up boss is completely stunned. Dusting off his collar like a boss, Wei Xiao points right at the enemy to mock him. "Hey, little calf, you did not think my skeleton mages were out of steam just because they are running low, right?" Right on cue, a bright purple magic circle glows, summoning a whole new squad of fresh skeleton mages. He smirked. "Sorry to disappoint you, bud." Facing the seemingly endless army of the undead, the sweating boss roars in panic. "You are just a basic Tier 1 summoner. How on earth do you have this many summons?" Dark magic pooling in his hands, our boy shoots back with a razor-sharp glare. "Actually, I want to know why a monster like you has intellect." No more talking. He waves his hand, ordering his crew to go drag that little calf back to him. The skeletons charge with fireballs, but the stubborn bull boss still fights back with his bow. Do not get too cocky yet. Under a relentless rain of blazing fireballs from all sides, the raging boss roars madly, trying to break the encirclement. A series of explosions shakes the entire cave, sending thick blinding smoke everywhere and totally blocking out the view. Just when it looks like game over, the boss unexpectedly leaps backward out of the smoke, firing warning shots as he retreats to safety. Mid-air, he draws his giant bow to full power, firing a massive arrow of light as thick as a pillar while screaming, "Hand of the Earth, go!" The terrifying arrow slams into the ground, cracking the floor and releasing a blinding, dangerous glow. "Watch out." Sensing real danger, Wei Xiao's face completely drops. Crap, that is a massive area of effect skill. In a split second, dozens of deadly light beams shoot up from the cracks like giant laser swords. The blast pierces through the skeleton mages, shattering them to pieces that rain down all over the place. He is not letting the enemy turn the tables. Our boy plays his two strongest trump cards, pointing ahead. "Peppa, Xiaoming, get him!" On command, the giant bone pig Peppa glows with a brilliant purple aura, charging forward with insane force to crush the boss. Seeing that massive shadow tearing through the air, the sweaty bull boss gasps in absolute shock. Out of nowhere, the giant bone pig Peppa slams into his stomach with crazy speed and purple energy. As the boss struggles to block it with his buff arms, the boss screams in total despair, unable to hold on anymore. Ignoring his useless struggles, Peppa digs in his razor-sharp tusks and plows the enemy backward. In the end, the Minotaur can only shriek in pain as his defenses are completely shattered. Right then, the skeleton mage takes his chance, conjuring a bright fireball and shoving it right into the enemy's face. A bony hand ruthlessly shoves a raging fireball straight down the boss's throat, leaving the giant monster with nothing but muffled, helpless groans. Pretty soon, the beast's buff body starts glowing bright from the inside like a ticking bomb ready to blow. Then boom, an earth-shattering blast erupts, completely swallowing the massive giant in a sea of fire. Standing safely outside with arms crossed, Wei Xiao clicks his tongue in pity. Man, that is honestly pretty brutal. But his brow furrows as the smoking pile moves. Wait, this dude's still breathing? Talk about a stubborn beast with way too much life left in him. Stroking his chin, the teen mutters, "I really want to just bury him. But an intelligent monster spawning inside a dungeon is weird. Guess I will drag him out and let the government authorities handle it." Meanwhile, right outside the dungeon entrance, the local guards are whispering anxiously. It is super weird. So many people went in, yet no one has come out. They keep asking each other if something bad went down. Suddenly, the teleportation circle on the ground flashes with a blinding blue light. Pillars of magical light shoot straight up from the center, tearing through space to mark the survivors' safe return. Right after, a whole army of skeletons marches out, carrying the boss's charred corpse and dumping it onto the dirt. Spotting the movement, a guard points and screams in relief, "Hey, look over there! People are finally coming out!" The moment the figure steps out of the light, they all instantly recognize him as Wei Xiao. But then they spot Luo Lia and the other students knocked out cold on the ground. The guards panic and shout, "Hold on, what is the deal here? Why are there so many bodies?" Our boy strolls over and calmly explains that an intelligent boss spawned in the orc nest. It lured the students into traps to pick them off one by one, making the captain's heart skip a beat. "What?" Cold sweat dripping down his face, the captain says in a super serious voice. "I cannot believe this happened. I must report to my superiors immediately and get some high-tier pros to wipe it out." Hearing this, Wei Xiao tosses the giant carcass right into the center, interrupts him, and tells him not to worry. He casually points to the smoking, motionless beast. "Here, this is the guy." The captain's eyes go wide as saucers as he stammers. "Is this really the level 16 boss? Did you actually catch him?" Our main guy just shrugs like it is no big deal. Taking advantage of the guy being completely frozen, the teen quickly changes the subject to what actually matters. By the way, is there somewhere around here to cash in my dungeon rewards? Still totally dazed, the captain points toward a tall building nearby. Just head straight to that office over there. Having got what he wanted, Wei Xiao happily walks away, waving goodbye to the mess behind him. Thanks a bunch. Pushing open the office door, he shouts out with a massive grin. Hello, sorry to bother you. Before the female clerk can even open her mouth, the teen flips his bag and dumps a mountain of horns on her desk. Mind checking how much cash I can get for all these horns I collected? Staring open-mouthed at the massive mountain of loot, the girl shrieks in disbelief. Are there really this many? Picking up a shiny, pitch-black horn to inspect, she notes that every single one of them is at least high-grade quality. They should easily net around 320,000 Huaxia dollars. Hearing that sweet cash amount, our boy's eyes light up as he flashes his phone's QR code. Nice. Transfer it over, sis. Right on cue, his phone screen lights up with a beautiful notification. You have received 320,000 yuan. Stepping out with a fat wallet, Wei Xiao smugly mutters, Awesome, now that I am loaded, let's head to the market for some treasure hunting. In no time, his quick steps bring our newly rich guy right to the entrance of the bustling trading market. As he walks in, he secretly prays that he won't run into that shady merchant from last time. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. That brown-haired merchant pops out with his signature greedy grin. Hey there, brother, were you looking for me? Startled, Wei Xiao takes a step back and scowls. Why is it you again? He quickly hides his storage bag, waving his hands to shoo him away, saying he has nothing good for him. Clinging to him like a leech, the shady merchant scoots closer with high energy. Do not be like that. I have some seriously premium stuff today. Do you not even want a quick sneak peek? Annoyed by the persistent pestering, Wei Xiao clutches his money bag tight and turns his back. Not looking, not buying. But this salesman knows exactly how to bait his hook, raising a magic book and a glowing potion with a dramatic sigh. Man, what a shame. I just got this new skill book and evolution potion, thinking they would find their destined owner. Hearing about the good stuff, our boy freezes in his tracks, spinning around with wide eyes as the system screen makes his mouth water. The screen shows a G-rank skeleton guard summon book that spawns elite monsters, plus a special undead evolution potion capable of upgrading any undead summon by an entire tier. Instantly, his pride goes out the window. Wei Xiao steps back, leaning in with a greedy grin on his face. Bro, how much for these two? He thinks he's finally cornered his prey. The shady merchant smirks with a sly, sarcastic grin. Didn't you literally just say you weren't buying? Feeling slightly embarrassed, he quickly plays it cool and gestures to negotiate. Come on, business is all about negotiation, right? I have some pretty good gear here too, check it out. He then pulls a mountain of shiny weapons and shields right out of his inventory, dumping them on the floor. The merchant bends down, inspecting everything before pulling a classic lowball move. This gear is trash. I will give you 150,000 for the lot. But Wei Xiao is no pushover, raising his massive hammer to complain. Cut the crap. This giant axe is worth way over 100,000. Stop scamming me. Sweating bullets because he got caught, the merchant mutters awkwardly. Man, you are not as easy to fool as you used to be. This skill book is 50,000, the potion is 150,000, making it 200,000. Want to swap for my gear? Finding the deal fair, they quickly lock it in, trading the items while saying in unison, deal. Before they split, the shady merchant leaves him with a pretty deep warning. Bro, seriously, next time, do not show your trump cards to anyone so easily. Wei Xiao watches him walk away, silently respecting the guy's crazy sales skills. That guy is a straight-up business genius. Pocketing his new loot, he walks off as the merchant waves goodbye. Safe travels, come back when you get more loot. Walking deep into a deserted alley, our main character tosses the potion bottle and mumbles. Sure, he is a total scammer, but his gear is always actually pretty solid. Let us find a place to test this potion. Meanwhile, a green-clothed assassin in a low hood is stalking him from behind, wearing a cold smirk. He is finally on his own. Check out that absolutely ruthless smirk on the assassin's face. You only have yourself to blame for crossing the wrong person. The assassin charges up energy in his hand, forming a deadly, razor-sharp blade of light. He storms forward like a total whirlwind, his killing intent making Wei Xiao spin around to face him. Wasting no words, the assassin lunges down to sentence him. Someone paid big money to buy your life. He swings his glowing blade, easily slicing through some obstacles like dry firewood. The assassin's eyes go completely bloodshot with madness as he roars and unleashes his full power. Die! His blade rips Wei Xiao's body right in half under a blinding green light. He thinks he just pulled off an easy kill. The assassin turns back to sheath his weapon, grumbling. Such an easy mission, why did they even need me? Total waste of my time. But wait, his joint gets cut short. Look at that hand on his shoulder. Hey. The assassin whips around, his face going completely pale with panic as he sees Wei Xiao standing there totally fine. Impossible! How are you still alive? Not wasting any breath on a dead man, our main character raises his blazing red blade. There is nothing to say. With one swift thrust, The burning blade plunges straight into his neck, sending him straight to the afterlife in absolute agony. The assassin falls flat on his back, his face filled with pure shock as he gasps out, "No way." His entire body collapses onto the cold dirt, wide eyes staring blankly as he mutters his very last words. This is just impossible. Wei Xiao stands tall and sheathes his weapon as the system screen pops up. Congrats on killing a Tier 3, level 39 elite human assassin. Gaining 30,000 experience, our main character gently pats his weapon, clicking his tongue. This epic dagger was too good to sell, but I did not expect its first blood to be a human. He quickly grabs a shovel to clean the area, burying the unlucky guy straight into the dark forest dirt. A bunch of loot pops right out of the fresh grave as the system announces he got grave incense, grave grass oil, and underworld coins. The young guy picks up the weird cash, completely surprised. Man, burying people actually drops some new loot? He flips the messy paper around, scratching his head. But how do you even use these underworld coins anyway? The second he says that, a glowing green portal tears open as the system detects underworld coins in his pocket. The underworld shop has been unlocked, making him yell out in total shock. Underworld shop? A pretty massive shop screen pops up loaded with countless items, and the system prompts him to select whatever gear he wants to buy. Wei Xiao stares up at the absolutely massive shelves, his voice still shaking in disbelief. This is really the underworld shop? His eyes scan super skills like Undead Calamity for 9 trillion coins and Nether Rebirth for 8 trillion, making him sweat as he counts out 900 million, 800 million. Glancing at the gear section, he spots a Monarch staff for 500 billion coins and some bone armor for 300 billion, leaving him completely speechless. 500 million. 300 million. He looks down at the sad, torn 10 coin bill in his hand and totally loses his mind. Are you kidding me? I only have 10 coins, what can I even buy with this? Knowing he was just a broke kid, he waved his hand, closed up shop, and tried to comfort himself. Whatever. He would just save up slowly. Shaking it off, our guy channeled mana into his hand, deciding to upgrade his bone shield guard first. Instantly, a bright purple summoning circle burst into life right on the grass. A skeleton holding a shield spawns in, and the system pops up with its stats as a Tier 1 elite bone shield guard. Level 13, Strength 580, Agility 300, Constitution 150, Spirit 188. It has a G-rank cover skill, letting this guard dash to any target in a split second. It raises its shield to block with a maximum jump distance of 10 meters. Wei Xiao nods, checking out his new minion, and yeah, this bone tank is actually pretty legit. He pours the evolution potion right over the skeleton's skull and yells to evolve it. As magic light completely wraps around the monster, it turns into a beastly warrior wearing a purple cloak, displaying its brand new stats as a Tier 1 Beast General Bone Shield Guard. At level 13, its strength is 1880, agility 1050, constitution 3888, and spirit 888, with an E-rank cover skill to dash to a target instantly. It raises its shield to block, and its max leap distance is now 100 meters. Look at those crazy numbers, our guy grins like a maniac. Bro, that constitution is 3888. A pure meat shield. Super pleased at the buffed warrior and names Xiao Chang, because this guy is never going to die. Next, he turns to his favorite minion and hands over the remaining bottle. He tells Xiao Ming to try some new stuff, and without wasting a second, the bone mage splashes the potion on himself and roars. He splashes it on. Blazing fire explodes around the frost mage, and the system announces the evolution is a total success. He is now a Tier 1 Beast General, level 13, with Strength 855, Agility 1350, and Constitution 1220. His spirit hits 3100, with an E-rank super explosion cannon skill that hurls massive, devastating fireballs at his targets. It deals crazy damage. Wei Xiao strokes his chin with a sly, confident smirk, calculating that 3100 spirit points will definitely land him the MVP in the next team battle. Finished with his work, our guy stretches and walks off, saying it's time to head home and sleep. But wait, look who's hiding behind that ancient tree. A white-haired old man peeks out and mutters, saying he didn't expect the kid to actually wipe out the Qian family's assassins. This boy is full of surprises. Next morning, the sun shines down on a luxurious mansion, which the system helpfully labels as the Shu family villa in Qingyang City. Inside the room, the middle-aged head of the house gasps in shock, asking what? Did he really just say Wei Xiao defeated a Tier 3 assassin, while the white-haired butler sitting opposite calmly nods? Yeah, master, he saw it with his own eyes. Recalling the weird scene, the old man frowns and explains that the kid even buried the guy afterward. He was also ordering his summons around, but since the butler was too far away, he couldn't see exactly what he was doing. Hearing about the grave digging, the master is totally baffled and wonders why on earth he buried them. The butler can only shake his head helplessly, admitting he has no clue either. Judging by the kid's crazy skills, the old man strokes his beard and concludes that Wei Xiao doesn't even need protection, so their young lady is just overreacting. The master rubs his chin with a bitter smile, defending his beloved daughter. Since Xu Xiaoqing lost to Wei Xiao for 3 straight years, she's dying to save face. If someone takes him out, she loses her shot at payback. So he strictly orders his subordinate to keep protecting Wei Xiao in secret, since with his talent, getting into Capital or Modu Vocational University will be a breeze. Once he is there, the Qian family won't dare to touch him, and the butler nods, promising it is not a problem. The next day, a bright blue teleportation circle flares up once again, sending Wei Xiao right back into the Orc Lair dungeon. Walking back into the woods, he mutters to himself about how that smart monster lured him away last time, leaving the other area completely unexplored. Fully loaded with mana, our main character dashes forward like an absolute storm, dead set on completely clearing out this whole damn Orc Lair today. Cutting through the thick woods, he suddenly spots a massive stone altar where a crowd of loud, bull-headed monsters are throwing a wild party. Wei Xiao quickly hides behind an old tree, frowning as he watches the chaotic scene and wonders what this whole setup is about. His eyes lock onto the boss sitting cross-legged on a high platform, and the system instantly identifies him as a Minotaur. Named Yasin, a priest chief at level 20, with 1470 strength, 1550 agility, and constitution. Of 1880, with 2050 spirit. He has meditation, Minotaur tribe buffs, and crowd control. Spotting this, he mutters if that's a Minotaur priest, and putting the pieces together, he slaps his forehead as it hits him. No wonder that other boss tried so hard to bait him away last time. He just wanted to keep this ritual safe. Suddenly, the giant priest's eyes snap open, glowing bright as he instantly senses an outsider in his territory. He points furiously at the tree where our main character is hiding, roaring a direct command to his minions. Hearing their leader, those beefy bull monsters instantly wave their axes and charge forward like a raging flood. Wei Xiao doesn't even blink, waving his hand to call his undead to go block them. The buff skeleton Xiao Chong moves fast, instantly raising his massive shields to form a solid purple magic barrier. Those angry beasts slam hard into the defense, but even their heaviest axe strikes only throw sparks without leaving a single scratch. With his meat shield working like a charm, Wei Xiao smirks and orders Xiao Ming to start the attack. The skeleton mages fire massive fireballs all at once, triggering a series of insane, earth-shattering explosions that blast the monster horde high into the sky. Watching his followers get absolutely wrecked from his high platform, the furious priest boss roars out, demanding to know how his servants lost so easily. Dark crimson energy surges around him as he gathers massive magic power, getting ready to launch a brutal counterattack. Raising his staff high, he closes his eyes to chant, begging the Mother of Earth to grant him ultimate power. But wait, check this out. Before the boss can even finish his prayer, Wei Xiao cuts him off. Asking if the boss really has time to chant during a fight, the boy plays his trump card, pointing his giant skeleton pig straight at him. He orders Peppa to charge, catching the priest completely off guard as he gasps in shock. Peppa rams its sharp horns straight into the boss's massive body, leaving the monster with only enough time to let out a painful, desperate shriek. Sent flying by the sudden hit, the Minotaur priest tumbles through the air before crashing hard onto the ground, completely breaking his defense. Looking at the skeletal beast lunging with its jaws wide open, the terrified boss waves his hands and cries out in pure despair. Begging the summon to stay away, the boss is ignored as Peppa ruthlessly stomps him flat under giant hooves, ending this fight in the blink of an eye. Right on cue, the system screen lights up to celebrate his victory. Defeating the Minotaur priest grants him 20,000 experience points, and a glowing golden light wraps around Wei Xiao's body. The system chimes in again, announcing he has reached level 14. Congratulations on the level up. Spotting a glowing purple magic book floating above the dead boss, he playfully teases his fallen foe. Smirking that he did not even bury the guy yet and he is already dropping loot, our main character steps closer to check the item info with a big grin. This is an advanced meditation technique, an F-rank training method that can slowly but surely boost his physical stats over time. Realizing how valuable this drop actually is, his eyes instantly light up with pure excitement. High-level meditation is absolutely a top-tier treasure, so without wasting even half a second, he waves his hand and taps the screen to learn it. The spellbook instantly turns into a beam of light, shooting straight into Wei Xiao's forehead, following up with a system confirmation that he has successfully mastered the advanced meditation skill. Eager to test it out, the young man sits cross-legged on the grass, saying he has got to see how effective this treasure really is first. As time flies by, energy keeps gathering around him as XP numbers continuously float up, with the system happily announcing he has already reached level 16. All his stats get a clean 100-point boost as he snaps his eyes open. Wei Xiao happily stretches and laughs, noting how this meditation technique is somehow way more effective than endlessly grinding monsters out in the wild. Now honestly, isn't this the absolute dream? Just chilling at home and somehow becoming completely overpowered? Having secured the secret manual, Wei Xiao jumps straight into the teleportation circle and slips away with a cheeky grin on his face. A few days pass peacefully in the bustling city of Qingyang. Back in his private room, the busy teen sits cross-legged as burning golden energy wraps around his body like a roaring fire. Snapping open his glowing golden eyes, Wei Xiao oozes raw confidence as he reminds himself that today is finally the big citywide assessment exam. Standing up to stretch his limbs, he confidently declares that it is finally time to show off his real skills. Outside the Qingyang #1 high school arena, crowds of students flood in for the biggest event of the year, staring at the massive stadium as they excitedly ask if this is the actual combat exam base. It looks incredibly cool, and everyone is wondering what kind of monsters the school has prepared for them this year. The host's booming voice echoes across the entire stage to grab everyone's attention, announcing that the long-awaited joint exam is finally starting. Pointing at a massive screen, the examiner introduces the monsters chosen for this year's test. The 3 monster classes are goblins, minotaurs, and slimes, with levels ranging from 10 all the way to 20, starting at standard rank up to elite bosses. Good little students are all ears, listening to the tournament rules. Basically, you pick your own poison based on your power, selecting which beasts to fight. Then the judges grade you on your actual combat performance. The host grabs the mic and hypes up the very first contender. Please welcome our first challenger, Lu Ming. Right on cue, this red-haired kid eagerly leaps onto the arena. Lu Ming clenches his fists with a cocky grin, shouting out his pick. Give me 10 normal level 15 minotaurs and 1 level 15 boss. Instantly, a bright blue magic circle glows, spawning a whole pack of buff bull monsters right before him. The system screen flashes immediately with a cold warning. Monster spawned. Start the fight. Confidently, our red-haired kid raises his hand and shouts his summoning spell. Activate my copper red armor. The blinding light fades, showing Lu Ming looking absolutely epic, clad in a badass set of dark crimson battle armor. The crowd goes wild, pointing and whispering the second he unsheathes his weapon. Just look at his sword! And check this out, that is the famous slim sword. The students next to Wei Xiao are already drooling over its huge stats. I swear that blade costs way more than 50,000 credits on the market. Lu Ming seriously spent a fortune on this. Hearing that insane price, Wei Xiao grinds his teeth, veins popping all over his face. 50,000! That scammer bought it from me for less than 20,000. Ignoring the noisy crowd, Lu Ming dashes forward, unleashing his lightning dash. He speeds forward like a total blur, leaving bright red slashes cutting right through the beasts. Landing the hit, our red-haired boy drops to one knee in a super dramatic pose. He yells out a command, and the whole Minotaur squad behind him instantly explodes into glowing shards of magic dust. The digital scoreboard flashes a solid 161. The judge nods, announcing his final score. Next up is Xu Xiaoqing, this incredibly gorgeous girl who steps onto the arena, carrying a massive glowing greatsword like it is absolutely nothing. Resting the giant blade on her shoulder, she makes a choice that leaves the entire crowd stunned. Give me 5 level 20 goblin bosses. The arena immediately erupts with shocked gasps of terror. What? 5 level 20 bosses? Her class is the Chlorophyll Angel, but is that rare class really that overpowered? Blending into the crowd, Wei Xiao smirks, finding this pretty entertaining. This girl really wants to beat me that badly, huh? A bright green summoning circle ignites on the ground, bringing out 5 savage goblins alongside the same old system warning. Attention, monster spawned. Seeing a pretty girl, the ugly goblins charge forward like absolute creeps, hungry for a fight. Glowing mid-air, Xu Xiaoqing unfurls 6 massive, stunning angel wings, radiating a holy pressure that absolutely dominates the whole battlefield. Soaring high into the sky, she glares down at the ugly pack with sharp eyes and lets out a fierce cry. Bringing her giant sword down, she unleashes her ultimate killer move, Holy Light Energy Slash. A massive golden pillar of destructive light crashes right onto the goblins, completely swallowing them in blinding divine energy. The monsters only manage a quick shriek before disintegrating into nothingness. Instantly, the entire stadium goes dead silent. The guys below drop their jaws. She literally just one-shotted them. Snapping out of his daze, the MC shouts into the mic that Xu Xiaoqing gets 300 points for slaying 5 boss goblins. The crowd of students goes wild with cheers, waving their hands and praising how insanely strong she is. Stepping off the stage like an absolute champion, she throws a very provocative glance right at Wei Xiao. She basically tells Wei Xiao he is taking an L this time, making our boy sigh and think she is way too fired up. Meanwhile, up in the VIP booth, the guest in the red suit smiles with praise. Pretty impressive, Wang Wei. The top students of your academy this term are seriously opening my eyes. Wang Wei strokes his beard and chuckles, mentioning that there is still a hidden class user left. Looking quite proud, the red suit leader nods, saying he has absolute faith in that guy. Curious, Wang Wei turns to ask how many bosses the kid will challenge today, stroking his chin in thought. The red suit guy predicts that if the kid plays it safe and levels up normally, 10 should be easy. Instantly waving his hand, Wang Wei snaps that he is daydreaming. 5 has been the hard limit for years, let alone 10. Flashing a mysterious smile, the young leader turns his gaze back toward the arena. Well, let us see with our own eyes, he says, as the MC booms. Next up, Wei Xiao. Our main character turns to Xu Xiaoqing asking for a favor, leaving her confused as he lays down his terms. It is something super simple for your family, and if you agree, then for this actual exam, I will go absolutely all out and show you what real power is. Hearing his crazy arrogance, the crowd starts murmuring. Man, Wei Xiao has some serious nerve. Is this how you ask someone for a favor? Xu Xiaoqing smirks, a cold laugh. She throws the challenge right back and tells him if he wins, she will agree. Fine, just wait and see. Leaving the salty beauty behind, our boy walks onto the stage oozing pure confidence. He casually stops, right in the middle of the arena, totally ready for his exam. Holding up a single finger, Wei Xiao suddenly drops an absolute bombshell on the entire arena by demanding a crazy 100 level 20 slime bosses. Turning pale as a ghost, the host starts sweating buckets and stammers out, "What? 100 level 20 slime bosses?" The entire crowd goes completely dead silent in absolute shock, some holding their heads thinking they misheard, while others straight up call him completely insane. Even if 100 bosses stood completely still for you to slice, you'd pass out from pure exhaustion, the sweating examiner warns him. He asks Wei Xiao if he wants to reconsider, but the guy doesn't flinch and says he is completely sure. Watch this flex. He casually spreads his arms and talks some serious trash. He says he wanted 200 monsters, but this tiny arena couldn't even fit them all. Facepalming hard at the kid's crazy arrogance, the red vest leader sighs and tells Wang Wei to just give him 100, since they shouldn't crush a student's confidence, right? Wang Wei scowls and grumbles under his breath, wondering if this punk is just being way too full of himself. With the green light from the bosses, the host reluctantly tells him to just be extremely careful out there. Right after he speaks, a massive glowing blue magic circle lights up, covering the entire arena to summon the terrifying monster horde as his exam officially begins. The giant magical array blazes, intense light, summoning hundreds of giant blue slimes that completely pack the arena. But without flinching, Wei Xiao spreads his arms wide and confidently commands his undead servants to rise. Eerie purple beams of light flash, summoning an army of skeletal mages wrapped in dark, murderous black robes. Right after that, the giant bone pig Peppa and 7 majestic skeleton guards emerge, sending the entire crowd in the stands into a state of absolute panic. Clutching his chest, Lu Ming gasps, "Holy crap, look at that. Are those 3 actually general tier summons?" While another guy drops his jaw in disbelief, saying he has both leader and general tiers, making this Wei Xiao kid absolutely ridiculously broken. But get this, while everyone is still losing their minds, hundreds of slimy monsters start bouncing around, launching a massive wave of nasty green acid straight at him. Our boy instantly commands his frontline to block the toxic spit, and the skeleton guards raise their shields, forming a solid defensive wall that shuts down the entire attack. Seizing the moment, he orders his backline, commanding the mages to unleash total cover fire. A blazing rain of fireballs instantly pours down like a crazy storm, unleashing massive, terrifying explosions that completely incinerate the slimy pests on the ground. Giving them zero room to breathe, Wei Xiao waves his hand for an all-out assault, telling Peppa, his summon, and his guards to go wild. The elite troops receive their orders and charge straight forward like a wild hurricane as our main character shouts for them to wipe out every single remaining enemy. Peppa uses its massive body to bulldoze through every obstacle in its path, crushing the slimes into puddles of goo. At the same time, the skeleton guard Xiao Qiang swings his sharp blade, slicing the slimy monsters clean in half. Giant fireballs keep exploding everywhere, launching even the most stubborn bosses high up into the air. Every slash and shield bash from his undead crew is perfectly synced, totally dominating the high-level monsters without a hitch. Watching this absolute one-sided beatdown, Lu Ming starts sweating and can only gasp. This is way too brutal, totally bully tier, and they can't even fight back, while the beauty, Xu Xiaoqing, watches in absolute shock, whispering to herself that this must be his real power, completely tuning out everything else. Wei Xiao spreads his arms to feel the heat of the battlefield, looking up to enjoy the view, asking if this is the art of explosions. The whole stadium is swallowed by a sea of bright flames, leaving thousands of students speechless at the sheer destructive force of just one guy. The system screen pops up with a flawless finish, showing he has successfully beaten 100 level 20 slime bosses. The exam is over, honoring the winner's pose as the VIP stands go completely wild. Wang Wei stares with wide eyes, muttering that the kid actually pulled it off, while his colleague next to him excitedly asks if they are witnessing history. Grabbing the microphone, the host screams with all his might that Wei Xiao has scored a perfect 900 points. The entire crowd jumps to their feet, cheering and waving their hands as wild shouts echo from every direction. Absolutely incredible, what a legendary show, but in a dark corner, the blonde young master grinds his teeth in pure rage, veins popping on his forehead. He clutches his head, growling in bitter denial, insisting this is completely impossible, and wondering how this nobody could be so strong. At that moment, Xu Xiaoqing slowly approaches our main character with a soft smile, offering her congrats. Congrats on that perfect score, bro. Any top college is yours. What was that favor you wanted earlier? Dropping his usual goofy smirk, Wei Xiao explains dead seriously. He is pretty worried the Qian family might jump his folks once he leaves this place. The school beauty tilts her head, looking kind of confused. So, she asks, what are you getting at? He clasps his hands together, super desperate. I want to bring them here. Can you please send someone to protect them? Don't worry, I will absolutely pay you back. The girl smiles with relief, instantly giving him a green light. Is that all? No big deal. Absolutely hyped by her promise, Wei Xiao lunges forward, wraps her in a massive hug, and starts rambling. This is awesome, thank you. But PDA in public makes Xu Xiaoqing blush crazy red, while some blonde rich kid nearby is coping and seething. Wei Xiao, how dare you lay your filthy hands on Xu Xiaoqing? I am going to absolutely shred you. Later that night, a bright full moon quietly lights up the towering skyscrapers of Manhwa City. Back in his room, Wei Xiao is chilling in front of his PC, ready to check the results of his hard grind. He clicks through the system, typing his details into the Tianfu provincial exam database, and slams that search button. Suddenly, a knock rattles his door, making our main character look away from the monitor, completely confused. He stands up, heading toward the entrance while calling out, I am coming. Grabbing the doorknob, the young guy frowns and asks who it is. The door swings open, and Wei Xiao completely freezes, staring at three very familiar faces standing right on his doorstep. He stammers out, Mom, Dad, little sis. His annoying little sister instantly puts her hands on her hips, pouting and teasing him. Took you forever to open the door, bro. You were definitely up to something pretty sketchy in here. Wei Xiao just laughs, hyped they arrived so fast. His dad smiles warmly. The second we got your call, we basically packed up and hit the road. Wei Xiao quickly ushers them inside. But his cheeky little sister immediately sneaks over, peeking at his computer screen with a devious giggle. Heh, let me see what sketchy stuff you are hiding. Talk about a shock, her jaw literally drops on the spot. His screen glows bright, displaying a seriously spectacular scorecard on the official database page. Name, Wei Xiao. Total score 975. City rank number 1. Province rank number 1. His sister whips around in total awe, screaming that her brother actually became the top scholar. Our main character casually pats her head with a smug grin. No need to freak out, he says, that was just a pretty normal day for me. Triggered by his smug flex, she just pouts. Keep flexing. Just wait until I take the exam, my score is definitely going to absolutely destroy yours. Ignoring their silly bickering, his dad proud pats his shoulder. Son, with a score this crazy, which college are you thinking of going to? Wei Xiao looks them straight in the eyes and declares he wants to attend Modu Vocational University. He adds some details to keep them from worrying. I am heading out to report in a few days. You two just chill here. The Shu family is sending top-tier guards to keep you safe. His dad nods in understanding. Go ahead, son. Just make sure to take pretty good care of yourself. Wei Xiao wraps them in a tight embrace, whispering his thanks. A few days later, our main character finally arrives at the prestigious Modu Vocational University. Carrying his luggage, he walks up to the registration desk and politely says he is a freshman checking in. Wei Xiao confidently holds out his papers to the seniors, showing them his official admission letter. The two male seniors barely even look up, waving him away with total boredom. Yeah, just go wait over there, kid. Suddenly, a gorgeous girl with long flowing hair drags her suitcase over and greets them with a pretty sweet voice. My name is Nanji, a new student here. Instantly, these two guys pull a complete 180-degree flip, their eyes literally bulging. This freshman is insanely gorgeous. The pink-haired guy immediately runs over, desperately trying to carry her heavy bags. Hey there, Nanji, let me handle those bags for you. She just blushes, giving him a shy smile and thanking him softly. Left completely ignored, our boy is losing his mind. I mean, can you blame him? He got here first, but she gets the VIP treatment. Completely ignoring his salty whining, the pink-haired simp eagerly guides the beautiful girl. Let's go, Junior, I will show you around the campus. She happily nods along, giving a sweet okay. Right then, this chubby kid carrying a massive green bag comes sprinting over, completely out of breath, calling out to the seniors. Wait for me. Unable to stop his massive momentum, he accidentally slams his admission letter straight into the senior's face, quickly babbling that his name is Pei Qian. Looking at the crumpled paper, the senior scoffs that his name sounds like losing money, making the chubby kid scratch his head and awkwardly correct him. With the paperwork finally done, the senior reluctantly rounds up the three freshmen. All right, you freshies, follow me. Walking side by side, Wei Xiao sneaks a glance at the chubby kid, thinking he looks super basic but has a pretty strong vibe. Getting curious, our main character immediately activates his scouting skill, casting insight to check this guy out. The system screen scans the chubby kid, displaying some seriously shocking stats. His name is Pei Qian, a Tier 1 Level 11 Blood Priest, a hidden class. Wei Xiao is stunned and asks him directly, a Blood Priest, so you have a hidden class too? Pei Qian scratches his head, laughing. He asks if Wei Xiao is an elite too, and our guy gladly agrees. Necromancer. That's his class. Hearing this, Pei Qian gets insanely hyped and slaps him on the back. So cool. Summoning a horde of skeletons must look sick as hell. Wei Xiao acts modest. Totally average, he says. Meanwhile, the pink-haired senior leads them ahead with their heavy bags. He points to the massive buildings ahead, explaining that those are the dorms from Zone 1 to Zone 4. Only elite beasts live here, and the lower the zone, the crazier the student. Prepare yourself, the flex is about to get real. So you must be a total powerhouse, senior, which immediately makes the pink-haired guy smirk with pure pride. Obviously, he brags, claiming he got tossed straight into Zone 4 right when he arrived last year. Walking to the manager's desk are pink-haired senior Bose, super polite. He reports that the new kids are officially here. The manager gives a cold stare, harsh. He orders the three of them to hand over their letters. They immediately drop their papers, no hesitation, presenting their official admission letters to the old man. Looking at Nanji's paper, Old Man Tan's jaw drops. Are you really Nanji from the imperial capital? She gives a quiet nod of confirmation. Done. The old registrar immediately digs around and hands her a gorgeous, expensive-looking key. He warmly tells her she gets villa number 004 in the Elite Zone 1. Hearing this, our pink-haired senior completely loses his mind, asking Old Man Tan if he's absolutely sure there's no mistake. This makes the old man snap at him, barking back that his eyes are still sharp as hell. Getting totally roasted, the pink-haired senior sweats bullets but tries to comfort his ego, thinking these other two guys are definitely complete garbage who won't make him look bad. Checking the rest of the files, Old Man Tan loudly reads off their room assignments. Pei Qian gets Zone 2 Room 85 and Wei Xiao gets 66. Honestly, watching this proud senior's fragile ego shatter into pieces is pure satisfaction. He clutches his head, screaming internally about how on earth these two random newbies could actually be this crazy strong. Spotting the senior's twisted, agonized expression, chubby Pei Qian just blinks in pure confusion and lets out a dumbfounded grunt. Out of nowhere, Pei Qian shakes Wei Xiao's shoulder and points excitedly, telling him to look at the absolute babe over there, making our boy turn and whisper. He realizes that is Xu Xiaoqing, totally shocked that she also got into this beast academy. But then, Nanji suddenly turns around and calls out to Wei Xiao, making Pei Qian instantly start styling his hair to impress her. He tries to smoothly introduce himself, but the beautiful girl completely ignores him like he is made of literal glass. She keeps her eyes locked on Wei Xiao, asking him which room number he got assigned to. Our boy casually drops his room details, leaving Pei Qian clutching his chest in pure agony after getting brutally ghosted by a hot girl. He complains that he did not even finish speaking before she ignored him for Wei Xiao, wondering if they are already a thing, while Nanji just smiles beautifully. She says it is a crazy coincidence since she is in Zone 2, Room 81, leaving our fat friend completely frozen in shock. Suddenly, a sweet female voice cuts in. Student Wei Xiao, she calls out from directly behind his back. He spins around, totally caught off guard. He politely asks this mysterious lady who she actually is. A total pink-haired baddie in a sharp office suit steps up, giving him a playful smile. She introduces herself as Wang Xiaoman, the freshman summoner mentor. She steps close, lifting our main character's chin. I heard we got a legendary genius top scorer in this class. Is that actually you? Wei Xiao owns it with absolute confidence. Wang Xiaoman laughs, playfully flicking his forehead, while telling him she expects truly great things from him. Ouch. He rubs his head, complaining and asking her to be a bit gentler next time. The hyperactive teacher just slaps him on the back with a massive grin, giving him a loud welcome. She tells him to enjoy the academy, reminding him not to miss the big freshman party scheduled for tomorrow. With that, the gorgeous teacher spins on her heel and waves a cheerful goodbye as she struts away. Our boy lets out a massive sigh of relief, wiping his sweat, only for Xu Xiaoqing to suddenly appear behind him with hands on her hips, teasing him. She sassily asks if he was actually just enjoying all that sweet attention, leaving Wei Xiao scratching his head in pure, clueless confusion. But the school beauty just storms off, throwing a massive tantrum and complaining that all guys are basically trash. As night falls over the school, a massive purple explosion of dark energy rips right through the fabric of space. This guy in a suit spots the purple spatial rift and completely loses his mind. That is, his face is pure terror, eyes popping as he mutters, ruins. He bolts into the night, screaming his lungs out. This is bad. I gotta warn the principal. That terrifying image of the rift keeps flashing in his head, messing with him. Ruins. This guy is running like an absolute maniac down the hallway. You know he's stressed when he keeps repeating, "This is bad. I gotta warn the principal." He sprints straight toward the brightly lit office. Meanwhile, inside, the scruffy, bearded principal is just chilling, sipping hot tea and nodding to himself. The quality of this year's freshman is actually pretty decent. But suddenly, The sudden entrance scares the old dean so bad he spits his tea everywhere, slams his hands on the desk, stands up furious, and barks out, "What is it and where?" Drenched in sweat, the lackey hurriedly reports the situation. It is right in the wilderness 50 kilometers west, a small, probably beginner-level dungeon. Hearing this, the old dean calms down a bit and lets out a sigh of relief. That is fine. He calmly sits back down, stroking his beard to make a plan. Tomorrow I will lead an exploration party, leaving the freshmen outside to watch and learn. The subordinate hesitantly points out, "But sir, tomorrow is the freshman welcoming ceremony." The dean waves his hand dismissively. "Tell the school to move the ceremony right next to the ruin." Getting his orders, the subordinate snaps to attention and barks out a "yes sir" before heading out. The next day, right in the middle of a massive, wide-open field, thousands of excited students have gathered to kick off their freshman welcoming ceremony. At the assembly area, the gorgeous mentor Wang Xiaomon waves and smiles at Wei Xiao's group, yelling out a cheerful morning classmates. Our boy takes one look at his teacher's stunning figure and quickly bows his head politely. Greeting her politely, he flinches as she suddenly gets close, teasing him about his sleepy eyes. "Looking this tired, did you stay up all night or what?" The sweating protagonist frantically denies it. "No, not at all." Meanwhile, up on the high stage, the dean confidently grabs the mic. "Morning, students. I am Wang Wei, the dean of the Melee Academy. Today, I represent the school to officially kick off your awakening ceremony." And he enthusiastically starts listing all their student perks. Every single freshman joining our Modu Vocational University gets 100 free starting school points as a bonus. You can exchange these points for literally any treasure you want. Hearing about resources, the crowd instantly goes wild, whispering about school points. "I heard Demon U has a ton of epic loot in their vault, so getting free stuff is absolutely amazing." The dean waves his arms around proudly, shouting that they are extremely lucky. Today is going to be the most epic welcoming ceremony since this school was founded, making some curious kid yell out to ask why. Pointing towards a hazy purple mist swirling not too far away, he explains, "Because a beginner ruin popped up right nearby last night. I am leading a team inside to explore, and you all get a front row seat to watch." The students cannot hide their hype, cheering that their luck is seriously off the charts. Seeing a prime chance to grind, Wei Xiao turns to his mentor to ask if they can enter, but, oh boy, she shuts him down immediately. "No way, you are just freshmen. Even a beginner-level ruin has enough danger to kill you 10 times over." Our boy rubs his chin, trying to learn more.
I see.
"But what is the difference between ruins, dungeons, and secret realms?" Placing her hand on her chin, the gorgeous mentor calmly explains that secret realms are actually real, physical worlds. She points to the sky, adding that other intelligent races out there actually refer to our blue planet as a secret realm too. Broken dimensions flash on screen to show that dungeons are merely projected fragments of those secret realms. The monsters inside have no actual intelligence, only basic instincts, and they just keep respawning after they die. Scratching his head, Wei Xiao reasons that if dungeons are just projections of fragments, then where did the real physical fragments go? She grins and reveals that those actual fragments floating in the endless void are the ruins. Folding her arms, she confidently tells him that once a ruin materializes, it will never just vanish on its own. A system screen pops up to show tons of epic treasures along with her explanation. They hold rare medicine, high-tier skills, and top-grade gear for explorers to collect. Suddenly, a blinding flash of energy lights up the screen. She emphasizes that none of these sweet rewards are actually the most valuable thing inside a ruin. The true holy grail is the core eye, the very thing keeping that fragment floating in deep space. She goes on to explain the spatial mechanics, meaning if someone actually grabs that core eye, the entire ruin will instantly dissolve into nothingness. Getting more hyped by the second, Wei Xiao eagerly asks how to enter, and she calmly closes her eyes to answer. When a ruin opens up, a super thick fog will roll in, swallowing anyone within its range, and instantly teleport them inside. But wait, look at this. Wei Xiao's eyes go wide as he points behind her, yelling, "Is that the exact fog you mean?" Wang Xiaomon turns around completely clueless, letting out a confused hum. A massive creepy purple vortex is already violently swallowing up the terrified students. Her face goes pale as she curses, "Damn it, how did the entrance to the ruin expand all the way here?" Instantly, the entire field descends into absolute chaos as terrified screams echo everywhere, warning everyone to run before the expanding portal drags them under. A red-haired student runs for his life as a terrifying magic vortex pulls everything in. He screams in total despair that it is too late, while purple energy tentacles lash out to grab the other students. A girl next to him shrieks for help, while the guy desperately cries that he is getting dragged in. Up on the high stage, Wang Guowei stands frozen as thousands of students are mercilessly swallowed by the purple mist. Dripping with cold sweat, the old man frowns heavily to assess the situation. No way, the entry zone of a low-level ruin should never expand to a giant scale like this. Suddenly, a blinding magical explosion shatters the wooden fence, causing massive damage all over. He grinds his teeth in anger, realizing someone is definitely playing dirty in the shadows. Meanwhile, poor Wei Xiao gets tightly wrapped by the tentacles. He grimaces and struggles hard, totally pissed that he cannot break free from this stupid grip. Seeing her star student in danger, teacher Wang Xiaoman desperately rushes over, screaming Wei Xiao's name at the top of her lungs. The young guy reaches out his hand, trying to grab her to escape the absolute force of this deadly vortex. But guess what? It is not enough. Everything goes pitch black. The next second, his boots slam onto dusty ground. Standing alone in a massive desolate desert, our main character looks around and curses. "Oh great," he mutters, "I really got warped straight into the ruins." He looks in every direction searching for his classmates, but absolutely nobody is around. Wait, where is everyone else? Leaving lonely footprints on the yellow sand, he puts his hands behind his back and sighs in defeat. Looks like we got scattered again. But while he is lost in thought, a giant shell monster with dozens of spiky legs suddenly erupts from the sand right in front of his face. Ambushed out of nowhere, Wei Xiao's eyes go wide as cold sweat drips down his face. The aggressive beast slams its sharp claws down to crush him, but he quickly dodges, yelling in frustration. What the hell is that? Missing its mark, the ugly striped creature quickly dives back into the deep sand. Knowing this thing is real trouble, the main character immediately floods his eyes with mana, calling out his appraisal skill to inspect the beast. The system screen pops up, detailing the enemy. Tier 2 Siege Insect, Elite Level 30, Strength 1500, Agility 2096, Constitution 2030, Spirit 488. Facing this giant centipede, Wei Xiao spits out a curse, calling it a piece of trash. He just got here and already ran into a peak Tier 2 elite monster. The Siege Insect uses its massive size to lunge forward, forcing the main character to leap back and keep his distance. Not wanting to waste his stamina, he spreads his arms as bright purple light erupts, casting his Summon Undead skill. The moment the skeleton army appears, Wei Xiao points straight at the armored bug and commands them to kill it. Obeying their master's order, the skeletal guards immediately charge forward in a wave. They form a solid circle around the monster, locking it right in the middle of their trap. From the backline, the skeletal mages do not waste a single second, raising their staffs to gather massive blazing fireballs with insane power. They keep raining fire directly onto the centipede's head, unleashing a totally devastating bombardment. Under this relentless heavy barrage, the monster's thick armored shell begins to crack open and bleed everywhere. You see that smug grin? He's just watching the show from the sidelines with total satisfaction. Ganging up on enemies really works, he chuckles, ordering his minions to keep attacking and take its life while it's down. The loyal skeletal mages push their mana to the limit once more, launching a second wave of massive fireballs. The brutal attack slams down hard. It creates a massive pillar of fire that completely incinerates the giant bug in a bright explosion. The system screen congratulates him for defeating the level 30 elite siege insect and earning 1,500 experience points. Under the blazing sun, the giant centipede's body starts burning away, slowly turning into ash. Amidst the bright glowing light, a rare sword appears along with its detailed system weapon stats. Siege Warblade, Elite Level 30, Tier 2 adds 300 strength, plus another 100 strength against heavily armored targets. Description says it breaks cities, shreds armor, and destroys absolutely indestructible objects. Believing an elite beast must drop more than just one sword, Wei Xiao pulls out his trusty shovel and starts digging. He throws his shovel over his shoulder, squints with this huge grin, and mutters, "Let's see what other sick loot we can grow here." Just as the words leave his mouth, the freshly dug sand pile explodes with a crazy golden light, blinding the entire desert. Right in the middle of that crazy glow, a golden magic tree shoots up, absolutely loaded with shiny sparkling golden apples. Then boom, the juicy gold apples start exploding everywhere, releasing all this insane magic energy packed inside. 3 ghost banknotes float right up into the air, popping up alongside a classic system notification. You just received 1 nether bill, then another 2 nether bills, and wait, 1 more nether bill added to the stash. Staring at the bizarre loot, Wei Xiao looks pretty shocked and mutters, "Wait, is this actual underworld cash?" But he instantly flips his attitude, clutching the stack of ghost money tight and laughing like a maniac. Getting paid for slaying monsters is goated. This trip is easily the best decision ever. With a massive grin, he pops open his inventory bag, casually scooping up the cool combat blade and all that shiny gold. After hitting the absolute jackpot, Wei Xiao gets totally pumped up, leading his creepy skeleton army forward with a quick hand wave to keep exploring. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the burning desert, a few incredibly unlucky students are dragging their feet through the scorching hot sand. One blonde guy is sweating bullets, panting like crazy and completely wiped out under the absolutely brutal cooking sun. A red-haired kid in front starts whining, totally losing hope. "We have been walking forever. Why haven't we bumped into anyone else? Oh, look at this." The sand right under the blonde kid splits wide open, turning into a deep trench. A massive, ugly armored worm bursts out of the ground, making him scream like he's seen a ghost. He screams it is an armored worm. Run! The beast roars furiously, opening its mouth packed with bloody fangs to chomp down on them. Their faces turn completely white, the other two kids shaking in their boots and stammering, "Wait, is that a giant bug?" Not wasting a single second, they bolt like crazy with the monstrous worm snapping right at their heels. Running for his absolute life, one of them yells in pure panic, "What is this thing? It is too scary." The other kid snaps back, "Shut up and just run." After sprinting a short distance, they suddenly spot Wei Xiao way off in the distance, radiating this eerie, purple magic power. Wei Xiao squints his eyes, guessing those guys ahead look like students from Modu Vocational University. Spotting some friendly faces, he waves happily, letting out a big sigh of relief. "Yes, finally found my people." But the two running kids do not even slow down, zooming right past him while screaming out a frantic warning. "Hey, get out of here, there is a giant monster." Right behind them, the massive armored worm kicks up a massive dust cloud, charging straight at Wei Xiao. Instead of panicking, our guy's eyes light up like literal stars. He laughs like a psycho. "Sweet, another armored worm." Treating this beast like a massive jackpot, he leads his skeleton army straight into the clash, screaming, "My money is here!" Can you even blame them? The fleeing kids freeze, staring in absolute disbelief as he literally charges straight toward the monster. The other kid is totally baffled, as he lost his mind. Ignoring their judgy stares, Wei Xiao points a finger straight at the monster and yells to his skeleton crew, "All right, boys, take this trash down for me." Under the sheer force of his undead squad, massive fireballs explode over and over, easily roasting the tough worm into straight-up ash. Watching this terrifying show, the red-haired kid sweats buckets and gasps, "Man, this guy is way too overpowered." Summoners are seriously cracked. But the black-haired kid next to him points to himself to clarify, "Wait, I am a summoner too." Ah, so it is not that summoners are broken, but this guy is just a cheat code. Meanwhile, 3 glowing ghost bills slowly float down onto the warm sand. Wei Xiao scoops up 3 single-value nether bills from the dirt, clicking his tongue because even though he got some cash, it is still way too little. Suddenly, he whips his head back, sensing the super sketchy vibe heading right their way. With a look of pure shock, he whispers, "What on earth is that noise?" Erupting from the boiling sand, a massive bloody centipede violently bursts through the earth, followed by the horrific, blood-curdling screams of some unlucky students in the distance. Right after that, thousands of armored worms crawl out one after another, forming a massive crimson tsunami sweeping across the entire desert. Giving him literal goosebumps, Wei Xiao sweats cold bullets and gasps out, "A worm tide." The 2 lost kids are absolutely terrified, the red-haired guy screaming in total despair, "Oh my god, with this many bugs, we are totally dead." Without wasting a single breath, Wei Xiao slams his hand down, lighting up a glowing purple summoning circle. His giant bone pig Peppa spawns instantly, and he leaps onto its back, pointing forward. "Peppa, let's move fast!" Staring at the epic magic pig zooming past, the red-haired kid stammers, "Crap, a general-grade summon." And just like that, Wei Xiao rides off into the dust, leaving a massive cloud of dust behind. The black-haired guy urges his teammate, telling him to move faster and catch up with their big boss. Both of them run like absolute madmen, with the black-haired dude screaming out in desperation for him to wait. But a giant armored bug is already snapping at their heels, its glowing red eyes completely locked in a crazy murderous rage. Its nasty fangs clamped shut, splattering fresh blood everywhere, a clear sign that someone just got totally obliterated. Up ahead, Wei Xiao is literally flying on Peppa's back, but he quickly glances behind him. He frowns in utter confusion, grumbling about why they are chasing him since he doesn't have any emergency cough medicine on him. The young man instantly sizes things up, his eyes turning cold. This is sketchy, he realizes. They are ignoring everyone else and aiming straight for me. Could some smart brain bug be controlling them from behind? Nearby, a bunch of students chilling out spot the absolute madness, and one of them asks if that is the famous genius from Modu Vocational University. The guy wearing a green headband watches the skeleton pig zip by in shock, petting his own wolf while muttering to himself. He admits his Gale wolf is basically total trash compared to that crazy beast, while a red-haired student runs for his life, screaming warnings to those ahead. He warns them about the massive bug swarm, leaving the 3 guys confused as the green headband dude frowns. A bug swarm? But before they can even process that, boom! Thousands of giant centipedes come charging right at them like a tidal wave. Green headband instantly loses his cool, cursing that it really is a swarm, and without wasting a single second, he jumps onto his Gale wolf. "Run!" The black-haired guy desperately chases after him, begging Lu Yu to take him along and save his life. But Lu Yu just gives him a freezing cold look, saying that without his Gale wolf, they are both as good as dead. With that, he brutally slaps his beloved wolf to speed up, and the creature leaps forward, leaving the others completely behind. Screaming to urge his wolf, Lu Yu looks back with a wicked smirk, asking if they take him for a fool. "Carrying 3 people would get us all killed, so you guys can just rot right here." The red-haired and black-haired students are totally shocked by this brutal, unexpected betrayal, screaming in absolute rage at the coward who abandoned them. Raising his magic bow, the red-haired guy grinds his teeth and roars. "If I can't escape this death, then you are coming down with me." He pulls the string back fully and unleashes two blazing fire arrows, aiming directly at the back of the fleeing traitor. The two arrows rip through the air at insane speed, tracing bright lines of fire across the desert sky before slamming deeply into Lu Yu's back, forcing out a horrific scream of pure agony. Losing his balance, the backstabber gets thrown right off his wolf, tumbling hard. Face first in the dirt and barely breathing with two arrows sticking out of him, he can only grind his teeth and curse in utter despair. "Damn it!" Right then, the swarming bugs crash over the two abandoned students, swallowing them whole as agonizing screams echo through the desert. Leaving absolutely nobody behind, the giant centipedes finally lunge at Lu Yu as he lies helpless on the floor. They end the traitor's life amidst his blood-curdling shrieks, devouring him in a savage feeding frenzy that leaves behind a gruesome, bloody mess that nobody would ever want to look at. Over at the ruins entrance, a strict no-entry sign is posted to secure a quiet, empty camping area full of abandoned tents. Inside a dimly lit room, 5 powerful VIPs are gathered around a massive wooden table, their expressions incredibly tense and serious. A bearded young man speaks to the principal. He tells the leaders they have finally uncovered the cause of the ruins incident, and the silver-haired principal gestures for him to go ahead and speak. The reporter narrows his eyes, trying to look mysterious as he points out that this whole disaster was definitely no accident. It was a setup. The old principal completely loses his mind. Wait, what conspiracy? Trying to make things extra dramatic, the bearded guy waves his hands, asking if they all remember that incident with 500 people a month ago. He begins to recount the tragic past. Back on May 10th, hostile alien races suddenly invaded a dungeon in Qingyang City. And the exact same crazy thing happened across 18 different cities, including Nanhai and Tungmin. He recalls the bloody tragedy where these monsters sneaked in, ambushed the helpless students who were just doing their training, and slaughtered hundreds of them. Looking incredibly confident, the young man makes a bold declaration. He claims he has enough proof to show both of these events were pulled off by the same group of saboteurs, making the principal slam his fist and demand to know who they are. The bearded guy slowly lets out the words with massive weight. It is the Myriad Races cult, and instantly a black-gloved hand slams down hard on the table in absolute fury. A leader wearing a suit clenches his fist, grinding his teeth and cursing those dirty sewer rats for showing up again. He immediately orders his men to wipe them out completely, demanding they raid every single secret hideout of the Myriad Races cult that they have on record. And by tomorrow noon, they must broadcast the executions of those cultists live across the entire nation, prompting the whole room to stand at attention and shout in agreement. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, Peppa the Magic Pig is running like crazy under the dying sunset. With sonic speed, this badass pig zooms right out of the blazing sand and blasts straight into a thick, shady forest. Spotting a nice grassy safe zone, Wei Xiao smoothly flips off his chubby ride and stretches out to relax. He blankly stares at the gorgeous scenery and starts talking to himself. Strolling deeper into the woods, our guy wonders if this is an oasis. But right above his head, a fat green worm with a creepy smile slithers on a thorny branch, radiating pure malice. His sharp instincts kick in, making Wei Xiao freeze instantly with a suspicious grunt. Look up. Boom! Our main character nearly jumps out of his skin and screams. What the hell is that thing, he thinks. Shaking off the scare, he immediately activates his inspection skill to check it out. The system screen pops up to show the enemy's raw data. Venomous larva, tier 0, level 2 strength, 2 agility, 3 constitution, 4 spirit, weight 6. Before Wei Xiao can even finish reading, the cheeky larva opens its mouth full of fangs and spits a glob of nasty green acid. Our genius MC instantly loses all his cool vibes, running for his life and screaming like a total baby. But hey, a tiny bug can't outlive our guy. He spins around, unleashes a deadly shovel swing packed with dark energy, and roars. Die, you piece of trash bug. The system screen suddenly blinks with a notification. Congratulations, you have defeated the tier 0, level 2 venomous larva. +1 experience point. Wei Xiao rolls his eyes in utter disgust, complaining if this tiny scrap of XP is the system begging him for change. He casually digs a hole to bury the smelly bug corpse while mumbling to himself. Wonder what can actually grow in this soil, he thinks. Exactly 10 minutes later, a glowing sprout pops out of the dirt, bearing a brilliant golden apple. The magic apple morphs and the system chimes again. Congratulations, you have received 1 coin. Wei Xiao's eyes instantly light up with dollar signs. Grinning like a villain, he plots. 1 bug equals 1 coin, so if I farm a ton of them, I will be filthy rich. Without wasting a second, our boy summons his undead army, shouting out to his little skeleton squad. Pointing at the tree crawling with green bugs, our future billionaire commands them to get to work. Meanwhile, under the dimming twilight in the distance, a female student collapses onto the bloody ground, screaming out for help in pure despair. A creepy dude carrying a bloody sword steps up, coldly demanding to know where Nanji and Pei Chan are. Terrified and crying her eyes out, the poor girl sniffles, begging him not to kill her because she doesn't know. Without a shred of mercy, the brutal guy swings his sword down, cutting her screams short as her life ends. Stepping over the lifeless bodies, he spits out a disdainful comment about how they couldn't even take one hit. The killer casually strolls across the sand, calculating his next move. Both Nanji and Pei Chan are top-tier geniuses in this class. A wicked smirk creeps onto his face as he mutters that once he takes them both down, his position as Saint Sun will be untouchable. Walking a bit further, the Saint Sun suddenly stops when he spots a glowing sprout growing on a weird dirt mound. Crouching down in curiosity, he inspects it closely, wondering why there would be a grave in these ruins. His face blushes with pure greed, excitedly guessing if there might be some secret treasure buried right underneath. Oh man, look at this greedy idiot clawing at the dirt, completely clueless about the nasty surprise waiting below. But instead of shiny treasure, he uncovers a totally squished, toxic larva oozing gross green slime all over. Absolutely losing his mind with smelly slime all over his hands, he screams, wondering what kind of idiot actually spends their free time burying dead poisonous bugs. He rushes around looking for some leaves to clean his hands, complaining non-stop. How disgusting, he mutters, when suddenly a bunch of cloaked skeletons flash right past his face at crazy speed. Standing there dumbfounded with leaves in hand, the Saint Sun looks back, asking what the hell just flew by. Right in front of him is a mind-blowing sight, endless rows of neat graves with glowing sprouts. He freezes on the spot, jaw-dropping as he yells out, asking what kind of crazy setup this is. Instantly, 3 dry skeletons rise from the ground, surrounded by a menacing purple dark energy. They aren't here to make friends, immediately conjuring 2 massive blazing fireballs in their hands to greet him. Quickly drawing his sword to defend himself, he angrily curses them, asking if they have any martial honor attacking without a single word. But the only reply is the chilling silence of the forest, where dozens of bug graves silently bloom, spawning endless passive income for our big boss Wei Xiao. Suddenly, a massive sack bursts open, spilling out a river of glowing ghost money like a golden waterfall. Wei Xiao is literally slow dancing with 2 skeletons, grinning like a madman as he yells out, "Man, this is the life. These ghost coins are almost at 50,000. But right during his victory dance, the system screen flashes a bright red warning to totally kill his vibe. 10 skeleton mages just got wiped out. Our future billionaire's face completely drops. He panics, wait, what is even happening right now? Why did so many of them die out of nowhere? Without wasting a second, he grabs his pets and sprints toward the coordinate. Xiao Qiang Peppa, get over there and check it out. Arriving at the scene, he can only bend over in disbelief, watching his fragile skeleton soldiers turn to smoke and melt into thin air. He scratches his head, staring into the absolute, dead silence, muttering to himself about why everything suddenly went so quiet. Out of nowhere, a massive blast of fire tears through the dark, slamming straight into his gatekeeping skeleton. The brutal impact triggers a blinding explosion, easily turning the poor undead minion into absolute dust. Wei Xiao summons his weapon, dropping into a stance. Who's hiding there? Come out right now, he roars. The attacker slowly steps out, holding a blazing sword, muttering to himself as he sizes up Wei Xiao. The summoner looks kind of familiar. With a wicked grin plastered on his face, he mocks, "Ah, I remember, the province's top student Wei Xiao. You're literally a free meal delivered right to me." Standing casually before the undead crowd, he fakes a friendly greeting. "Hey classmate, my name is Bai Yi." Bai Yi spreads his hands, pretending to be totally innocent. "Seriously, my bad for hurting your summons, I didn't mean to." Wei Xiao rubs his chin like some big-hearted saint, calmly brushing it off. "Whatever, it's not like you did it on purpose." The cultist keeps throwing out sweet words, baiting his trap. "Hey classmate, you're lost too, right? How about we team up and find our way out together?" Wei Xiao just turns his back, tossing a cold warning over his shoulder. "Keep up then, I don't have time to baby you." The second his prey's back is turned, Bai Yi draws his blade, lunging for a cheap backstab while growling, "Die!" Sensing the raw killing intent aiming right for his neck, Wei Xiao looks back with a frown, this nasty energy. Wei Xiao's gaze instantly turns icy. "Watch closely, because our boy is definitely not playing around anymore. What are you trying to do?" The villain leaps forward, screaming his ultimate move, Void Slash. The sharp blade drives clean through Wei Xiao's chest, spraying blood everywhere. Bai Yi laughs like a psychopath. "Once you are dead, my position as the Myriad Race's cult's holy son is locked in." Wei Xiao drops to his knees, collapsing hard onto the dirt. While the system secretly triggers his damage transfer skill, Wei Xiao plays along, weakly asking if he's really with the Myriad Race's cult. Bai Yi's face twists into an ugly fang sneer as he gloats, "Damn right, too bad you are already dead." Suddenly, our Oscar-winning actor stands right back up without a single scratch, coldly asking if they were the ones who trapped all the freshmen inside these ruins. Bai Yi proudly swings his flaming sword, bragging, "Absolutely, this is the masterwork of our great cult leader." And here's the best part, his tiny brain finally realizes he screwed up. He panics, stammering, "Wait a minute, how are you still breathing? That is impossible." As Peppa the Magic Pig steps up crackling with lightning, Wei Xiao mocks him. "Did a trash cultist like you seriously think you could kill me?" Bai Yi grits his teeth, charging up his glowing greatsword to slam it down, muttering, "You really are something else, top student." A wave of boiling hot sword energy rips through the air. The cultist roars out, "But this is as far as you go." His devastating attack surges forward with raw destructive force, aiming right at Wei Xiao's wall of shield-bearing skeletons. The heavy armored skeleton takes the blow and flies backward. Bai Yi immediately laughs, bragging about how they can't even take a single hit. Giving his opponent zero time to think, Peppa the Lightning Pig pounces forward like a supersonic arrow. He stomps his hooves, shattering the entire ground beneath them. Bai Yi grits his teeth, trying every trick in his fake holy book to resist the beast's sheer physical power. But human limits are real. A blast of lightning erupts, sending him flying backward through the air. The unlucky cultist spins out of control, letting out a scream of pure, unadulterated pain. He crashes violently onto the rocky ground below. The impact sends a shockwave of dust and rubble flying. Giving him no time to recover, Wei Xiao points at his red-cloaked skeleton mage and orders the final execution. "Blow him to pieces." The skeleton mage raises his staff, summoning a colossal fireball that completely lights up the dark sky. Terrified, Bai Yi desperately forms a shield with his sword, screaming through his teeth, "You won't get away with this!" The giant fireball detonates, instantly shattering his weak barrier and completely consuming the wicked cultist in a sea of flames. And right on cue, the system screen flashes a glowing notification to log his victory. "Congrats on slaying a Tier 2 level 28 human void swordsman, banking 1 million XP. Wei Xiao crosses his arms, enjoying the distant, glorious explosion. That blast is way stronger now. Man, this kid is leveling up crazy fast. The system notifications just keep flooding in. Congrats on reaching Tier 1 level 20, securing a sweet plus 10 boost to all your base attributes. The class advancement screen for the Necromancer class finally pops up. It requires at least one boss grade summon at Chieftain rank. The system immediately asks if he wants to automatically rank up since he qualifies. Wei Xiao hits yes, triggering a barrage of level up chime notifications in his ears. Congrats on completing your second class transfer, reaching Tier 2 level 21. Enjoy your 20-point stat boost. Passive talent Undying Eternity unlocks its third effect. Scar of the Departed advances to Chieftain rank, reaching Tier 2 level 21 with its third effect unlocked. Our main character is flexing a massive grin over these new stats. He gasps in excitement. Strength, agility, and stamina all doubled. Is this some kind of epic tier cheat code? He looks at his newly upgraded badass-looking minions and grins. Even my summons evolved to Tier 2. Swiping through the holographic system screen, the talented teen wonders to himself. Let us see if my passive talent got any cool changes. Reading the new corpse explosion upgrade, Wei Xiao's jaw drops as he screams, "Blowing up dead bodies, now that is real art." To test out this sketchy new power, our resident necromancer snaps his fingers with some serious style. A terrifying corpse explosion shreds the ground, sending waves of searing heat. The chill teen nods, finding the damage pretty decent. Shouldering his trusty shovel, Wei Xiao loves his weapons upgrade. Buying seeds from the underworld shop lets him use Scar of the Departed for farming. This ability is a total cheat code, guys. He strolls past Bai Yi's shredded corpse, muttering that at least his pathetic death served some real purpose. Getting that much exp is cool, but let us see what this body can grow. 15 minutes fly by as our farming-obsessed MC waits. Right on top of the cultist's grave, a weird magical sapling sprouts, growing a glowing, vibrant golden apple. The golden apple suddenly cracks open, shooting out a blinding beam of light carrying a high-value item. A glowing skill book pops up on screen with a notification. Congrats on getting the S-Rank Summon Void Swordsman skill, learn it now? No-brainer here. Wei Xiao grabs the magic book and commands the system to learn it. A mystical blue light wraps around him with a chime. Congrats on learning the S-Rank skill to summon a Void Swordsman. Wei Xiao slams his hand down, channeling mana to trigger a glowing green magic circle. Summon Skeleton Void Swordsman! Out steps a badass skeleton swordsman draped in a blue cape and heavy armor, looking absolutely ready for war. Our newly rich lead drools over the insanely broken stats of his new guard. These boss-grade base stats easily rival a beast general, plus those crazy skills. No wonder he sliced that elite monster before. Petting his new skeleton swordsman, he happily gives him a dumb nickname. This look is 10 out of 10 cool. I will call you Xiao Shui. But watch out, a dark shadow just ripped through the air behind his back. Whips his head around, eyes instantly sharp with caution. Who goes there? The teen spins, throwing a hot fireball at his target. From the dense darkness, a hideous giant spider monster charges. Without missing a beat, the ugly creature opens its massive mouth and swallows his attack whole. Wei Xiao breaks into a cold sweat. He gasps in shock. What? It just straight up swallowed that. Our summoner quickly gets a grip on himself. waving his hand to order his skeleton guards. Go check it out. Receiving the command, 3 skeleton mages step up to the plate. Out of nowhere, a massive green laser sweeps from the shadows, instantly reducing the fragile skeletons to a pile of dust. That deadly beam keeps charging straight at Wei Xiao, making him pale as he yells, "This is bad!" Right at that critical split second, the newly summoned Void Swordsman Xiao Shui charges forward to body shield his master. Xiao Shui raises his magic shield, taking the brunt of that destructive green laser head-on. Shockwaves from the brutal impact ripple outward, cracking the solid ground in all directions. The swordsman's skull burns with a steady blue flame, proving the insane defense of a legendary boss-tier summon. Thanks to Xiao Shui's rock-solid shield, the angry green energy finally fizzles out completely. Seizing his chance to strike back, Wei Xiao points straight ahead and screams, "Peppa, shred them!" The lightning magic pig immediately rears up, leading the undead army forward with a massive, terrifying wave of pure murderous intent. Our genius main character unleashes a brilliant wave of purple magic to light up the dark, creepy forest. Under that glowing magical light, the sneaky attacker's true form is revealed. An absolutely massive, hideous green spider. Wei Xiao's eyes flash with a deep blue light as he instantly triggers his appraisal skill. The screen shows a Tier 3 Venom boss, level 36, with power at 3680 and agility over 4000. Spirit 1488. Wei Xiao sighs at this insanely strong Tier 3 boss, but the giant spider gives him zero time to breathe. Opening its giant mouth, it fires a sharp green laser. Panicking, Wei Xiao pats his mount's back and yells, "Peppa, dodge!" The lightning pig is incredibly agile, immediately rearing its front legs high up into the air, successfully dodging that deadly attack by just a tiny hair. Having escaped death, a pissed-off Wei Xiao points at the spider and commands his summon. "Xiao Ming, blast this thing to pieces right now." The loyal skeleton mage instantly obeys, summoning 2 absolutely massive roaring fireballs in his bony hands. Fueled by undead fury, those burning fireballs fly straight toward that toxic spider. A violent magic explosion erupts, forming a massive mushroom cloud of fire that lights up the entire dark forest. Meanwhile, you won't believe what's happening on a totally different battlefield. A group of unlucky students is trapped by giant centipedes. One guy screams in pure despair, "We are done for, we are packed in here like dumplings." The blonde guy, Zhang Hai, swings his magic staff to fire off a burning fireball and roars, "Just die already." Flames completely engulf the target, but that giant armored centipede crawls straight out of the fire with its shell undamaged. Seeing his attack fail, the red-haired student nearby panics and yells, "Zhang Hai, use your fire dragon spell. Basic fireballs cannot kill these armored pests." Veins popping on his forehead, Zhang Hai angrily snaps back at his teammate. "Use what? I have already killed dozens of these armored bugs, and my mana is completely drained." Swinging his warhammer wildly at the swarming bugs, the hammer-wielding student cries out in terror. "What do we do? Are we seriously going to die here?" The blonde guy turns around, completely stunned by the massive explosion, while the buff blue-haired student praises the epic blast. "That explosion is unreal. It is easily 10 times stronger than my own fire dragon spell." Grabbing his sword, he rushes forward and urges his crew, "Move it. Some powerhouse must be fighting over there. If we head that way, we might actually survive this." Emerging from the thick, swirling smoke, a majestic undead army and that lightning pig slowly come into view. Wearing a smug grin, Wei Xiao proudly boasts, "Did that little green pest seriously survive that massive blast?" But as the smoke clears, a giant half-human spider queen is revealed, leaving our main character completely frozen in shock. Sweating bullets, Wei Xiao quickly triggers his appraisal skill and curses, "Crap, is she seriously still alive?" The system screen instantly displays her terrifying stats. Tier 3 Spider Queen, level 40, with power over 66,000. Agility is 7396. His face turns pale as he screams in despair. How the hell do we even fight this? Without wasting a split second, he spins around. Wei Xiao quickly leaps onto Peppa's back, ordering a fast retreat as those buff guys continue to run forward. Get ready for this collision because those buff guys are still running forward, urging each other on, only to run straight into Wei Xiao's fleeing undead army charging back like a wild hurricane. The blue-haired guy slams on the brakes. He warns them in a panic, "Watch out, there are skeleton monsters blocking the path." But the blonde guy squinting through the dust realizes something else. No, wait. Spotting Wei Xiao sitting majestically on that magic pig, he realizes the truth. He is actually a summoner. But our future rich boy just rides his pig straight past the 3 of them without showing a single shred of mercy. Glaring at the annoying group, Wei Xiao snaps at them. "Move it, get out of my way!" The blonde guy quickly turns his head back and yells, "Do not go there. There are armored centipedes behind us." Blue-haired guy grabs his shoulder and snaps, "Why are you yelling?" Wearing a sly grin, he whispers, "Isn't it great if someone else drags those bugs down for us instead?" Suddenly, an absolutely massive, earth-shaking magic explosion erupts directly behind those sneaky bastards. Bursting through the sea of fire, the undead army led by Peppa charges out, looking insanely cool and powerful. Staring blankly at that cool epic scene, the blonde guy gulps hard in pure admiration. Wei Xiao confidently points at the unfortunate centipede and commands, "Peppa, that is the last one. Crush it to dust." His cold eyes radiate pure focus, determined to sweep away any obstacle standing between him and his sweet, sweet cash. That wild thunder pig charges forward, aiming straight for the giant centipede's head with a brutal ram. The impact is brutal. It easily shatters the beast's tough shell into a million tiny little pieces. Three students watching just stare in absolute shock. Damn, that is insane. Is this really the boss's true power? Our fake farmer Wei Xiao looks at the pile of dead bugs, sighing in regret. Too bad there is no time to bury these bodies. Seeing their ticket out of here leaving, the three run after him, waving and screaming like crazy. "Hey boss," the blonde guy begs, shamelessly trying to flatter him. "Boss, you are seriously way too overpowered. Can you take us with you?" But Wei Xiao just rubs his neck and flatly shuts them down. "Yeah, I do not like crowds following me." Just when things couldn't get crazier, look at that sky. It turns a creepy shade of green, sending a flock of birds scattering. Our main character frowns, looking back at the gloomy shadows and muttering in panic, "Not good, it is already here." The giant spider queen is using her massive creepy legs to crawl incredibly fast, hunting down her prey like a nightmare. The hideous monster bursts right out of the bushes, making the unlucky students look up and stammer. That is a massive spider monster. Wei Xiao does not care about strangers, immediately smacking his pig to run for his life while yelling, "What are you waiting for? Run fast." The three freeloaders run like total cowards, crying out for help and screaming that they just want to go home. While everyone is running around in a panic, Wei Xiao secretly charges up a massive swell of dark purple magic in his hand. He swings his arm to command his undead army, ordering them to go forward and hold back that giant spider queen. The skeleton warriors raise their shields, charging straight ahead to slow the beast down. But the spider queen goes wild, firing sharp green laser beams that absolutely blast his undead defensive line. Right behind him, those useless freeloaders are still running and crying, "Boss, please save us, save our lives." Turning back, our boss Wei Xiao extends his hand to release a burst of purple magic. He pumps the energy straight into their mounts and yells at them to hurry up. "Jump on those pigs, it will make you way faster." The blonde guy is practically crying tears of joy as he shouts back in thanks. "Thanks a million, boss." Meanwhile, our rich guy zooms off on his thunder pig, looking back to tease the crew riding those slow undead pigs. "I am out of here first. Good luck. You guys better pray for yourselves." 3 exhausting hours pass by, and Wei Xiao completely wipes out, collapsing under a massive ancient tree to catch his breath. Panting heavily, he wipes the sweat off his forehead and mutters that he finally shook that thing off. Surely he is safe now, but then his stomach growls incredibly loud. Rubbing his stomach, he complains that running all night has him literally starving to death. Reaching into his cool skull-patterned magic bag, he pulls out a green package of cookies, tearing the wrapper open while grumbling about his terrible luck. "When is this stupid dungeon even going to end?" he mutters, slowly popping a square cookie into his mouth to enjoy a rare, much-needed snack. But wait, look what drops out of nowhere. A plump peach hits him, leaving him totally confused. Where did a peach even come from? Wei Xiao frowns and looks around, letting out a confused "huh." The system screen scans the target up in the tree, showing a Tier 3 Golden Silk Demon Monkey leader at level 35, with over 2,000 strength. Our guy looks up to see the monkey grinning down from the branch and immediately groans. "Seriously, another one? No way, and it is a Tier 3 Golden Monkey." The mischievous Golden Monkey chucks another peach right down at him, hitting his shoulder and making Wei Xiao flinch with a loud, startled ouch. Hanging from the branch, the monkey keeps pointing straight at the cookie wrapper in his hand. It points a finger right into its open mouth, clearly begging for some of those sweet treats. Wei Xiao looks at the peach, then back at his cookies. He quickly catches on. "Is this little guy trying to trade a peach for my cookies?" Without hesitating, our guy tosses the package of treats right up to the branch. The golden monkey happily reaches out and snatches the strange new package with perfect precision. Clinging tightly to the snacks, its face lights up with pure joy as it immediately grabs a cookie and stuffs it in, tasting human food for the first time. The monkey's face instantly blushes with pure happiness, chewing away with a look of absolute heavenly bliss. Having tasted the treats, the golden monkey flips away happily, leaving Wei Xiao standing there nodding. Yep, it really just wanted to trade for cookies. Wei Xiao slowly eats his last cookie, so good it quiets his hungry stomach. On the green grass, the empty wrapper sits lonely right next to 2 leftover peach pits. Now that he is full, our guy brushes off his hands, stands up and declares, "All right, breakfast is over, time to get back to hunting." But out of nowhere, the golden monkey drops upside down from the branch, startling Wei Xiao into asking, "What do you want now?" The little monkey does not care about his attitude at all, happily waving its hands to show what it wants next. It gently opens its tiny hand, offering a glowing pink crystal that leaves our main character staring in utter confusion. Wei Xiao immediately channels magic into his eyes and yells out his appraisal skill. The system panel quickly scans the glowing object and pulls up the report. An S-grade immortal peach tree seed, which can grow a legendary S-grade tree. Our main character breaks out in a cold sweat from sheer shock. His jaw drops as he gasps out, "This is actually an S-grade seed." Our future billionaire gingerly reaches out his hand to take the treasure from the tiny monkey with extreme care. Holding it, Wei Xiao instantly wears an incredibly greedy look on his face. He mutters excitedly, "What is the deal with this demon monkey? How on earth did it find such an awesome item?" The golden silk demon monkey jumps up and down with literal heart eyes, eagerly waiting for its cookie reward from its business partner. Wei Xiao squats down, scratching his head in pure awkwardness as he tries to negotiate, saying those cookies are all gone now, so how about he pays it back later? Realizing it is getting scammed, the monkey goes ballistic, cursing at Wei Xiao and making him break into a nervous sweat. He quickly tries to explain, "Hey, calm down, I never said I would not pay you." Ignoring him, the golden monkey turns into a literal shooting star, blasting toward the scammer at insane speed. It delivers a brutal headbutt straight to Wei Xiao's gut, making him scream in agony. Boom! Our unlucky main character flies backward, crashing hard in the Void Swordsman's skeleton, desperately yelling for Xiao Shui to save him. The cocky little monkey crosses its arms in front of the giant skeleton monster, screeching to provoke it. Annoyed, the Void Swordsman swings its massive greatsword, releasing a terrifying wave of energy, but the nimble monkey easily leaps away to dodge it. Wei Xiao groans. He clutches his stomach on the dirt, gritting his teeth. Damn, this monkey actually hits pretty hard. Realizing he cannot win a fight, our main character decides to play nice and de-escalate. "Hey little monkey, do you just want some cookies? How about I write you a promissory note instead?" The stubborn monkey plops down, crossing its arms and shaking its head vigorously, leaving Wei Xiao completely speechless as he snaps, "What? You think I am gonna run?" Standing with arms akimbo, our guy racks his brain, clicking his tongue as he learns the hard way that beasts inside these ruins are not easily fooled. Suddenly, a light bulb goes off over his head, and a devious smile spreads across Wei Xiao's face as he gasps. "Ah, got it." Our master scammer leans close to the monkey, turning on his professional salesman voice, asking if the little guy has ever tried steamed lamb, bear paw, deer tail, roast duck, or roast chicken. He rattles off a massive list of 5-star restaurant dishes, leaving the little monkey completely mesmerized and drooling all over the floor. Savory pork, duck, and wild chicken, braised quail, boiled meats, boiled goose, boiled shrimp, and even peeled fried shrimp. And just like that, our guy has got him hooked. Wei Xiao politely extends his hand, offering a contract to take him out of here. To make it even more convincing, the undead army behind him enthusiastically raises banners to cheer him on as Wei Xiao delivers his final pitch. "How about you follow me out to eat and drink like kings?" In a split second, the monkey's mind is filled with visions of sizzling steaks, crispy chicken, and endless greasy 5-star feasts. There is absolutely no way it can resist this mouth-watering temptation. The starving monkey immediately nods its head like crazy, its eyes sparkling with heart-shaped joy and pure happiness. Wei Xiao flashes a sly grin, squats down, and sweet-talks his prey, telling it that it is time to get this contract started. Our guy squeezes a fresh drop of blood from his finger and lets it drip onto the monkey's tiny hand, triggering a glowing red magic circle. The system announces, congratulating the host on successfully signing a master-servant contract with the golden silk demon monkey. A blinding flash of magical light explodes, wrapping around the figures of the newly bonded master and servant. The monkey's stat board pops up, displaying a bunch of A-grade skills. Wei Xiao is absolutely amazed, noting how insane it is for a mere boss level to have 3 A-grade skills. He is going straight to the top. But wait, the system immediately ruins his joy by warning him about the massive feeding costs. "Stop, I get it!" The monkey pulls on his pants, demanding the food. "Hey human, where is that steamed lamb, bear paw, and all that stuff?" Our guy asks in total shock. "Oh, you can actually talk?" Wei Xiao confidently beats his chest and promises, "Stop chanting that menu. Just come with me, and I guarantee you will eat your fill," making the monkey happily think that he actually has a conscience. Our guy friendly pats his new pet on the head and asks, "Do you have a name?" Finding out it is nameless, he decides to name it on the spot, proposing Da Sheng. "How about that? Sounds pretty majestic, right?" The little monkey perks up its ears and nods happily. Da Sheng actually sounds pretty good. Wei Xiao quickly hops onto his magic pig Peppa and waves his hand, yelling, "All right, first let us go find our other companions." Sitting proudly on Wei Xiao's shoulder, Da Sheng slyly suggests leading the way, since there are tons of monsters around here. And just like that, a few hours quickly pass by. Across the cracked ground, bloody carcasses of scorpion monsters lie scattered everywhere, showing the absolute massacre that just took place. A purple level-up flash erupts, and the system congratulates him on reaching level 29. Da Sheng quickly points his finger into the distance, reporting that he can sense a ton of human auras right over there. Wei Xiao quickly urges his lightning pig forward, deciding to check out the commotion. What greets them is an absolutely massive desert valley, packed with thousands of academy students. The guys Wei Xiao saved earlier are also there, tending to their wounded teammates on the sidelines. Wei Xiao rides his epic mount, making a grand entrance right through the crowd. The blonde guy stares in utter disbelief. There are so many people here. Nearby, the blue-haired dude points at our main character and hypes up his crew. Look, is not that the big boss? The red-haired guy gets hyped too, shouting that the boss looks insanely cool with a monkey on his shoulder. Our genius summoner leaps off his magic pig's back and immediately asks what is going on. What went down here? The blue-haired kid quickly steps up to explain, saying someone just found the core formation eye of the ruins nearby. Wei Xiao's face lights up with total hope as he cheerfully asks them about it. If we grab that core, can we finally leave? The red-haired guy looks completely depressed, sighing that it is not that easy. He starts laying down the terrifying truth of their situation. The beast guarding the core is a massive mother bug, commanding an endless horde of insects. As he talks, brutal flashbacks of the battle fill the screen. Yesterday, China sent over 10,000 fighters, while Korea mobilized more than 40,000 of theirs. Plus, Britain brought another 40,000, meaning nearly 100,000 Tier 3 experts charged that mother bug together. The guy bitterly wraps up the depressing story. But that clash left them with insane casualties, and they still failed to seize the core. Wei Xiao frowns. 10,000 went in, but fewer are left here? The blue-haired guy waves his hands to clarify. No, that is not it. Last night, Korea and Britain took the front lines, so our losses were pretty light. Everyone else is just out patrolling other zones right now. He keeps giving friendly advice, saying the second wave starts tomorrow morning. When that happens, we just hang back behind Korea and Britain, shouting and cheering them on. Seriously, boss, whatever you do, do not go charging in. Wei Xiao bursts out laughing, easily clearing the heavy vibe. Do not worry. By the way, do you guys have any food on you? With a totally defeated look, the blonde guy pulls out a snack. I only have a few spicy strips left. Wei Xiao happily pulls out a fresh peach to bargain, suggesting they do a quick trade. He generously hands the spicy strips to his pet, hyping them up as the ultimate earthly delicacy. Da Sheng obediently grabs the giant snack and starts devouring it. Tears stream down the little monkey's face from the intense spice, but he still squeals with joy. It is crazy hot, but so good. Watching this hilarious scene, the blue-haired guy cannot help but tease them. Seriously, boss, your pet is way too funny. As a quiet night settles over the desolate hills, Wei Xiao lies on the grass, staring up and worrying. He wonders how Nanji, Pei Qian, and Senior Liu Yang are doing. Not to mention Xu Zhaoqing, he hopes everyone is safe and sound. Suddenly, Wei Xiao flinches, biting his blade of grass as he spots a weird anomaly. Look at that. A creepy giant blood moon hangs right above the peak, feeling like a massive warning sign. A bloody student runs for his life toward the camp, screaming in sheer panic that the bug army is charging in. Right behind him, a grotesque giant centipede snaps its massive jaws in hot pursuit, making the terrified student scream as he runs. The guys hanging out nearby instantly lose their color, and the blue-haired dude gasps in complete shock. This is bad. The whole mountain seems to collapse as tens of thousands of crazy insects swarm out like a tidal wave toward the survivors. Deep down, underground, an army of giant centipedes swarms forward, a sight so nasty it gives you goosebumps. The red-haired guy bolts immediately. He screams to run because there are too many bugs. Suddenly, a massive worm bursts from the ground, snatching an unlucky student who shrieks in terror. Seeing his teammate get devoured, the blue-haired guy screams out in absolute horror. Zhang Hai. Right at that critical second, Wei Xiao charges in on his lightning pig, yelling at him to stop freezing and run. Watching the writhing tide of bugs rushing in, someone yells that the swarm has arrived. The massive worm snaps open its grotesque, fanged mouth to threaten its prey. Its glowing red eyes lock onto the trembling blue and red-haired guys. Pale as a ghost, the blue-haired dude stammers, asking what on earth that thing is. Without flinching, Wei Xiao glares at the beast and instantly activates his insight technique. The system panel pops up with info. A Tier 3 tank bug, level 40 boss with 6,380 power, 80 agility, 3,855 constitution, 7,620 spirit, 1288. Wei Xiao squinted at the stats. This peak Tier 3 boss tank beetle is built like a massive wall of pure muscle. It opens its giant mouth and charges straight at Wei Xiao, but our boy just smirks with total confidence. He does not even blink as he orders Xiao Shui to shred this thing to pieces. Right on cue, the skeletal void swordsman turns into a flash of blue light and charges the ugly beast at absolute warp speed. Xiao Shui swings his massive greatsword down in a brutally heavy strike. The heavy blade slams into the beetle's steel shell, triggering a crazy blast of raw magical energy that shakes the entire area. With the boss temporarily locked down, Wei Xiao wastes zero time and instantly prepares his spell. A barrage of purple fireballs streaks through the air, hitting the tank beetle right in its ugly face. The blinding explosion that follows sends a massive wave of black smoke and debris flying everywhere. Wei Xiao jogs over to the smoking corpse with a wicked grin, laughing that they absolutely cannot let good loot go to waste. He looks up as pieces of broken armor shell rain down from the sky, getting totally hyped to collect every single bit of his fresh loot. Moving like a pro smuggler, our boy holds open his bag to sweep everything inside. Hyped up on his easy gains, the tyrant points his finger and orders his summon squad to start grinding the map. Go find more tank beetles for me, Xiao Shuai, Xiao Xiang, Da Sheng. In another corner of the field, some poor schoolgirl falls to the ground in terror as a swarm of insect monsters corners her. Staring at the sharp pincers coming at her, she bursts into tears and screams. Someone save me. Out of nowhere, a guy with a massive sledgehammer drops from the sky and crushes the bug's head right in the nick of time. The system screen pops up to show this is the berserker Lu Tiezu, who acts cool and tells her she is safe now, so stand up. The girl is completely stunned and stammers out her thanks, but their relief doesn't last long. Lu Tiezu senses sudden danger and yells out, "Get back, there's something tunneling up right now." Before she can even react, a giant tank beetle spawns right behind her. The beast opens its horrific jaws and chomps down on the poor girl as she screams in pure terror. Lu Tiezu is completely shocked by the sneak attack, clutching his hammer and letting out a furious curse. Get ready, because here comes our boy Wei Xiao riding in on a lightning boar with his squad to save the day. Spotting the prime targets, our main character points ahead and tells his crew to go handle those beetles. Hearing the order, his red-cloaked skeleton summons wide-eyed excitement, channeling a massive blast of magical energy to wipe them out. But Wei Xiao is too quick, grabbing his trigger-happy summon by the collar and dragging him right back. He sighs and tells him that his explosion is way too destructive and will hurt innocent people. Meanwhile, Lu Tieju charges ahead with his dual hammers roaring in absolute fury. He yells for the beast to die, but the tank beetle just bares its razor-sharp teeth and roars back. No surprise here, the tank-like beast casually flicks its head and sends our brave berserker flying backward through the air. Lu Tieju crashes hard onto the dirt, rolling like a ragdoll and letting out a painful groan. Wei Xiao checks in on him, asking if his senior is alright, only to get a super strained response saying he is fine. Even though he is totally beaten up, Lu Tieju tries to act tough, warning him to run away because it is too dangerous. Wei Xiao just pets the little monkey resting on his shoulder and smirks, saying that he already knows. He rides his boar straight into the swarm, confidently declaring that he specifically came here to hunt these exact beetles. Lu Tieju loses his mind, yelling that a mere summoner has no business hunting tank beetles and needs to get lost. But Wei Xiao just looks back and winks at him. He tells his senior to just sit back and watch, then coldly orders Xiao Shuai and Xiao Qiang to take the left flank. The blue-armored skeleton swordsman unleashes a brutal slash, hitting the giant beetle square in the face. Over on the other side, his purple-armored skeleton lands a vicious critical hit, shattering the shell of another unlucky bug. Seeing his summons working so fast, Wei Xiao casually claims the right side for himself and his monkey Da Sheng. On command, Da Sheng immediately channels his energy and spits out a barrage of fireballs that completely roast the beetle's face, earning a proud thumbs up from Wei Xiao. He yells good job to Da Sheng, who gets completely fired up, swinging his staff and charging forward while shouting that he is not even done yet. The heavy blow crashes down like a falling boulder, smashing right into the giant beetle's back. The hideous monster is crushed instantly, leaving a massive hole in its body before it can even blink. Watching this insane display with his own eyes, Lu Tiezu breaks into a sweat and sheepishly admits that the kid is actually for real. Feeling his blood boil from watching such an epic show, the berserker grips his hammer, stands right back up, and loudly claims the beast in the middle. True to his word, Lu Tiezu builds speed, spinning his dual hammers, his entire body glowing with power. A sharp, furious whirlwind sweeps directly into the middle tank beetle, leaving the beast completely dazed. Using every ounce of his power, Lu Tieju leaps high into the air for the final blow, screaming for it to die. Right after that, Lu Tieju puts all his power into slamming his massive hammers down, creating an absolute earth-shaking blast. Seeing that, Wei Xiao is totally impressed and cheers that his senior is a berserker, a top 3 ultra-rare class. Lu Tieju lets out a huge sigh of relief, turning around to thank his junior. Seriously, if it wasn't for you, facing those 3 tank bugs alone would have been a direct ticket to a grave. Wei Xiao flashes a mischievous grin and takes the chance to ask if his senior can do him a quick favor, making the big guy confidently beat his chest. Just say the word, Lu Tieju replies. So Wei Xiao explains that since berserkers have crazy loud voices, he needs help shouting a message to everyone. Lu Tieju scratches his head, totally lost on what to say. Wei Xiao flips his hair to look cool, and proudly tells him to shout for everyone to back off so he can handle this bug swarm alone, making his senior roll his eyes. But wait till you see this. Our main character just gives a super confident smirk to chill the guy out. No worries, just leave it to me because if we hesitate now, we are just letting more people get wiped out. Seeing how dead serious he is, Liu Tieju breaks a sweat and finally gives in, sighing that he will do it. No time to waste, the berserker closes his eyes to take just a massive deep breath, gathering all his energy before letting out a straight-up thunderous roar. Listen up, everyone. I am Liu Tieju, and you all need to stop fighting right this second. He keeps screaming at the top of his lungs, telling the crowd to run south as fast as they can. In the panicked crowd, a student recognizes the voice and shouts that it is Liu Tieju, making everyone else immediately agree that since Senior spoke up, they should scram. Seeing how crazy things are getting, one guy starts sprinting like a maniac, while screaming for everyone to just run for their lives. Now that the area is clear, Wei Xiao smirks and tells his summon Xiao Ming that the rest of the show is up to them. The red-robed skeleton instantly raises both hands, charging up a massive blazing fireball that glows insanely bright. Xiao Ming's glowing red eyes flash with pure malice, ready to unleash hell on the monsters, while the massive swarm of creepy bugs stays hot on the heels of the fleeing students, making one guy scream. Run faster, the creepy bugs are catching up. Just when things look totally hopeless, check this out. Xiao Ming and his skeleton squad rain down straight-up fire from behind. A blinding, earth-shaking explosion rips through the field, wiping out the entire swarm and saving everyone at the very last second. Staring at that insane damage, Liu Tieju's jaw completely drops as he gasps that his junior is just way too overpowered. Inside that raging sea of flames, the heavily armored bug screeches in pure agony before getting completely roasted and exploding. Wei Xiao just smirked casually, teasing them by asking if they are still not done, and without giving the survivors a single second to breathe, he waves his hand and shouts a command. Xiao Ming, show me your ultimate move, and on command, his loyal summon turns into a streak of red light, blasting straight into the center of the battlefield. Hovering high in the air, Xiao Ming rains massive fireballs straight down on the heads of the completely clueless insect horde. Instantly, a raging fire tornado summons itself, crashing directly onto the heads of those unlucky monsters. A massive explosion erupts, incinerating everything in sight and blowing the shattered bugs all over the place. The running students look back at the spectacular blast, and one of them gasps in absolute shock, wondering what kind of monster could unleash such a terrifying attack. Liu Tieju straight up freezes for 5 seconds, cold sweat dripping down his face as he mutters, if that crazy dense swarm was actually wiped out. Snapping back to reality, Liu Tieju smiles and points out that his junior's power is seriously on some next-level cheat code vibe. Are you down to help at other strongholds? Wei Xiao rubs his chin and does the math, realizing he is just a tiny bit away from reaching the peak of his second tier, so farming mobs at other camps is the perfect way to level up. With his plan set, our main character flashes a bright smile and immediately agrees to go. His senior happily pulls out a scroll and tells him to keep a tight grip on this map of the strongholds, and Wei Xiao does not hesitate to snatch it right away. Holding the map, the young guy is hyped and declares that he is going to head out to clear the other strongholds immediately. By the second day, the scene shifts over to a desolate desert wasteland covered in swirling dust storms. Under the scorching sun, a massive swarm of giant insect monsters is crawling all over the sand, creating a totally disgusting sight. Right then, his system rings with awesome news. Congrats on defeating 3 level 40 tank boss bugs, speak plus 1.75 million, and congrats on reaching level 30 tier 2 with a plus 20 boost to all stats. Staring at the alert, Wei Xiao scratches his head and wonders if this is really his third transition quest. The system panel immediately displays the randomly generated third transition quest for the Necromancer class. First requirement is to own at least 1 general tier summon completed, and second is to reach boss level yourself, which is still incomplete. Holding the little monkey in his arms, the guy scowls and wonders if he actually has to hit boss tier himself just to get his third transition. This is going to be a total drag, but whatever, no rush. Wei Xiao waves his hand, leading his army of bony skeleton minions forward. Forget it, let us just hit up the next outpost and see. Under the blazing desert sun, that thick black bug horde is still crawling like a living nightmare. Somewhere else, this pink-haired babe is acting all shy, whispering to the dude standing next to her. Jin Shang, can you let me have the array eye? The greedy guy just smirks, reaching his hand out and asking what kind of payback he is getting for that. Oh, really? She does not hesitate to slide in close, acting all flirty and offering to stay with him for a month. But Jin Xianghe just sneers, saying that is not nearly enough. I heard you have a little sister who is supposed to be Cherry Blossom Country's #1 beauty of the millennium. Seeing him creep on her precious sister, her sweet face instantly drops, flaring with pure murderous rage. But she quickly masks it with a fake, playful smile, saying her sister is way too young to please a man. She promises she will handle him so well he will lose his mind. Jin Xianghe does not fall for the trap, immediately channeling his mana to fly off and reject her. Forget it then. Let us go wipe out the rest of these gross bugs first before we talk about anything else. Brutally rejected, she grinds her teeth in pure anger, cursing those extremely selfish jerks. High up in the sky, Jin Xianghe shines bright like a true boss, rallying the crowd below to destroy the mother bug and seize the core. Brandishing his glowing giant battle axe, he confidently declares that they are all about to become national heroes. Honestly, watching this clueless mob get completely hyped by his cheap talk is wild. They are literally screaming for blood and screaming to take the core. Watching them with pure disgust, she charges a bright magic sphere, muttering that they are all complete idiots. The dark purple energy ball swells up bigger and bigger, radiating a super deadly glow. She hurls the magic blast right down, wiping out the bug swarm while the poor fools trapped below scream for help. Trying to steal the spotlight, Jin Xianghe dives straight down from the sky with his giant axe, yelling that he is joining the party. Showing off his power, he slams his glowing weapon into the ground with everything he has got. The impact triggers a massive explosion, blasting waves of fire that blow the insect monsters away while she watches from a distance. Aoi strokes his ego, cooing that he is as amazing as always and asking if he is finally hitting tier 4 after this run. Hearing her sweet talk, Jin Xianghe smirks proudly, laughing that she is flattering him too much and saying she is doing great too. Deep inside the dark cave, a massive swarm of giant bugs is aggressively guarding their nest. Right behind the guard bugs is a giant fat larva squirming around while pulsing with a weird green light. This creepy three-eyed villain is clutching a glowing egg tightly, laughing like a complete psycho. Almost time, my sweet baby is growing. Just wait a little longer. The more blood spilled, the stronger you will get. The villain stares hungrily at the larva inside the egg, muttering about how once it hatches, things will change. He will finally have the power to unlock a brand new secret world. Meanwhile, outside on the battlefield, the warriors rush in screaming for blood. A barrage of powerful elemental spells strikes down on the horde of giant spiders and mantises, thick black smoke everywhere. Watching these incredibly weak bugs, Aoi just scowls in disgust. These pests are too weak, like they are literally begging to be killed. Suddenly, her face pales as she mutters that something is seriously wrong here. Sensing bad vibes, she panics and yells at her team. Seriously, you just know things are about to go sideways. Deep underground, the fat mother bug looks lovingly at the glowing egg and whispers happily, "My sweet baby is almost ready to hatch." Its hideous face twists into an ugly, groveling grin, telling it to just be patient for a little longer. Meanwhile, those super unlucky guard bugs outside are getting absolutely blasted to pieces by the invading students. Hearing the chaos, the mother bug whips its head around, cursing that it only needs a tiny bit more time. Sensing the danger closing in, the fat worm frantically crawls backward to shield its precious egg. Jin Xianghe boldly leads the charge into the cave, pointing his finger and yelling at the disgusting bug. "Hand over the array eye now, and I might give you an easy death." But the mother bug just sneers savagely. "Such a super strong soul. Slaying you will make my baby hatch way faster." Seeing the ugly beast talk so much trash, Jin Xianghe glares and immediately triggers his inspection skill. The screen shows a tier 3 boss, level 40, with stats hitting nearly 8,000, totally throwing him off. He gasps at how insanely strong this boss is. Standing next to him, Aoi breaks into a cold sweat, yelling that the egg is giving off a terrifying vibe and they must destroy it. No hesitation at all, Jinhee swings his giant battle axe, leaping up to take it on. He channels absolutely all his power, delivering a massive, heavy strike right into that glowing green egg. Boom! The egg shatters instantly, but out crawls a creepy humanoid bug creature instead of a normal baby. It glows with a weird lime green light. Seeing her broken egg, the broodmother starts crying hysterically for her baby. Meanwhile, Jin Xianghe is just standing there completely stunned, thinking, what on earth is this thing? To stay safe, our guy quickly scans his creepy new opponent. The system screen pops up. Soul-devouring Bug King, unranked, level 1 Lord class with a massive strength stat, 10,999 agility, constitution, and spirit stats. Jin Xianghe breaks into a cold sweat. Another Lord class, he mutters, and those 4 crazy stats are actually on par with my own power. Trying to calm his nerves, our guy turns and whispers that thank goodness my strike forced it out early, or else we would be completely screwed. On the flip side, the chubby broodmother is absolutely thrilled and laughs out loud. "My sweet baby, you are totally fine." But the Bug King just flashes this super shady, wicked smirk and mumbles that he still needs way more energy. Talk about zero chill, he literally licks his lips and asks to devour his own mother for breakfast. Hearing that, the broodmother rolls all 3 of her eyes back in sheer terror, stammering out what on earth he is saying. The Bug King just keeps that shameless smirk, casually explaining that eating her is the only way he can level up. "Our insect race needs me," he says, leaving the chubby mother crying helpless, regretful tears as she screams in despair. "Why can't I control you? Damn it," she wails, while her ungrateful son just crosses his arms and smugly lectures her. "In a hive, only one smart leader can exist," he explains. "A second one must be exiled or killed off immediately. And I choose the latter." With that, the Bug King delivers a brutal, lightning-fast kick straight to his own mother's face, loudly declaring that starting today, he is the one true ruler here. Seeing their boss get wrecked, the guard bugs panic and yell for everyone to protect the broodmother at all costs. Instantly, the entire swarm fires a massive barrage of purple magic spheres directly at their ungrateful, traitorous new king. But since he is Lord class, he moves like a streak of green lightning, easily dodging every single attack from these weak minions. Slipping through the magical blasts as if they are standing still, he makes it look totally effortless. He grabs the head of a random unlucky guard bug, licking his lips and whispering about how delicious its soul smells. Watching this horror show, Jin Xianghe breaks into a cold sweat, completely blown away by his insane speed and explosive power. The Bug King turns his icy gaze to his beaten mother on the floor, coldly demanding that she hand over her soul to him already. Ignoring her terrified, begging eyes, the merciless son charges forward, while the poor mother can only stammer out how heartless he is. His razor-sharp hand thrusts right through his mother's massive body, spraying blood everywhere as he absorbs her life force. Laughing like a psycho, he calls it a tasty, powerful soul. Right on cue, the system screen flashes a new update. Soul-devouring Bug King, now King Class. Jin Xianghe and I turn completely pale, trembling in sheer terror as they realize this beast just evolved into a king. Forget playing hero, guys. Jin Xianghe literally nopes out of there, booking it while screaming at his partner. "What are you waiting for?" he screams. "Run for your life." The Bug King aims his glowing hand right at the fleeing duo, smirking that he is going to happily take their foolish human souls next. A deadly beam of green light pierces straight through Jin Xianghe's back, sending our guy crashing to the ground in pain. Dumping her teammate without a second thought, Aoi runs like absolute mad, cursing that she has to survive this no matter what. Cutting to the desert, Wei Xiao is chilling on his Thunder Pig, muttering that the nearest outpost should be right over this hill. Down by the dunes, a group of exhausted students are resting, and one sighs that thank goodness he ran into them, or he would be dead. The black-haired girl looks worried, replying that these ruins are so creepy and she wonders if Wei Xiao is even still alive out there. Resting her chin in her hands, she sighs, but tries to cheer herself up since he is super strong and probably totally fine. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Wei Xiao rolls up on his Thunder Pig, joking about who is missing him so much. Seeing him totally fine, his chubby buddy in red jumps up with a huge grin, saying he knew he would make it out in one piece. Our main character rubs his nose, looking incredibly smug and holding his head up high. Obviously, he boasts, a guy like me does not just die that easily. Jumping off his pig, he looks around, curious how they all ended up gathered in one spot like this. The black-haired girl turns serious, explaining that there are way too many monsters crawling around. Everyone had to retreat back to base, so they just ended up running into each other. The pink-haired guy sighs deeply, shrugging as he complains that things are pretty bad and the outpost could get overrun at any second. Before he can even finish his sentence, a massive explosion rips through the distance, sending dust clouds flying everywhere. The whole group whips around, staring at the red-shirted guy in pure panic as they yell out, "What the hell just happened?" A heavily injured guy rushes over to deliver some terrible news. "This bad, real bad. The allied forces of the Pengzi and Sakura nations just got wiped out by the swarm. And now, the bugs are heading right this way." Hearing about his old enemy, Wei Xiao clenches his fists, grinding his teeth in frustration. Not these pests again. In the distance, an insanely massive wave of giant insects is surging forward like a terrifying tsunami. Oh my god, look at that. The dark-haired girl goes completely pale, yelling that the insect tide is actually here. The red-shirted guy panics right along with her, wondering how on earth those monsters breach their defense lines so fast. Aggressively swinging their razor-sharp claws, the heavily armored bugs utterly destroy everything in their way. A few students who can't run fast enough get completely surrounded and thrashed by the monsters. Seeing how bad things are, the pink-haired kid immediately turns tail and runs for his life, screaming, "Those bugs are too strong, get out of here." Yet, Wei Xiao and the dark-haired girl do not even budge. He calmly looks around to assess the situation. We are completely surrounded by bugs like a tight filling in a dumpling. There is absolutely no way out. The dark-haired girl tightens her expression with absolute resolve. If we cannot run, then we fight our way out. The pink-haired guy suddenly gets fired up too, turning back to shout, "Let's do this." Our main character rushes to the front to take the lead with full confidence. "I will take the vanguard. Just stay right behind me." He spreads his arms, releasing massive mana, and bellows out, "Get out here right now. My skeleton army." The moment they summon in, his crew of bony mages immediately raise their hands, blasting dozens of blazing fireballs. A pouring rain of raging meteors shoots through the air, crashing straight down onto the bug swarm's heads. Seeing how incredibly cool Wei Xiao looks, the dark-haired girl can't help but show off too, refusing to let him steal the spotlight. Leaping high into the air, she pours all her strength into her weapon and yells, "Sword of the Angel!" A gigantic greatsword of pure light descends from the sky, slicing the entire bug wave to pieces while everyone watches in shock. The two other guys just stand there with their mouths hanging wide open, in shock. Sweating bullets, the red-shirted guy mutters in disbelief, "Holy crap, we are all freshmen, so how are those two so insanely overpowered?" Suddenly, Wei Xiao commands, "Skeleton mages, focus all fire on the tank bugs." He continues directing his formations, ordering his skeleton guards to coordinate with the others and take down the level 3 tank bugs. Stepping forward with absolute confidence, our main character rallies the crowd. "Everyone else, regroup on me and charge." Watching this epic scene unfold, the pink-haired kid is totally mind-blown, unable to believe how many summons Wei Xiao can command at once. Meanwhile, Aoi is running for her absolute life, cursing under her breath the whole time. "Damn it, this is awful. That guy actually chased me all the way here." The pink-haired girl desperately dashes through the writhing mass of insects, trying to carve out a bloody path. Out of nowhere, a massive praying mantis lunges out and snatches two of her teammates behind her. Backed into a corner, Aoi snaps, swearing she is going to take them all down with her. She channels every single drop of her mana directly into her palms. With a loud yell, she unleashes her ultimate move, Purple Death Ray. A blinding beam of violet light erupts with terrifying destructive power. The beam of death sweeps across the battlefield, completely vaporizing a huge chunk of the blocking bugs. Shocked by the explosion, the red-shirted guy yells out that she is a level 3 master. Beside him, our main character frowns, noting that the Aoi family from the island nation is actually here. Seizing the opening, Wei Xiao commands his favorite summons. "Xiao Ming, drop the bombs right now." Without a single second of hesitation, the red-robed skeleton unleashes a massive barrage of fireballs that lights up the sky. The descending fireballs trigger an earth-shattering blast, disintegrating the oncoming wave of monsters straight into ashes. Watch out behind her. Right at this moment, the Insect King lurches behind Xiao Ming with a smug laugh. Well, I never expected to find such an interesting summon here." Swinging his razor-sharp claws in a dirty sneak attack, he grins wickedly, saying it is a really pleasant surprise. With one brutal punch, the Insect King sends the skeletal tyrant flying into the far distance. Seeing his favorite summon get blindsided, Wei Xiao glares in absolute rage, screaming out her name, "Xiao Ming!" Having just rushed over, Aoi gasps out in sheer terror that the Insect King has arrived. Floating in mid-air, the Insect King glares down at them with supreme contempt, mocking that they are nothing but tiny ants and have absolutely nowhere left to run. With a casual wave of his hand, he fires a lethal beam of green energy right at the pink-haired girl. Aoi stands completely frozen, her face draining of all color as she watches death hurtle straight toward her. Laughing maniacally, the Insect King unleashes the final blow with a roar, "Just go die." Hit by the lethal strike, Aoi crashes violently to the ground, collapsing right at the feet of Wei Xiao and his squad. Clinging to life despite her severe wounds, she grinds her teeth, clutching her side while cursing under her breath. Seeing his prey still breathing, the Insect King dives down like a green arrow. He mocks her, "Still alive, are we? Fine, then let me give you a quick and absolutely painless end." Right at this critical moment of life and death, Wei Xiao finally plays his ultimate trump card and barks out his command. "Get him, Xiao Shuai." Hearing his master, the Void Swordsman swings his massive green energy blade straight at the monster. But Insect King just blocks that heavy hit with one casual hand, scoffing at how weak and pathetic they are. Right after, a surprise strike hits him from behind, connecting perfectly and making the beast spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. He turns back in a total rage to find the attacker. Floating there with angel wings, Xu Xiaoqing flies up and tells Wei Xiao, "Leave this monster to me." Seeing these crazy rookies actually fight back, Aoi clutches her wound and yells, "Are you guys insane? That is Insect King, run if you want to live." But Wei Xiao just brushes her off with a cocky grin. "Insect King, huh? Man, that is perfect." Aoi is totally stunned, wondering if this guy is actually peak tier 3 to be this confident. Then our pink-haired friend steps up, flexing with absolute pride. "I am the only peak tier 3 here, and honestly, I am literally the weakest of the bunch." Hearing this dumb logic, Aoi facepalms, wondering how anyone could flex that. Meanwhile, up in the air, Insect King hovers while licking his lips like a creep. "This is getting interesting," he says. "Your souls are going to taste amazing." He spreads his arms, charging up a massive wave of green magical energy. He laughs greedily. "Those souls of yours are more than enough to build my brand new insect empire." The energy orb explodes, raining green lightning down on the crowd as he screams out, "All of you just die." That magical rain slams into the ground, triggering massive explosions that send the panicked students running for cover. Not backing down, Xu Xiaoqing raises her weapon high to unleash her ultimate skill, the Angel Sword of Annihilation. Even though she is badly hurt, Aoi forces herself up, summoning a glowing purple orb while yelling, "I am helping too!" She fires off her Nine-Tail Charm Eye skill. Caught right in her hypnotic gaze, Insect King gets locked down instantly, his body freezing completely stiff in mid-air. Seizing the opening, Xu Xiaoqing brings her massive Sword of Light, crashing right down on him without a shred of mercy. That heavy strike triggers an absolute earth-shattering explosion, blowing away everything in its path. As the thick dust clears, Insect King breaks free and flies out, growling and cursing at those miserable humans. Wei Xiao spots this golden chance, waving his hand to order his summons, hit him hard while he is down. Instantly, dozens of fireballs from his skeleton army shoot forward, exploding and lighting up the entire sky in flames. Red Jacket wipes his forehead with a sigh. Okay, he is dead after that, right? The pink-haired dude nods along. Yeah, if he is not dead, he is definitely half dead. And oh man, check this out, because as the smoke fades, the villain's silhouette slowly appears. Insect King is still grinning like a lunatic, sticking his tongue out and mocking them. You humans are actually starting to excite me. Seeing how insanely tanky this monster is, they all turn pale and yell together. How is he still alive? No more talk. Insect King erupts his magical power, whipping up a colossal green tornado that starts shredding everything in sight. He spreads his arms to unleash ultimate ruin, roaring. Great destruction spell, die. Deadly energy beams rain down, sending the students running for their lives. Amidst the screaming and running, Wei Xiao stays totally calm, instantly chanting to summon his loyal skeleton guardians. Right on cue, a wall of massive shield-bearing skeletons glowing with purple light blocks the incoming disaster. That crazy green tornado slams right into them, throwing the entire skeleton army into the sky like shattered plastic toys. Even with that bone shield, the terrifying shockwave of death keeps tearing straight toward Wei Xiao. Feeling the insane pressure, our main character starts sweating and gasps out, "This is bad." Before he can even take a step back, the swirling green magical storm completely swallows him whole. After a second, the crazy storm clears up, leaving nothing but dust. The entire battlefield is now just a massive cracked crater littered with shattered pieces of dry bone. Staring at the complete destruction, Shu Xiaoqing screams out in terror, "Wei Xiao." While the pink-haired dude mutters in pure despair, "Is it over? Did our big bro Wei Xiao really just die?" Floating high up, Insect King gloats over his easy win, laughing and mocking them. Haha, just a bunch of brainless ants. But wait, look at this. A blinding pillar of purple light suddenly shoots straight out of the crater. Insect King squints in total confusion, letting out a stunned, "What?" Our main man clenches his fist tight, crushing a glowing crystal to trigger his ultimate hidden potential. Wei Xiao lets out a savage roar, eyes glowing deep purple despite the blood dripping from his chest. Seeing this unkillable target, Insect King breaks into a cold sweat and backs up. How is he still alive? Watching from below, Shu Xiaoqing clutches her chest in worry. What is happening to Wei Xiao? His power level is literally skyrocketing right now. But our main guy is totally bursting with power, easily swatting away that deadly fatal strike with just a lazy wave of his hand. The system screen flashes a notification. Ding, the mystical bone finger effect has been successfully activated. Your power is now doubled, but every single minute will drain 1% of your experience points. Skipping the talk, Wei Xiao grabs his lightning-infused shovel and charges in to finish things. Time to wrap this up. Flying forward like a bolt, he delivers a brutal shovel smash right to the head of that annoying insectoid child. The absolutely devastating blow pins the monster flat against the dirt, sending a massive shockwave, blasting straight up into the air. Down in the crater, the Insect King coughs up green blood and screams in total frustration. "No, this is impossible. You are only Tier 2. You are clearly just Tier 2. Wei Xiao lands with a pretty cold stare, stomping his foot directly onto his face and telling him to shut up. That brutal stomp completely finishes the monster off, triggering the system screen to go off like crazy. Congratulations on defeating the Tier 3 Level 40 Insect King, gaining 16.66 million experience points. Right then, the screen blows up with a flood of system notifications. Congratulations on completing your third-class transfer. Your level rises to Tier 3 Level 31. You get a 40% boost to all stats, while your skills and gear instantly upgrade to a whole new level. The system even carefully explains a cool new effect. The insane strength of your soul power now grants you the ability to upgrade your active skills. But you must spend actual cash to collect desire, converting it into skill points. Wei Xiao rubs his chin, realizing he has to pay cash to get points and level up his skills. Our guy immediately makes a face and complains, completely speechless. What on earth is this garbage? There is seriously a pay-to-win skill in this game? Annoyed by this greedy cash grab system, he just waves his hand in absolute disgust. What a garbage skill, he thinks. Better check my actual soulbound gear instead. Saying that, our main guy grins and pulls out his favorite trusty grave-digging shovel to check the new upgrade. The system announces that his weapon has gained a brand new shape-shifting effect. Now watch this. His basic shovel instantly morphs into a giant, seriously badass scythe of death. Wei Xiao happily swings the purple glowing scythe around, praising his cool new weapon with excitement. This is pretty sick. Now I do not have to carry around a cheap-looking shovel when I am fighting out in public. After admiring his gear, our guy puts his hands on his hips and looks around. Wait, wasn't defeating the boss supposed to drop the core eye of the array? Where is the core eye anyway? Right on cue, a glowing green energy orb rips through the Insect King's crushed corpse and floats right in front of him. Our main guy quickly grabs the glowing item, his eyes shining bright with pure curiosity. Oh, he grins proudly, so this shiny little toy is the array eye after all. Right away, the system pops up a message. Congratulations on acquiring the core array eye. The soul-gathering treasure orb. Right after snatching the epic loot, a bright red countdown warning flashes on the screen. The ancient ruins will collapse in exactly 10 seconds. Every single living being inside will be forcefully teleported out of here. Seeing the warning, Wei Xiao lets out a huge sigh of relief with a smug smile. Finally, we get to leave this place. Xu Xiaoqing's group and the pink-haired guy, standing far away, also smile in relief, looking at each other. It's finally over. We are getting out of here. But just when we think they are finally safe, a massive rift suddenly tears open the sky, spilling creepy, pitch-black magical energy everywhere. The ground right beneath Wei Xiao suddenly shatters, leaving him zero time to react as he falls straight into the abyss, yelling out in shock. Wei Xiao flails wildly as he free-falls into a bottomless hole that erupts with a blinding, glowing purple light. The other unlucky souls get sucked into the pit too, screaming out in utter terror, "What the hell is this? Save us!" Outside the spatial rift, a man shouts a loud warning to the gathered crowd. Everyone get ready, because the monsters from the ruins are about to rush out. The purple light column spins like a massive tornado, constantly spitting out tons of dark fragments flying everywhere. Waving his hand, the squad leader glares with absolute bloodlust and yells out, "Kill them." Moving with some seriously crazy agility, he fearlessly charges forward to clash with those 7 monsters. Channeling all his power into his fist, the leader lands a critical punch that completely splatters the aggressive bug's head. Meanwhile, Wei Xiao lands with some seriously epic style right in the middle of this chaotic battlefield. Coughing and clutching his chest, he sighs in relief. Finally, he's back outside. Over on the other side, the leader is still surrounded by the swarm, cursing those damn bugs through gritted teeth. He throws another earth-shattering punch straight through a monster, roaring out for the beast to go ahead and die. Watching this slaughter from a safe distance, Wei Xiao's jaw drops as he mumbles, "Wow, is the principal seriously this insanely strong?" Suddenly, a loud voice booms from right behind him, making Wei Xiao jump and turn around as a voice shouts, "Where do you think you are going, human kid?" Turns out, it is the furious principal charging over with murderous intent, screaming, "You monster! Where do you think you are running to?" At crazy terrifying speed, the director's massive hand snaps down and grabs the little monkey's tail. He dangles him upside down, growling like a beast while the panicked monkey yells out, "Save my life! Someone is murdering a monkey!" Seeing his new pet in trouble, Wei Xiao rushes to step in, begging Wang Guowei to please show some mercy and let the monkey go. Our boy just chuckles and tries to calm his violent boss, explaining that this guy is not a monster but a pet he just bonded with in the ruins. The monkey crosses his arms, acting all smug and shouting, "Did you hear that? Now let me go." Not knowing whether to laugh or cry, the director tosses the monkey back to Wei Xiao and rubs his chin as he carefully evaluates him. He says his bloodline is pretty decent, and if trained well, he will be a killer helper, while Wei Xiao humbly scratches his head. After thanking him for the warm compliment, the director turns to leave, warning Wei Xiao that he must get back to school immediately because this entire area is completely unsafe. Wei Xiao obediently nods, saying got it. Once the big boss is out of sight, the monkey breaks into a cold sweat, whining that the old man is way too terrifying and almost scared him to death. Wei Xiao just knocks his head. "That guy is a level 8 powerhouse, you idiot. Crushing you would be easier than squishing a tiny ant." The monkey stutters in absolute shock, level 8, as the beautiful sunset finally brings a close to their super chaotic day. Wei Xiao finally drags himself back to dorm room 085, feeling totally exhausted. He steps into his familiar dorm room, while the little monkey perches on his shoulder, looking around curiously and asking if this is where he lives. Suddenly, the monkey leaps toward a colorful box of snacks, pointing eagerly and asking what it is, making Wei Xiao smile and reply that it is just some delicious food. And honestly, who can blame him? The second he hears food, his eyes light up as he hugs those snacks. Without holding back at all, he rips the bag open and dumps the snacks straight into his mouth, chewing like crazy. He sits there happily stuffing his face, eyes sparkling as he mumbles through a mouthful that this stuff is absolutely delicious. Just as they are relaxing, a sudden knock on the door startles Wei Xiao, making him whip his head around. He opens the door only to find his beautiful pink-haired teacher standing outside, looking completely anxious. The moment she sees him, Wang Xiaoman happily complains, "Wei Xiao, you are finally back. You worried me half to death," leaving our boy totally confused. He scratches his head in confusion, asking if there is an emergency she needs him for. Seeing her star student safe and sound, she lets out a sigh of relief, smiling and saying that seeing him okay is a huge weight off her shoulders. She excitedly holds up a finger to share the big news. explaining that in 2 days, the school is selecting 20 students for a special training camp. If you make the cut, you get a bonus of 100 academy points. Interested? Hearing about the points, our main character's eyes instantly light up, and he asks why the school is suddenly hosting this special training class. She proudly explains, "It is to prepare for the national tournament, and the directors will personally train you guys to bring glory to our school," she explains, while holding up 2 fingers to emphasize. In just 2 months, every elite university in the country will officially kick off this massive tournament. Get ready, because the upcoming battles are going to be absolutely insane. She warns that they will face elite students nationwide, even rivals from the capital university, while our boy strokes his chin with a confident smirk, plotting his next move. It sounds pretty exciting, and with 2 months left, he knows he needs to start grinding hard to level up. Seeing his enthusiasm, the teacher gives him a tip about the campus trial tower, which is perfect for clearing stages and leveling up. She tells him to check it out whenever he has time, and Wei Xiao immediately nods, agreeing to go. Wang Xiaoman smiles and waves a friendly goodbye, telling him to get some good rest before heading off. Back inside his room, the chubby monkey is busy stuffing his face with snacks again. Seeing his master walk in, the monkey cheekily tells him that if he does not come share, this noble beast is going to eat everything himself. Annoyed, Wei Xiao points a finger to correct his shameless pet, telling him to stop calling him human because his name is Wei Xiao. On a bright and beautiful morning, his phone suddenly starts ringing, shattering the peaceful silence of his room. Reaching over, Wei Xiao grabs his vibrating phone from the table and sees Nanji calling. Still half asleep in bed, our boy lazily puts the phone to his ear with a wide yawn, while an energetic voice on the other end rushes him. She tells him to wake up because they are climbing the trial tower today, and Wei Xiao rubs his eyes, replying that he will be there soon. Hanging up, our main character gets out of bed with pure determination in his eyes as he mutters. He says Nanji and the others are working so hard that he cannot afford to get left behind, then heads out into the bustling city streets under the morning sun. Dressed in a cool black cloak, Wei Xiao sets off. Looking absolutely lit, our boy strides confidently through the crowded plaza. But as he takes a walk, a super familiar voice suddenly calls out. It is a grocery store owner waving at him. Surprised, Wei Xiao walks up to the counter and asks his old friend, Zhang Tidan, "Why on earth did you set up shop all the way out here?" Zhang Tidan thumps his chest, bragging proudly. "Business has been pretty slow lately, so I decided to take a gamble and open a branch right here at Modu Vocational University." Wei Xiao crosses his arms with a smirk. "Looks like you have scammed quite a few people lately, huh?" Zhang Tian quickly waves his hands to deny it. "Why would you say that? Everything I sell is super exclusive stuff you cannot find anywhere else." Thinking about those weird items from before, our boy rubs his chin and has to agree. "True." Zhang Tidan winks slyly, lowering his voice to pitch him. "Since we are from the same hometown, I just scored some ultra-rare loot. Let me show you to blow your mind." Zhang Tidan pulls out a bag, flexing hard. "Ta-da! I have not let anyone else see this yet." Look at his face. Wei Xiao inspects the ring, completely shocked by all these skill books. Zhang Tidan snorts proudly, correcting him. "Wrong. It is a 100 cubic meter space ring with 20 skill books, including one that summons a skeleton warrior." Hearing about this godly loot, Wei Xiao gets total hard eyes. He begs greedily, asking how much it is. Zhang Tidan pulls out his phone to scan, replying generously, "We are close, so I will give you a bundle price of 2.6 million. Wei Xiao quickly scans the code to pay. The system instantly chimes, payment successful. Getting the cash, Zhang Tidan laughs and teases, "Bro, looks like you are doing pretty damn good lately. Absolutely loaded." Wei Xiao flips his hair arrogantly. "You know it." Once back in his room, our main character dumps the whole pile of books and starts chanting to learn them. Instantly, countless skill books float around him, radiating a brilliant purple magical aura. Wei Xiao closes his eyes, focusing hard to absorb all the skill essences straight into his brain. He clenches his fists, super hyped. These skills are insane. They are definitely going to carry me in the tower. Done shopping, Wei Xiao waves goodbye. Zhang Tidan enthusiastically waves right back. "Come back soon. Now check out that massive trial tower ahead." The crowd of students gathered below is absolutely wild. Our boy looks up, shielding his eyes from the sun. "Wow, this thing is huge!" From a distance, a girl happily waves. "Wei Xiao, over here." Our main character walks over, pretty confused. "Xu Xiaoqing, why are you hanging out with Nanji and Pei Chan?" Nanji flips her hair with a smile. "Actually, I was the one who invited everyone here." Xu Xiaoqing crosses her arms, glaring at Wei Xiao. "What? Are you not happy to see me?" He quickly scratches his head, laughing it off. "Not at all, I am just a little surprised." Our chubby friend Pei Qian, patting his stomach, urges her. "Just staring at the board won't beat him, so let's just get in there and start climbing." At the desk, they find an old man named Li Yi Xiao, chilling hard with his legs crossed, scrolling on his phone. Wei Xiao politely approaches and calls out, "Sir, we are here to climb the tower." The old man looks up, pretty surprised. I have not seen you kids before. Is this your first time? Wei Xiao nods in agreement. Yes, we are all freshmen. Are there any requirements to climb the tower? Stroking his beard, the old man slowly explains this tower has 10 floors in total. Support and combat classes face completely different tests, and the difficulty changes depending on your level. Wei Xiao listens closely as the old man continues. Each entry costs 1 academy credit, but you can also rack up extra bonus credits as you climb. The old man points at a pyramid chart. Clearing each floor will grant you a corresponding amount of reward points. After explaining the rules, he asks if they got it, and the squad responds together. Got it. Our main character curiously asks, Sir, has any Tier 3 student ever beaten the 10th floor? The old man sighs and shakes his head. Nope, let alone floor 10. Nobody has even cleared floor 9 in over a decade. With that, he points toward the electronic screen. Over there is the leaderboard showing the all-time top students. You should go check it out. The black-haired Xu Xiaoqing eagerly takes the lead, waving them over. Let's go see who is on top. The scoreboard displays the gold rankings, where Tier 2 and Tier 3 records show 9 and 8 floors, cleared in incredibly close times. Wei Xiao looks up at the leaderboard, completely shocked. Is this Senior Zhang Yu? Xu Xiaoqing clenches her fists, her eyes filled with determination. Senior Zhang Yu is a legend from our Qingyang No. 1 high school, and I will definitely surpass him. Our chubby friend Pei Qian, patting his stomach, urges her. Staring at the board won't beat him, so let's get in there and start climbing. Hyped up, Wei Xiao steps onto the stairs. Let's go, time to conquer this tower. The whole squad arrives at this massive glowing blue magic teleportation circle, right at the bottom of the tower. The moment Wei Xiao steps up, his system warns him. Once you enter this trial tower, dying just kicks you out automatically, but you can also choose to leave whenever you want. Any injuries or deaths in here will not affect your real-world body at all. The system then asks him a final confirmation question floating in mid-air. Standing right in the center of the magic circle, our main character looks totally determined and yells out, Agree. Wei Xiao steps into the formation, and a beam of deep blue light shoots down, warping him straight into the depths of the tower. The system screen pops up to announce that he has entered the first floor of the Tier 3 trial tower, and killing all monsters here unlocks the second floor. Wishing him luck, the teleportation completes. The young guy lands, looks around, and curiously asks if it is starting already. Right after he speaks, a savage pack of buff orc monsters carrying spiked maces charges out of the bright light. Staying totally chill, Wei Xiao immediately glares and triggers his insight skill. The system screen displays the Tier 3 orc stats. Normal level 40, Strength 1711, Agility 1054, Constitution 1838, and Spirit 880. Staring at his opponent's stats, he clicks his tongue and makes a quick judgment. Level 40, that is actually not too shabby. Our main character aggressively swings his massive death scythe, trash-talking them to bring it on so he can test out his shiny new toy. Hyped out of his mind, he shoulders his scythe and charges right into the monster horde, screaming to kill. His razor-sharp blade effortlessly slicing orcs like warm butter. While happily shredding them to pieces, he spots a weird floating monster nearby. Just look at this arrogant kid. He literally smirks, calling it a mini-boss, while the monster swings its mace right at his head. Stepping back, he wipes his brow and casts his insight spell again, saying that was a close one. The system shows new stats. Tier 3 Orc Chieftain, level 40, Strength 3115, Agility 2554, Constitution 3275, and Spirit 1990. Finding the enemy way too boring, Wei Xiao complains that they cannot even take a single hit, so he just leaves the rest to his minions. Obediently, his army of skeletal mages immediately starts spamming blazing hot fireballs everywhere. A rain of flaming projectiles crashes down on the monsters, triggering a chain of massive fiery explosions that burn everything to ashes. The system rings with good news. Floor 1 is cleared, and he is now teleporting to the second floor of the Tier 3 trial tower. Landing there, a new challenge pops up. This second floor has 100 peak Tier 3 elite monsters. On top of that, 10 peak Tier 3 chieftains and 1 massive boss-level monster are waiting. Seeing the massive crowd, our boy scratches his head in annoyance. Honestly, there are way too many enemies, and fighting them one by one sounds like a massive pain. Stepping back, he commands his favorite summon, Xiao Ming, to wipe them all out. The massive tyrant Xiao Ming immediately launches into the air, throwing down giant explosive firebombs. Watching the sheer destruction, Wei Xiao crosses his arms and nods in approval. Xiao Ming got a massive power-up after leveling up. The young guy chuckles and teases. This attack power is not even enough to tickle me. The system then congratulates him on clearing floor 2. His final time was 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and the screen instantly updates the leaderboard. That record completely smashes Zhang Depao's old record of 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Outside, the old gatekeeper is sweating bullets. Like, you would be shocked too if some kid cleared floor 2 in under 5 minutes. Stroking his beard, he mutters that this kid is way more insane than Wang Guowei was back in his prime. Back inside the tower, Wei Xiao's eyes are burning with pure hype as he loudly yells for another round. With one fatal slash, he cuts a giant serpent in half, and the system congratulates him on clearing floor 3. His skeleton army continues to incinerate the battlefield with firestorms, and the system rings again. He clears floor 4, and on the next floor, a buff red ape roars out to fight. But the red-furred ape immediately starts crying in fear, backing away and begging him not to come any closer. Wei Xiao and his skeleton summons corner the boss against the wall, leaving the poor beast screaming for help. The system rings out to congratulate him on clearing floor 5, as his skeleton army keeps flexing its absolute dominance. Another bell rings, congratulating him on clearing the 6th floor of the trial. Our main character casually fixes his hair like a boss. The system updates again, clearing floor 7. Stretching his limbs, he feels totally hyped, while the system keeps spamming him with victories. Scared out of their minds, the ape monsters start trampling each other, crying and running away in pure panic. They cry out for their moms to save them, while the system records his victory on floor 9. Finally, the camera cuts to the outside of the giant trial tower, standing tall under a clear blue sky. At the teleportation circle, Xu Xiaoqing and her unlucky chubby friend get ruthlessly kicked out by the system. They faceplant hard onto the dirty ground, looking completely wrecked as Chubby groans in pain and slowly drags himself back up. Clutching his head, he complains that this makes zero sense because an elite blood priest like him should never be stuck on floor 3. The girl in green just smirks with her arms crossed, telling him that hitting floor 3 is actually pretty decent for a support class. She notes that she only cleared floor 5, then she curiously turns to ask her friend. Asking her floor count, Xu Xiaoqing calmly replies floor 6, causing Chubby to instantly bow in deep respect. Worshipping her as a total god, he begs her to teach him her legendary ways. Suddenly, a red-haired guy looks up at the screen and yells in shock, pointing at the Tier 3 rankings. The hyped-up crowd starts buzzing, telling everyone to rush over and check it out. Staring at the glowing display, the Tier 3 rankings show Wei Xiao at rank 10, clearing floor 7 in 45 minutes. Some guy scratches his chin, wondering who this Wei Xiao even is to pull off that speed. Since the previous runner took a whole hour, a dude in a red jacket completely loses it, praising Wei Xiao for being absolutely cracked. Wait, look at the board right now. The scoreboard is literally updating again with brand new records. The system interface flashes with the latest update, showing Wei Xiao hitting rank 4 after clearing floor 8 in 56 minutes and 53 seconds. Red jacket guy gasps, clutching his chest in shock over floor 8. While the guy screams that Wei Xiao is hacking reality, the red-haired dude calmly points out the server lag, meaning floor 8 might not even be his final score. Instantly, he breaks into a cold sweat and yells again. Hold on, the ranks just updated once again. Meanwhile, deep inside an ancient stone chamber of the tower, a glowing blue magic circle flares up to announce the arrival of a new challenger. Wei Xiao steps out of the magic portal looking cool as hell, while the system formally alerts him that he has reached floor 10 to face a peak Tier 4 beast general. After wishing him luck, the summoner looks around with a cocky grin. A Tier 4 beast general? Where is this thing hiding anyway? Out of nowhere, a massive, highly muscular green monster with a single glowing red eye crashes down, unleashing a heavy windstorm before dropping a loud and arrogant threat. Listen up, Ant. Are you going to run away or get squashed? Wei Xiao simply smirks, activating a glowing eye technique as he whispers to himself, trying to see if this giant actually has any real skill to back up his mouth. Instead, the system screen flashes a warning that analysis is impossible. Ignoring his glare, the beast general raises his giant spiked mace and roars at the tiny human to get ready to die. Check this out. Back on the plaza, a white-haired elder stares up at the sky in absolute shock, screaming that someone actually hit floor 10, a feat that no Tier 3 challenger has ever achieved. He quickly whips out his phone to make an urgent call. Wang Guawei, get over here right now, we have an emergency. After getting a reply, the old man grins like a sneaky villain, planning to drag Wang Guawei over just to watch him get totally humbled in front of everyone. Inside the trial tower, the giant boss swings his heavy mace straight down with an absolutely crushing blow. Thinking quickly on his feet, Wei Xiao commands his skeleton companion to fly up and block the strike with a massive shield. The heavy spiked mace slams hard into the shield, triggering a massive shockwave. Hiding behind it, a sweating Wei Xiao realizes he cannot keep taking hits like this. He instantly orders the system to upgrade Xiao Qiang using the Eternal Undying skill. But the system screen flashes a warning requiring 20 skill points, which he currently lacks, and his cash balance is also completely empty. He desperately tries to top up his account, but the system heartlessly denies him due to having insufficient cash, failing the transaction. Our genius summoner turns pale as a ghost. His eyes pop out in pure despair as his own broke-ass financial reality completely crushes his spirit. Giving him zero time to think, the giant beast general laughs at his weak defenses, shattering the shield into tiny pieces with one clean blow. Cutting back outside, a buff and highly muscular guy walks up to complain, asking Wei Xiao why he was summoned in such a frantic rush. The old man grins smugly with his hands behind his back, telling him that his legendary 20-year record has officially been smashed to pieces by a newcomer. He looks over at the system board displaying the main character's floor 8 victory. Wei Xiao laughs hysterically, teasing that this wild new kid might actually have what it takes to completely surpass him in no time. But the guy simply scoffs, claiming that is impossible since he was basically half a step into Tier 4 before he finally cleared Floor 9. Look at him. No matter how cracked that dude is, he ain't beating me. The second those words drop, the leaderboard slaps back pretty hard with glowing letters. Tier 3 Trial Tower Rank 1, Wei Xiao, highest floor cleared is Floor 9. Time is 1 minute 9 seconds and 33 milliseconds. A chubby guy points at the giant screen and yells, "Yo, look, the leaderboard just updated again." The student crowd loses their minds. Eyes wide, they start screaming in panic. He actually snatched first place. Honestly, you can't even blame this guy for clutching his chest. Who is this godlike monster anyway? The teacher smirks, turning to the old man. "Haha, Wei Xiao, what did you just say again?" But the white-haired elder immediately looks away, completely denying it. "I didn't say a single thing." "Okay, but this kid is a real prodigy, so you should train him up." Wei Xiao nods smugly. Of course, he is already locked in as a student for our special training elite class anyway. The system kicks Wei Xiao out of the portal, and the notifications start ringing. Congrats to student Wei Xiao for clearing Floor 9 of the Tier 3 Trial Tower. Special reward of 1,000 Academy points, bringing your total to 7,166. He rubs his shoulder, sore, aching and groaning. If I knew it would hurt this bad, I wouldn't have spent all that cash on damn Zhang Tiadan. Spotting him, a red-haired guy points and hypes him up. He is out, the big boss is finally out, though another student quickly corrects his mistake. Boss who? He is a literal god, alright. Instantly, a whole horde of girls swarm Wei Xiao, eyes practically dripping with admiration. "Give me an autograph, boss. Can I have your number, please?" "Are you free tonight, big boss?" Mobbed by the hyped-up crowd, our summoner runs a hand through his messy hair, totally lost. Wait, what kind of situation is even going on here? Suddenly, Xu Xiaoqing steps in with a pretty serious face to bail him out. "Cut it out, you guys are totally harassing Wei Xiao." Another girl side-eyes her and asks, "Who even are you, sticking your nose in other people's business? Are you his girlfriend or what?" Xu Xiaoqing flushes bright red, instantly firing back. "As if, I am absolutely not." But wait, amidst this absolute chaos, our boy gets a pretty brilliant idea and "I have got a plan." He quickly throws his arms out wide, shouting to the crowd, "Hey seniors, does anyone here need some academy points? I will sell them cheap." The students stare at each other in utter disbelief. Wait, selling points? Am I actually hearing things? Another student shakes his head. "Those are academy points, man. You can trade them for insane, high-tier treasures." Instantly, pure greed takes over as the mob starts clawing to buy. "I want it. Sell it to me. How much per point, boss?" Catching them running a black market deal, Wang Guowei yells in pure anger. "This is ridiculous. How can you trade academy points like candy? This is totally out of line." Wei Xiao just scratches his head, grinning. "Oh, Wang Guowei, you are here too?" The dean lectures him with a stern face. "You have over 7,000 points. You could easily buy a high-tier A-rank skill book or load up on EXP pills to level up." The sly kid rubs his chin, completely unbothered. "You are absolutely right, Dean, but his casual comeback only makes the older man fume with rage. You already know my class, Summoner. Skill books are pretty useless to me, and as for EXP pills, I would rather grind dungeons to level up." Wei Xiao gently pats the muscular Dean on the shoulder to calm him down. "Come on, Wang Guowei, stop stressing over nothing. This kid definitely knows exactly what he is doing." Wang Guowei frowns, still super annoyed, but Wei Xiao, what he is doing is completely against school policy. The white-haired elder just wiggles a finger. "Wait, is there an actual rule in the handbook banning students from trading points?" Completely cornered, the beefy Dean stammers. "Well, technically, there is no such rule." Wei Xiao grins smugly. "If there is no rule, why are you being such a total buzzkill?" Knowing he lost the argument, Wang Guowei throws his hands up in pure frustration. "Fine, ever. I am completely done caring about him." Seeing his path clear, Wei Xiao confidently hypes up the crowd to kickstart his auction again. "Alright guys, 1 point for 900 Huaxia coins. Limited supply, so first come first served." The entire crowd immediately goes wild, throwing their cash and shoving to get a piece. "I want 100 points. Sell me 2,000. I will take 500. Grinning from ear to ear, our main character flashes his phone QR code to calm them down. "No need to rush, guys. Just form a line and transfer the cash to me one by one." Watching this absolute cash grab, Xu Xiaoqing breaks into a sweat and whispers, "Is this guy seriously that broke? Is he so desperate that he has to resort to this cheap sellout?" The dude beside him just sighs. Who knows? Wei Xiao clutches his phone, eyes sparkling with pure joy as he lets out a crazy laugh. "That was too easy. I just made 9,600,000 yuan. This is legendary." Once the crowd thins out, Xu Xiaoqing walks up with a serious look. Wei Xiao, are you actually that desperate for cash? Our main guy just nods, totally owning it. I am so broke right now, I would seriously sell a kidney just to make some quick cash. Hearing that, Xu Xiaoqing rolls her eyes, muttering about him being a greedy brat, while Fat Boy crosses his arms and suggests power leveling instead of selling off his school credits. The moment he hears a new way to get rich, Wei Xiao's eyes light up as he rubs his chin with curiosity. Power leveling, does that gig actually pay well? Red Jacket excitedly pipes up, saying that gig is a gold mine, since boosting someone from level 1 to 10 gets you nearly 100,000. He says he once paid over 200,000 to boost from level 11 to 20. Hearing the money talk, Wei Xiao lunges forward, grabs his collar, and roars with absolute excitement. Holy crap, that is crazy money. Quick, who has a connection? The scene shifts to a packed night market inside the Magic City as darkness starts to settle over the busy streets. In the crowd, some player is shouting for teammates, saying their level 30 squad only needs one more. They need a healer, over level 35, massive heals. Nearby, some guy with mushroom hair is also recruiting, yelling that his level 31 squad needs 4 more, specifically looking for a tanky support class. Wei Xiao confidently walks up and offers to carry them, but mushroom hair just waves him off, saying they only want a healer over level 35. Why is a level 31 summoner, like you, even trying to show off here? The guy just laughs in his face, mocking that with only 5,000 health, trying to power level will get him instantly vaporized by a single hit from a monster. Fat Boy gets pissed. Rolling up his sleeves, he screams at them. Having our big bro Wei Xiao carry you guys is a massive favor, but Wei Xiao calmly holds him back. He tells him to drop it, walking away with a smile, explaining he is new here with no rep, so it makes total sense they do not trust him yet. Turning around, he makes a suggestion to his crew. We are already here. Might as well run it ourselves. Xu Xiaoqing analyzes the map, noting there are 47 dungeons here but only 6 are tier 3. Wondering which one they should hit first, as Red Jacket chimes in. Let us hit Forest Lake. It is the hardest tier 3 dungeon but has the absolute best loot. Plus he already researched a guide on how to clear it, making Wei Xiao nod in agreement and declare they are ready to roll. Standing before the glowing portal, the system screen pops up to show the Forest Lake dungeon details. It requires tier 3, level 31 to 40, with difficulties ranging from easy, normal, hard to abyss. Nightmare and Hell mode, offering gear and experience rewards, capped at 3 runs a day for a 6-man squad. The system prompts Wei Xiao to choose their challenge level between easy, normal, hard, abyss, nightmare, and Hell mode. He smiles slyly. Let us go big and choose Hell mode. Fat Boy starts sweating bullets, screaming if he has lost his mind because he is not trying to get killed in there. Wei Xiao chuckles and agrees to choose something else, but then his finger taps straight onto the nightmare difficulty option. Red Jacket screams. Changing your mind did not mean choosing nightmare mode. But guess what? It is too late as a giant red teleportation array erupts, swallowing them whole. A blinding beam of magical light shoots straight into the sky, officially dragging them right into this deadly dungeon. Fat Boy clutches his head, crying in despair. Nightmare mode again. We are totally doomed. Xu Xiaoqing snaps at him to shut up, asking since he researched the guide what is the actual plan to survive this. Dripping with sweat, the paleface guy tries to explain. He swears he memorized every single strategy from easy all the way to abyss, but then literally bursts into tears, crying that they are currently standing inside the nightmare level. Wei Xiao calmly shrugs, saying abyss is only one single level below nightmare difficulty anyway. Just run with the abyss strategy for now. So what is our very first move? Getting his grip back, Red Jacket points ahead, saying they need to kill the gatekeeper monster 100 meters away, making our main guy order everyone to move out. A splash in the murky water, a half-fish monster rises. The system warns it is a tier 3 Lord-class fishman, level 40, with over 10,000 strength and 15,000 agility. Peeking from the bushes, Red Jacket completely loses it, muttering that they are totally screwed because this thing is actually a tier 3 peak Lord-level boss monster. Xu Xiaoqing turns around with worry, asking Wei Xiao if he actually has a plan to take this thing down. He just smirks. Light work. Suddenly, Xu Xiaoqing bursts with brilliant light and launches into the air with a massive battle cry. I can even make the guy in red panic and try to hold her back, telling her not to get reckless. Floating high above, she summons 6 blinding golden angel wings, locking her sights right on that ugly beast trapped down in the pit. Swinging that glowing blade, she unleashes a massive slash of pure energy while screaming out her ultimate move. The Sword of Angels. Hell yeah!